so tẹ́ bá ti ń wọlé ẹ máa bá wa pín, ẹ sọ fẹ́ lómi náà pé a ti wà lórí ètò ti Koiki Media. Mo mọ̀ oríṣiríṣi náà la máa ń gbọ́. Èmi náà wà lórí prógrámù Àràbà, èmi náà ti gbọ́ kí n tó sùn torí àwa náà máa lọ ń kẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Èmi náà lọ sórí platform ẹlòmíì. Ibi báyìí ni Koiki Media, níbi tí a ti máa ń gbé ètò ti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tiwantiwa náà ń pè ní self-determination. Kí ni meaning self-determination? Àti pé kí ló dé tí economy Nàìjíríà tó ń go down very fast? Ìjẹ́ tí Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Tinubu ìdájí, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tí ẹ máa láǹfààní àti wò ó. Mo kí ẹ̀yin ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà, gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ rédíò, transistor radio tí a ti ń polongo láti ìjọ́ mẹ́wàá sẹ́yìn. Please speak louder. Okay, ẹ já connect speaker, ẹ já connect yẹn properly gbogbo. Kó lè bá dún síta. Wọ́n gbọ́ wa dáadáa lórí platform wa kan. So a máa connect, ẹ má bínú. Ẹ já kọ́kọ́ máa play. Mo ń bọ̀, ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin wa. Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà lẹ máa gbọ́ máa dún sókè nísìn, ẹ ṣe sùúrù díẹ̀. Ẹ kúkú mọ̀ pé tẹ́ bá ti sọ náà ni a máa fẹ́ jẹ́ kó jẹ́, but rédíò yẹn 35,000 naira ni ló máa jẹ́ ní náírà. Ó dẹ̀ máa jẹ́, màá sọ figure yẹn ní pounds àti dollar. Ó ti wà nílé báyìí o, transistor radio. Ẹ̀yin bá ṣáà ti pe nọ́mbà tá a bá fún yín, ẹni látọ̀dọ̀ Mr. Koiki, wá ṣàlàyé fún yín ọ̀nà tó máa fi dọ́dọ̀ tí yín àti bẹ́ ṣe máa rà. Gbogbo ẹ̀ pátápátá ló máa ṣàlàyé fún yín, kò ń ṣe tó le rárá. So ẹ jẹ́ ká set àwọn platforms wa tó kù. But nígbà tá a bá ń ṣe yẹn, ẹ má kánjú. À ń kánjú tá a bá ti wá sórí ètò, a máa farabalẹ̀ ni. Gbogbo àná tá a bá lọ sí ilé ìjọsìn, a máa ń farabalẹ̀ láti gbọ́ wàásù. Èmi náà máa ń gbọ́. Tílẹ̀ bá mọ́, what God cannot do does not kíni. Ọdún dẹ̀ ti ń parí, ìyẹn á lọ sí ilé ìjọsìn, wà farabalẹ̀, wà gbọ́n tó fẹ́ sọ. Kí là ń pè ní self-determination? Ṣó yàtọ̀ sí Yorùbá nation ni? Kí ni méjèèjì ṣe jẹ́? Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ni mo fẹ́ ṣe àlàyé ní ìdájí, kí Ọlọ́run kó fún mi ṣe. Èyí tí bá sọ náà tí kò bá yé yín dáadáa, ẹ lè lọ sórí wẹ́bsáìtì wa. Gbogbo tí bàbá Akintoye ṣe sọ pé a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation, ó ti wà níbẹ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín tẹ̀ ń fi voice ránṣẹ́ sí wa, gbogbo ẹ̀ náà la kúkú rí. Gbogbo ẹ̀ là ń rí o. Ẹ ṣé gan. Àtẹ̀yìn tẹ̀ ń fún wa ní advice. Ẹ̀yin grandma nílé tẹ máa ní Koiki, ọ̀rọ̀ Àwùjalẹ̀ kí la máa ṣe sí báyìí? Koiki, àwọn èèyàn wa tẹ́bí ń pa nílé kí la máa ṣe sí báyìí? Koiki, Yorùbá nation dà pé gbogbo yín ti sun, ṣe rally, kí ló wá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí? Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ni à ń gbọ́. Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ni oríṣiríṣi ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Àmọ́ ká má jẹ́ kó sú wa, a dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó rẹwà. So ẹ jẹ́ ká máa play lay tá máa fi set up délẹ̀. Mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa tí Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kó bàjẹ́ fún ẹ. Ìfẹ́ tó ń bẹ láàrin mi àti ẹ̀gbọ́n àtàbúrò, Ọlọ́run ní bá wa fi ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú láwa méjèèjì. Ọlọ́run ní wá fi èṣù sínú ẹ̀. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ìyàwó, mo kí àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin Ìjẹ̀bú. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Mr. John, mo níbi ni last man standing. Tẹ́ bá ti ń sùn, màmá ta yín lómi jí. Ẹ jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ gbọ́ ilé, mò ń bọ̀ padà. Ẹni tó ní ọ́díò yẹn jáde dáadáa, tá a bá ti fi máíkrófóònù sí lára nísìn, ó gbọ́dọ̀ máa dún tatata ni. Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ sọ fún mi pé Koiki ó ń dún tatata. Tó bá ti dún tatata, ẹ jẹ́ ń gbọ́ lọ́dọ̀ yín lọ́hùn.
Àwọn sálára àgbà yìí dá. Àwa ló láṣà àti èdè. Gbígbédè lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o. Àwa gangan ni bàbá. Koiki Media. Koiki Media. Koiki Media. We bring the world closer to your doorstep. They never sabi wetin we carry for her. But e dey move closer before dem go sabi. I said they never know wetin we carry for body. But e dey move closer before dem go sabi. Ọ̀kín lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ, ìlẹ̀hún ló ló lajú. Ẹyẹ tó torí kodò bí àdó, ọ̀pẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́nu. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa. Ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè gbódùdúwà ga. Odùduwà kò bá lè gbé wá. Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣègìrì. Ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀. Ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí. Ká wálé gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé. Ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri. Ọmọ Odùduwà ni wá. Koiki Media, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ. Ètò tó gbójú ògo ni wọ́n mọ̀ ní. Kásá. Ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wá kájé gbúgbà yín jẹ. Ètò tó gbójú ògo ni wọ́n mọ̀ ní. À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ. Ètò tó gbójú ògo ni wọ́n mọ̀ ní. News and sports, ẹ máa rí gbọ́. Ètò tó gbójú ògo ni wọ́n mọ̀ ní. Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. Koiki Media, ọ̀rọ̀ lágbájúmọ̀ mi o. Máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. À ń gbádùn rẹ̀, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi. Ṣẹ́yìn ló máa fi dìbò ọ̀tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ o. Igbó máa wọ̀ sájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ. Àjòjì tó bá wọ bẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé ní bọ́ra. Ẹ̀yin lọ máa náwó òyìnbó tó dé. Ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà dẹ́kun pọ̀ sí o. Koiki Media, ṣàwa ni bàbá. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Àdáńtọ́, àtúnpèrè gidi. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ o. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Àtúnjàfẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa, fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Ọmọ Oòduà ni wá o, tọkàntọkàn. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì, àdìmú bàbá iyọ̀. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. We bring you one closer to your doorstep. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Afẹ́fẹ́ tó fẹ́ o tó kàn ní oko lára ni. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Àpèrè gidi Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́, àwa ni bàbá o. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà yín wá o. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Odùduwà lágbé dání, òtítọ́ lágbé dání. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. A kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀, a kì í sódì kẹta. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Àdúró tán, a tún péré gédé. Koiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Koiki Media, we bring you one closer to your doorstep. Àwọn ni bàbá. Koiki Media is around to give us the test. Is around to give us the test. Ladies and gentlemen, ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹgbẹ́ tí ẹ̀kọ́ ètò tó gbójú gbogbo. Ladies and gentlemen, ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹgbẹ́ tí ẹ̀kọ́ ètò tó gbójú gbogbo. Koiki Media is around to give us the test.
àníṣe mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ máa bá wa pín gbogbo platform náà ni a ti wà live ó kù díẹ̀ mo kí bàbá wa mo kí ẹ̀yin ìyá wa mo kí Mr. Peter Pan mo kí àwọn Biafra mo kí bàbá wa Dékúnlé Ògún mo kí ṣé bàbá wa ni Olúyínká Oyèníyì ẹni carry on the last man standing I love what you are doing for the struggle ẹ ṣé gan ni mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń gbé wa lẹ́yìn tẹ́ ń fi oríṣiríṣi mẹ́wàá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílé ẹni bá kàn ló mọ̀ ni kọ́lọ́ọ̀bẹ Elédùmarè kó má jẹ́ kí n tó dà kó kàn wá. Asat November inflation Nigeria ó lọ sókè rẹpẹtẹ ni tó ń ṣe kékeré ní gbogbo àgbáyé náà ní o àmọ́ ti Nigeria ó ti wọ galloping 18 years high on the surging food price kí ló ń fà tí oúnjẹ ṣe wọ́n tí èèyàn ti wà nínú ilé táwọn èèyàn oúnjẹ jẹ tó ń sunkún ẹja gbọ́ tí ọmọ Adéyẹmọ lẹ́yìn yẹn à play anthem wa fàájì náà kúkú náà ni bọ̀ a máa ń kọ́ra wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó pọ̀ ẹ má kánjú tẹ bá ti ń wọnú program ẹ̀yin ẹ má kánjú ẹja máa jọ ṣe ní díẹ̀díẹ̀ èmi náà ń pín ẹ̀yin náà bá wa pín mò ń bọ̀ mọ́ ìtì dé.
wọ́n ní ìwòsàn lápẹẹrẹ lágbájá níta ẹ̀kọ́ àgbẹ̀ ọ̀gá jìhóbà ọmọ Adéyẹmọ o ọjọ́ òní ọjọ́ tó lápẹẹrẹ gidi gan-an ni fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà orí ni ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ọba ti kú ọ̀rẹ́ ìbáyọ̀ wọn ní alákọ̀ọ́rí ọmọ ti lọ wò ó èyí tí wọ́n rò yíyẹ olúwo ọba ńlọ kúkú sẹ Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ìbò sàṣẹ́bẹ̀ lọ wà ọjà máa dúpẹ́ lọ Olódùmarè ọba òkúri tó ọba ti tàbí wèrè kọjú òní ó tó pé ńkọ́ kí lọ fẹ́ wá láàrin àwọn ọmọ adarí mú gan tàbí tó ọba ti tàbí kí ọmọ láàrin ìgbẹ́ kí lọ máa ṣẹ̀dá òfin ìró ọjà máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ alágbẹ̀dẹ àyànmọ́ ọba tó fi ọ́ dára tó dùn ọmọ Adéyẹmọ o ìwọ náà fọ Olódùmarè ọba ní kí ọ lárugẹ. Sunday o máa gbọ́ ó ti gbogbo ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ó dé wọn mọ́lẹ̀ pátápátá wọn ò lè mí mọ́ ó ti kó wọn láyà jẹ́ kó lè sókè wọ́n ṣẹ̀rù bà wọ́n ọjà wọn láyà wọn ò lè mí fín mọ́ ó ti fi òkúdú láfọ́ ìgbà òru ní èyẹ dànù. ọmọ Adéyẹmọ fún àwọn ọba tiẹ̀ ọmọ ọkọ lóògùn ọmọ àlè ìwọ náà bí bàbá dojú dé àfihàn bí ọba ṣe sí ẹja fọ kí ni ń bẹ nínú ọ̀gán ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ti ń dún mọ̀wúrú bí ọ̀pá ni kò pani bí ọba ní pani kó yé dún mọ̀wúrú Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ó ti di bí àlọ́ yìí yé ẹjẹ́ ọmọdé mú ewé kókò tó bá lè bí ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ fọ̀yà kó máa fọ̀yà gbèrègbèrè sàǹgbà ọ̀rọ̀ máa fọ́ọ̀kù ẹni ọba wọ bẹ́ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ti di bí àlọ́ yìí ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho yé orí ìyá pé ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà ọmọ ọkùnrin ọ̀hún ṣeun bẹ́ẹ̀ lọmọ ọgbọ́n ṣe ìwọ lọ́pàá gàmbàrí nípa ìsìn Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ọ̀pá gàmbàrí nípa ìsìn ọ̀pá fúlàní náà ọ̀pá ìgbà ya onítọ̀ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Sunday Ìgbòho yé ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀ àwọn bàbá rẹ lọ òrò ọmọ fẹ̀lá ọ̀lẹ́nilé mo sùn lẹ́ẹ̀kan ọmọ ajàpẹ̀yàn jẹ́ kí àwọn bàbá rẹ mo dé bọ́dà àárín òde wọ́n di méjì tìbá rẹ̀ ta àrùn ọmọdé méjì tìbá rẹ̀ àgàdà àárín ó di méjì tìbá rẹ̀ gbẹ̀dínlógún wọ́n kan ní àárọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní gbogbo ilé ìwà sàgàdà nínú bí àwọn rẹ̀ ọmọ gbọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́kọ̀ ìní ń sowó akọ̀yẹ́sọ ọlọ́kọ̀ ìní sì ń gbà lẹ́kẹ̀ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ yé Sunday Ìgbòho sàmà ogun ní nánilógún ogun ló ní ilé àárọ̀ ogun ni wọ́n fi jagun yé déwọ́ ń jẹ́ bó ogun òye ẹjẹ́ nira wọn lóògùn òná Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho sàlóní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbòmìnira dandan ni máa wá gbọ́ o àṣẹ ọlọ́dọ̀ọ́dọ̀ yìí o ìlànà Olódùmarè ni ọmọ ìlú ọmọ Adéyẹmọ o dákun mọ́rin làwọn oníṣẹ́ ẹbí ẹ̀tọ́ kálukú mọ̀ fi dùn wọ́n orí kálukú ló kúrò dépò tó dùn wá máa gbọ́ o gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tàtà ń tẹ́wá lóye já fọwọ́ pọ̀ ká gbé ẹni tó lúwọ́ fi sẹ́ ká gbé lárugẹ gidi ni ẹni méjì wọ̀ wọn ò dùn ẹjọ́ òrodò lọ sí ibà méjì kọ́ o ẹni tó lúwọ́ fi sẹ́rán ọgẹ́tọ̀ sí ẹni tó fi ra wọn Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ tó fi ra tiwa akọni tiwa akọni jagunjagun ọkùnrin tararara rọpòdò kẹlẹ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ wọn máa gbọ́n fẹ́ sí àgbàkan fún wọn ni ẹni tó bá ní kó ògùn ní kékeré kó máa fọwọ́ náà wọ́n síra wọn wọ́n ní kàkọ́ máa ṣe wá rẹ̀ kókò dànù ìmọ̀jọ́ ayọ́yẹ gbọ̀n ní kó lọ́wọ́ ọmọ wá kékeré tó kékeré ìdáhọ́ ìní ọmọ gbẹ̀yìn agbẹ̀dẹ òsì pàtàkì òní kúrò òdòkó tẹ̀ máa gbọ́ wà ní gbogbo ìdájọ́ wọn máa fọwọ́ tí ó gẹ́gẹ́ ni àwọn alágbára jagun tí wọ́n ní jagun ṣáájú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n máa fi ọtí ó gẹ́gẹ́ ni Oòduà Ọlọ́fin Ọbàtálá Báṣọ̀run Àjàká Àjàngàtìẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹ̀fọ́fọ̀fẹ́rí nánàfọ́fúnpá òun lẹ̀ lẹ́rú ọmọdé kò ní ìjọba àgọ́rílá àgọ́rí funfun alùpùpù àbáàkùtù ògèdèǹgbé ẹgbẹ́gbùngbùrù olè jẹ́sà Ṣàngó. Máa gbọ́ná sọ́kùn ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ń bọ́ Ṣàngó tí mọ́ọ̀gùn làyà wáyé náà ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ Ìgbòho Ṣàǹbó ló ti rí gbẹ̀tùgbẹ̀tù tiẹ̀ ṣe ọ̀gbárùkù lórúkọ lórí ìjọ ògùn lẹ̀yà ọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀yìn rìn kẹ́ni ọmọ ń dè bàbá rẹ lọ òrùkàtàrí gbàgbà kẹ́ni ọmọ ń dè bàbá rẹ lọ alárúgbó parúmọ́ Sunday ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ní oṣù olùkọ́ òde gbangba Sunday ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ó ti di gbogbo ọdún ó ti wà lókè ẹni ẹ bá ní ọjà kọ́kọ́ máa kú ni máa gbọ́ o sórí má bẹ̀rù ọ̀tẹ̀ mọ́ òòrí ní gbogbo fùrùfùrù labalábá tí wọ́n ń dìbò lẹ́kùn Sunday ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ Ìgbòho Ṣà òòrí bí wọ́n ti ń wọṣọ àkísà máa gbọ́ o jẹ́ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà lóye àkọ́dá ayé ọgbọ́n ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ní ẹja fọwọ́tì àti yìí débi tó lápẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹja fọ tẹ́lẹ̀ èmi tún ẹ̀wọ̀ òdù mi kò lè gbé wa débi kankan pa àkọ́dá ayé ọgbọ́n ẹja fọwọ́ ká jẹ́ ìtọ́jú ọmọ fi sẹ́ni lárugẹ ni ẹ máa gbọ́ oníbọ̀ ní sẹ́ni ní igi igbó sórí pọ̀ wọ́n dìgbẹ́ ẹ̀rí ni àwọn àgbàlagbà bá dúró tán inú déyìn ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ gan ni Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ yéé máa kó ọjọ́ òní ọjọ́ burúkú tó lápẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tí wọ́n ṣe rúrú ẹ̀ kò lè mú jẹ́ ẹ̀. má ṣe pé ṣùgbọ́n nu rẹ̀ gbogbo tó ọba tó ń sátábà ní abọ́ ìmọ̀lẹ̀ thank you láàrọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ gbogbo.
Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ tí ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní gbogbo ibi tí ẹ wà. Mo níṣẹ́ tí ẹ bá fẹ́ wọ orú nǹkan tèmi náà wọ̀ yìí tí ẹ fẹ́ look very good tẹ́yin náà fẹ́ máa look sharp tẹ́yin náà fẹ́ dàbí ìgbà tí ẹ bá jáde tọ́mọ máa ní ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà ẹ wá lọ sórí Omitaf Culture àwọn ní bespoke tailoring wọ́n rán aṣọ ẹbí wọ́n rán wà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n rán tọmọdé kódà wọ́n ń ṣe fashion training fún ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá fẹ́ jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ yín àwọn sisi tó wà nílé tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe kíni tí wọ́n fẹ́ kọ́ṣẹ́ tailoring tẹ́ bá wá lọ sórí péèjì wọn oríṣiríṣi lẹ máa bá níbẹ̀ oríṣiríṣi àwọn aṣọ tó dáa tó yẹ pé ẹ̀yin náà lè look like this ẹ rántí gbogbo àwọn nice shirt tá máa fi ń wọ̀nyí yẹn ó pọ̀ níbẹ̀ oríṣiríṣi lọ́ní tẹ́yin bá ṣàti lọ síbẹ̀ wá fún yín ní irú nǹkan tẹ́yin náà máa lè máa wọ̀ l'Amẹ́ríkà ní Australia ní Canada èrè lára ilé tí wọ́n ṣe náà lélẹ̀ ó pọ̀ níbẹ̀ o oríṣiríṣi ni wọ́n ní ẹ̀yẹn ṣá lọ sórí péèjì wọn lórí Instagram ẹ̀ bá ń bẹ̀ ó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ tẹ́ bá wá ń fẹ́ nọ́mbà wọn ẹ mú pen kẹ́kọ́ sílẹ̀ +234 81 38 52 85 88 àwọn ọ̀dẹ́ ń disappoint èèyàn torí pé ìtàbá lè fògùn ẹ̀gbà rí kò ń ṣe gbogbo ohun tó wà Nàìjíríà nìyẹn lè fògùn ẹ̀gbà rí. Mo kí gbogbo tí ẹ ti ṣe ń wọlé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí nọ́mbà yẹn, òun náà ni +234 81 38 52 85 88. Kò sí ní tẹ́fẹ́ ẹ bá níbẹ̀. Gbogbo àwọn aṣọ tèmi náà máa wọ̀ tí máa fi ń look good yẹn ẹ bá wọn níbẹ̀. Mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí tí ẹ káàbọ̀ lórí ètò tòru èní. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti wọlé àtàwọn tó máa wá padà tún wò, torí kò sí program tá a bá ṣe, kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn náà ló máa ń láǹfààní àti wò ní live. Aago 3 àbọ̀ ti lù nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tí a mọ̀ sí contraction country Nigeria, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni aago 2 àbọ̀ ṣẹ́lù lọ́dọ̀ tiwa. Èwo la tún fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lálẹ́ yìí? Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ transistor radio, transistor radio tí a ti ń polongo pó ń bọ̀ ó ti dé báyìí. Please work more on the professor issues. Which issue lẹ́ ń sọ kò yé mi o. Any professor issue? Which of the professor? Ṣé bàbá Akíntóyè àbí professor èwo àbí ti bàbá wa tó lọ́lé tí wọ́n gbéwó lọ sílé níbi tí ilé ayé dé nísìn tá à ń pariwo pé kò sí security Nàìjíríà? Professor Moyo Okedeji tó lọ sí Nàìjíríà tọ́lọ́run ọba Elédùmarè jẹ́ kó pa wọ́n sọ̀hún. Nǹkan mi làbá máa sọ nísìn, àbí professor wo lẹ́ ń sọ? Ẹ bá mi ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ dáadáa. Mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o pé a tún káàbọ̀ sórí ètò tiwantiwa. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ mo kí ìyá wa Felicia Àjàgbé, mo kí Metia_Yemi. Àìtí start Instagram wa, ó máa wọlé láìpẹ́ ó kù díẹ̀. Gbogbo platform náà la máa connect sí ní ọ̀tún lósì, torí gbogbo èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ pé a wà on. Self-determination. What is the difference between self-determination àti Yorùbá nation? Kí ni ìyàtọ̀? Tí àyàn bá sọ fún yín pé wọ́n ń ṣe self-determination campaign ní ọ̀dọ̀ Kóìkí àtàwọn mídíà tó kù, tẹ́ bá gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ kí ló mean sẹ́yìn? Kí ni ìyàtọ̀? Kí ni self-determination? What does it mean? Ó wà lára tí mo fẹ́ sọ ní èní, torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn wọ́n mix ọ̀rọ̀ self-determination yẹn, wọ́n mix ẹ̀ up. Wọ́n jẹ́ kó yé wa pé kí lẹ̀ ń ṣe gan Kóìkí? Ṣé kò ń ṣe pé ẹ ti ń da gbogbo ẹ̀ papọ̀ mọ́ra wọn? Torí pé tí ẹ̀yin èèyàn bá comment, tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá ń send message sí wa, ànímọ̀. Ó wà lára ìdí tí a fẹ́ ṣe ti ètò talẹ́ yìí náà. So mo tún bi wá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, kí ni à ń pè ní self-determination, àti pé kí ni difference between self-determination àti Yorùbá nation? Ẹ bá mi fi sí comment ní bó bá ṣe yé ẹ̀yin sí, àti pé kí nìdí tí mo ṣe sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Mo ti dé. Kí ló dé tí Nigeria inflation tó ń lọ sókè rẹpẹtẹ? Kí ló fà á? Kí ni ìdí ẹ̀? Ṣé torí pé a ní production tó pọ̀ nínú Nigeria, àti pé some other factors? Because for the last 63 years of the failed country tó ń pè Nigeria, tó lúkàlùkù kàn parọ́ fúnra wọn, we have never been one and we can never be one. So caricature government. Ìwọ náà ṣá lọ try tiẹ̀, tó bá ti gbìyànjú ibi tó bá ṣe dé dá padà fáwa. Ṣé àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò, ṣé ó likely pé wọ́n máa fi wọ́n ṣe president Nigeria bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ yìí, nígbà tí Tinubu nísìn tó ti ní kí bàbá wa Àwùjalẹ̀ kábíyèsí kó fi jẹ ọba Gbọ́baníyì of Ìjẹ̀bú-land? Gbogbo náà láti rí images yẹn. Kò sí nǹkan tó kúnkún bọ̀ láyé tó jẹ́ bàbàrà mọ́ nísìn, nígbà táwọn ọba náà ti ṣe kíni, tó ti ní Àwùjalẹ̀ ní kí ló bàdé níbẹ̀ tá bá fi ọmọ Fúlàní tá bá fi joyè ní orílẹ̀-èdè wa. wọ́n ní kò sí nǹkan kan tó bad níbẹ̀. Ó dáa, gbogbo àwọn èèyàn ti respond sí that particular incident, but is it going to make any difference? Ṣàkọ máa sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn bó dẹ̀ ṣe máa lọ nìyẹn àbí ìyàtọ̀ máa wà? Gbogbo ẹ̀ náà la máa mọ̀. Mo kí Yami Elizabeth Adesanya ẹ káàárọ̀ mà. Mo kí Prince Adékúnlé ẹ káàbọ̀. Mo kí Ìjáyà. Mo kí bàbá mi Kúnlé Ṣítà. Àwọn ni wọ́n ń bá mi ṣe printing ní ọ́fíìsì wọn nígbà tá a kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá Nation. Kódà àwọn kan ní Yorùbá Nation pé opportunist ni fáwọn kan. Mo ní probability wà, kò sí nǹkan tí kò sí opportunist fún. Àwa la máa wá mọ ibi tí a fẹ́ máa ṣe wàhálà lé lórí. Torí nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́, a bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìṣọ̀kan. Bọ̀ láàrin méjì ẹ̀ olúkálukú, mo ń bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ Alan Conde. I think I am fully set on all the platforms. Saheed Balogun mo kẹ́yìn ti Ìgàràwú, mo kí bàbá wa Ọbánlá Ọlálẹ́yẹ Paul, Gani Olóyèdé káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Ibi báyìí ni lecture room, ibi báyìí ò ń ṣe ọ̀dọ̀ ṣẹpẹ̀tẹ́rì, ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn sisters wa tí wọ́n gbá fúnra wọn. Ibi báyìí ni wọ́n pè ní Yorùbá Nation Campaign Media. Media làwa, èyí tó bá dẹ̀ yéèyàn ẹ máa béèrè. Ìtawà náà bá mọ̀, à gbé lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n wá bá wa ṣàlàyé ẹ̀. Ṣé ti pín ètò yìí lọ́dọ̀ yín àbí ẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ̀ pín rárá? Tẹ́yìn ò bá ì tí ì pín, èmi náà ṣì ń pín ni. Ẹ ṣì ní few minutes. Kánjú, ẹni bá ń pọ́njú ẹ lè lọ kẹ́ wá padà wá tá bá ti ṣe tán kẹ́ download ẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà labroad, ẹ̀yin ò ní láti download. Internet ọ̀fẹ́ ni lẹ́yìn ní, not literally pé ọ̀fẹ́, but at least ó ṣì wà cheaper than ẹni tó wà ní Nàìjíríà. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìyá mi kan dígbà tí wọ́n gbọ́ message tí mo ṣe pé ọ̀tẹ̀ tí bí àwòrán tí ni wọ́n ti send owó náà, but èmi gan ìtẹ̀ tí ráyè ṣe data fún máà nìyẹn. But mo promise pé lágbára Ọlọ́run tí bá parí program yìí, náà pé mo ṣì ní náírà kékeré kan máa send ẹ̀ sí wọn sínú ẹ̀. Glo ni wọ́n náà máa send 2005 kí bàbá yẹn lè láǹfààní àti wo program tí máa ṣe títí the end of December. À ń ṣe give away ní bíbáyò, but ó dà pé Bishop Adesina náà fẹ́ fún àwọn mẹ́wàá kan ní bóyá rúbà equivalent to 7,000 naira. Wọ́n máa ṣàlàyé fún mi bó ṣe fẹ́ ṣe tó máa fi di ìmúṣẹ before the Christmas, but wàá ṣí rúbà account. Gbogbo àná láti rí picture bàbá wa Awùjalẹ̀ àti Boko Haram terrorist tó ń pè ní El-Rufai, Malam El-Rufai. Mo máa change image mi lẹ́yìn èyí tá lò láàárọ̀, àgbọ̀dọ̀ tó lè yẹn mọ́ nígbà tá ti rí kábíyèsí tí wọ́n ti rán aṣọ fún àwọn Boko Haram El-Rufai. So gbogbo ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ènìyàn náà ló ti ṣe program lé lórí. I'm not gonna touch much on that, but a ṣì sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Tẹ́ bá ti ń darapọ̀ báyìí, mo kí Yami Beauty àmọ̀ pé _ ẹ káàbọ̀ mà. Ẹ bá wa máa pín. Ẹ like Aziz Karim, mo kí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe. Ó dà pé mi náà kù díẹ̀, so àwọn tó kù náà mo fẹ́ pín nísìn. Ṣé Yorùbá Nation ṣé business ni? Ṣé business center ni? Ṣàfi ń ṣe business ni? Àwọn kan agree pé Kóìkì olè ní gbogbo yín. Ẹ lọ jókòó síbi kan jọ. Yorùbá Nation tẹ́ ń ṣe yẹn ẹ fi ń jalè ni. Yorùbá Nation tí gbogbo yín ṣe yẹn ẹ fi ń ṣe díìsì ni. Àwọn kan tẹ̀ tí wọ́n sọ pé kí ló dé tá a fi ṣe business? Business làwa máa ṣe o, business làwa fẹ́ ṣe, àwọn ò ṣe gbogbo ràkàtí àtẹ̀ ń ṣe. Mo kí Alan Conde, mo kí àwọn tèmi lórí MixLR. Bá máa kí lọ tá a bá ṣe ń ṣètò yẹn. Mo kí Kúnlé Bakers, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń fi ìrànlọ́wọ́ sí wa. Ṣé torí tá a bá ti wá sórí program tá a ní ẹ support wa làwọn kan ṣe sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ pé ó lè ní gbogbo yín jọ, ó lè ní gbogbo yín, ẹ wò mí dáadáa. Jẹ́ n bọ́ glasses mi torí ó lè máa deceive yín. Ẹ wo èmi dáadáa, ẹ wò mí dáadáa. gbogbo ẹnu mo lè fi sọ níbi tí mo jókòó sí. Foresight tí àwa ṣe ń rí nísìn pé Nàìjíríà ò dáa, foresight yẹn tí àwọn kan ṣe rí ni o. In the 90s ni mọ̀mísí tèmi ti rí. Mo láǹfààní àti lọ sọ́dọ̀ mọ̀mísí mi náà, and I spend few hours with her like I do every weekend. Sọ̀rọ̀ oríṣiríṣi ìyàtọ̀ mọ́, it's not for public consumption. Fún mi ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìyá, àwọn advice, ìbáyìí ṣe báyìí, má ṣe ilé ní ká ṣe, ọdún bọ̀ kankan. In the 90s ni mọ̀mísí mi ti rí problem Nigeria tó ti sá kúrò. Mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ pé ó take a decision yẹn torí irú ìjọba yìí ó fi dá fún rèmi láti fi ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ ni. Tẹ́ bá ní wọ́n fi Yorùbá nation ṣe business, oh yes, a fi ń ṣe business náà ni. A fi ń ṣe business ni. Ẹ mọ̀ pé business náà ni mọ̀mísí mi ń ṣe. So business yẹn náà làwọn fi ń ṣe Yorùbá nation títí di wákàtí. Máa play audio yẹn kan tó fi ránṣẹ́ sí mi. Audio méjì la máa play lálẹ́. Mo fẹ́ ká settle down. Mo rí pé àwọn èèyàn ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí TikTok. Àwọn èèyàn darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ẹni tó wá gbọ́ ní live, ẹ máa gbọ́ láàárọ̀. Ó ṣeé ṣe kí ẹni tó fi audio yẹn gan ránṣẹ́ káwọn náà gbọ́ program yìí. Ẹ má kó gbogbo àpapọ̀. Ọláyọmí Kóìkì lèmi o. Ẹ má kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ mọ́rógà. Ibi tí èèyàn bá ti ń ṣe nìyẹn ti ń jẹ, àtayébáyé nìyẹn, má kọjá jẹ́ pa ni. Ẹ lè níbi ṣe jókòó síbí tèmi náà ń ṣàìsùn, tèmi náà ń polongo Yorùbá nation campaign. Ẹ ṣe báyìí, ẹ má jẹ́ ká ṣe báyìí, ẹ má jẹ́ ká lo eléyìí ò dáa, kò jẹ́ ká ṣe báyìí. Wọ́n níbi tí èèyàn bá ti ń ṣe ló ti ń jẹ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Èmi ò ní jẹ́ kò ní pé ibi tí mo ti ń ṣe mo ní jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Àmọ́ àwa ò ní jàjẹ́ pa. Ẹ̀rí á dẹ̀ wà pé in tá à ń ṣe landmark ẹ̀ máa wà. I don't have to give accolade to myself. Jọ àìtí débi tá à ń lọ, a ṣe ń campaign ni. Àwọn ọmọ ìgboro ti dé láti club. Táwọn náà bá ti dé, tá a bá fẹ́ dàdúgbò rú níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, àkọ́ ju volume sókè ni. Àkọ́ tó wá rántí pé neighborhood ẹ ló wà. Nígbà tó bá lọ sókè, wèrè kan lè lọ dé kó lọ fọ́ gíláàsì mọ́tò ẹ̀, ọ̀yà já wálẹ̀. Bọ̀ tó bá wà ládùúgbò mi, wàá ju sókè. Èmi dẹ̀ máa ń like àwọn reggae, àwọn bashment. Wàá ju sókè. A bá ń bọ̀ láti club, a máa loud ẹ̀ gbàgbàgbàgbàgbà. Tọ́lọ́pàá bá dẹ dúró, tọkùn ẹ̀ balẹ̀ pò ní license tó dẹ̀ ní right láti wà nílùú tó ń ṣe dìgò. Wàá park. Officer, what happen? Ló ṣẹlẹ̀. Ẹ̀fẹ̀ nìyẹn. Ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa. Ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tẹ́ ń gbọ́ program, ó dà ń pé ẹ̀ ń ṣì wá gbọ́. Ó dà ń pé fẹ́ máa kó wa mọ́ àwọn kan tí wọ́n rí Yorùbá nation as an opportunist. Èmi ò rí Yorùbá nation as an opportunist o. Ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa. Mo ní fẹ́ ẹ̀yin mi wọ̀n mi. Tó bá máa sílẹ̀ bá máa fi mọ́ yìí, màá show yín ní picture jollof rice. Pot ńlá ni ìyàwó mi ti ṣe gbogbo prep ẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Tó bá máa fi jí láàárọ̀, ó pẹ́ jù aago 6 ó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí dáná. Tí òun rice máa dún nínú ilé ìtàtàtà. Ìtọ́ dè mọ́lẹ̀ ń bíbà, ó dà pé puff puff la máa dín láàárọ̀ ọ̀la. Ẹ má fi gbogbo wa, ẹ má kó wa mọ́rógà o. Wọ́n fi Yorùbá nation, wọ́n fi ń ṣe opportunist ni. Èmi ò máa wọ́n tẹ̀ ń sọ yẹn o. I don't know who you're addressing, but please, on this my platform called Koiki Media, do not address me as an opportunist for this project. Because project like Bedani, oh yes, in the project, I have the right to be looked after. Benny, in this project, responsibility tẹ̀yìn òní pé kẹ́yìn náà look after tiwa. Kò dẹ́n ṣe gbogbo yẹn ló kúkú máa look after wa. But it's the responsibility. Àìmọye tó ti ń gbọ́ program wọn in the last 3 years. Tó fún wa lówó, ẹlòmíì ò ṣàdúrà fún wa, ẹlòmíì ò comment, ẹlòmíì ò tẹ̀ care. So but àwọn tó care yẹn wọ́n rí pé sáfíìsì kan làwa náà ṣe for humanity. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ ń give service in humanity, give and take ìdílé ayé, àwọn kan máa ní ẹgbà lọ́hùn yẹn, ẹ má bínú, àní àmọ́ wá fi ohùn sílẹ̀ tó máa ṣe dáadáa. Ẹ jájọ gbọ́ díò yìí, bí ẹ̀mí ni kò yé ni, bí àtàyàn ọlọ́pọlọ bá jọ gbọ́ ayé gbogbo wa. Mo ń béèrè lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, mo ní kí ni ìyàtọ̀ láàrin Yorùbá nation àti self-determination? Ká kọ́kọ́ clear àárín yẹn dáadáa. Mo kí grandma Comfort Adélẹ́yẹ, mo kí ìyá mi tó ní pẹ́ ṣe jọ́ọ̀bí wọn, ìwé next week lágbọ́rọ̀ Ọlọ́run náà ni àwọn tó lọ jẹ rice yà dáadáa, yà lálùbáríkà. Àṣà ti ní ayé tá à ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation, a lè ṣe máa láyé tá a máa ṣe even after tí mo bí rí ti glasses ṣe ń dọ̀tí báyìí. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yẹn nísìn, kí ni ìyàtọ̀ self-determination? Ẹ̀wọ̀n tá a bá ń pariwo ẹlòmíì ẹ ti káàkiri ẹ ti lọ waste time yín pẹ̀lú àwọn jagbajantis. Ẹ wá rò pé tẹ bá ti wá dẹ́dọ̀ tiwa ìkan náà ni gbogbo wa. À ń ṣe kan náà. Yorùbá lè máa pariwo Yorùbá nation. Mo sọ fún yín, I am well read at least and I am well sound. Ẹ ní láti sọ fún mi, I know that myself. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá sọ fún mi gan, ìyá tó bí mi sọ fún mi pé mo sound. Ibi tó dẹ̀ kù sí, ó ń ṣàlàyé fún mi. Mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe amendment lé lórí. What is the difference between self-determination and Yorùbá nation? What is the difference? Kí ni ìyàtọ̀? Kentos Abẹ̀bí, èèyàn ti Koiki Media, kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ. Àǹtí mi dáadáa, gbogbo Manchester, Ọlọ́run bẹ̀ Elédùmarè bá ń dúró sí. Ẹ wá bá ń kí wọn kú mi dáadáa, wọ́n kò tọ́jú yín. Ṣé bá ti ń tọ́jú yín, ẹ̀ ń tọ́jú èmi náà. Ṣé gan ni? What is the difference? Kí ni ìyàtọ̀ self-determination àti Yorùbá nation? Ẹ jẹ́ àwọn talent Kọ́ndé sọ. Only difference between self-determination and Yorùbá nation is without freedom, we cannot control our land. Àwọn kan ṣe wá ti ń sọ fún wa pé ó yẹ ká ti máa ṣe business nínú Yorùbá nation. Mo ní Yorùbá nation ni wo? Ṣá ti gba country ni? Àì ti gba country now. Moreover, as we are all asking for our right to self-determination, ẹlòmíì ò tí ka 35-page manual script tí bàbá kí tó yẹ kọ. Ẹni tó kàrún kan bẹ́ẹ̀ báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ ní understanding kan tá gbé dání? It took me 2 hours lórí ìjókòó yìí. Omi fẹ́ lè máa bọ́ lójú mi. Mo kà débi pé iṣẹ́ tẹ̀yìn ni pé kẹ́ lọ wá fídíò yẹn kẹ́ wá gbọ́. Èmi ti bá yín ṣe ní audio, but some of us are just lazy. Ẹ ti gbọ́ Yorùbá nation tán ṣe níbẹ̀ yẹn, ẹ ti gbọ́ lọ́hùn, ẹ ti gbọ́ lọ́hùn, ẹ wá fẹ́ kó gbogbo amórógà. Mo bẹ̀ yín ni. Kí ló ń pè ní self-determination? Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ wo according to dictionary. Nation, gbogbo alátimọ̀ tó ń pè ní nation. Àwọn tó ń jẹ́ ẹ̀yà kan náà, tó ní ìwà kan náà, tó dẹ̀ ní geographical location tiwọn or territory tiwọn. But what is the meaning of self-determination gangan? Because àwọn kan ní ẹ ń pè Yorùbá nation, ẹ tún pè self-determination. Èwo gan ni méjèèjì? Kí ni méjèèjì? Kí ni méjèèjì tẹ́ ń ṣe yìí? Self-determination denotes, D-E-N-O-T-E-S, denotes the legal right of people. Àwa ni people, èèyàn, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ló ń pè ní people or àwọn ẹlòmíì náà bẹ́ẹ̀, to decide their own destiny in the international order. ẹ tún gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Self-determination denote mọ̀kẹ́gbọ́n mi Yẹmí Benson ìyàwó Yeti Love ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí tẹ̀ ń wọlé ẹ máa bá wa pín tẹ́lẹ̀ mo fẹ́ máa sọ but máa rí i pé ó dáhùn pé tá a bá ń sọ lórí platform tiwa kọ́ máa rò pé èèyàn gbéraga ẹ pín ètò yẹn ẹ yẹ kó kárí ilé. Self-determination tá à ń pariwo ẹ̀ à ń pariwo self-determination yẹn láti reach destination kan láti fi achieve nǹkan kan àìtí ìgbà Yorùbá nation. I've said it. If anybody sọ fún yín pé àwọn ti gba country àti àmà gbogbo yẹn nonsense ni gbogbo ẹnu mo fi sọ but wọ́ọ̀ a lè máa challenge ẹni tí tó ní skoin lórí ìyá tó ní skoin lórí yẹn a lè máa challenge because ẹni tó ní skoin lórí ó yàtọ̀ sí ọ̀rọ̀ ọlọ́pọlọ ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n because tabanẹ̀ ti gba country ó ná àwọn process tẹ́ ti máa ṣe tí country yẹn máa fi máa reflect ìwọ àtèmi. The first thing ni pé a lè náà ti wà nínú Yorùbá nation country tí a ti take the whole territory yẹn in our possession. Ìyẹn ṣe country ẹ ti gba country nìyẹn. You must be able to defend that country and you must be able to start operation on that country. Ìdí tí a ṣe láǹfààní àti operate ilẹ̀ Yorùbá during the regional government was because that was the arrangement in the United Kingdom. That was the arrangement, the full arrangement that says that as the country is returned back to the people that owns it, you will go and defend, protect, and do laws within your own region to make sure it has impact in the lives of your people. That was the arrangement from UK during what we called the regional government. In that regional government, Baba Lawolowo had his own cabinet, his own system set up, just as the eastern region and the northern region, until all that was pulled down. So, what are we now fighting for? What are we fighting for? What are we now asking for? What are we saying that we need? Because many people today, Emma Benu realize pé emblem ni ti gbowó tí máa ń gbé sára kò tí wà ní ara mi. Èmi náà wo kámẹ́rà ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ rán mi létí pé Koiki ó fi Ìgbòho sáyà ní ẹ̀wọ̀n pé mo ní mo ṣẹ̀ jí ni. Mo then set up while I was coming live náà ni. So à ń ṣe lẹ́yìn kankan ni so that pé mi ní bàbá Yorùbá. So jẹ́ ń fi lé báyìí so that ẹni tó bá ń wo program mi wọ́n ní kó mi mọ́ Aṣíwájú Tinubu. Àwọn tó jẹ́ ọmọ Tinubu gan báyìí nísìnyí ogun ọlọ́tí ń complain. À ń bọ̀ lórí economy Nàìjíríà. Gbowó ṣá ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ gbèsáyà. Orúkọ ẹ la fi ń jẹun. Torúkọ dádì tiẹ̀ náà bá dá mú jáde ká máa fi jẹun. Orúkọ Ìgbòho la fi ń jẹun. A lè máa fi jẹun kálẹ̀ ni. Ọlọ́dẹ bá ń dúró tì. Kí ni Yorùbá nation? Or let's just say, what is a nation? We are campaigning for something. What are we campaigning for? We are campaigning for a nation, but through the process of what is called self-determination. Mr. Peter George, ẹ káàárọ̀. Ìyá wa sọ pé Olúrẹ̀mí kí là ń kọ́ ọ̀gá bí wọ́n ní That only that is the reason why we're campaigning for our Yoruba nation through self-determination. Ẹ ṣé gan ni, ìyá lálùbáríkà. Ẹ jẹ́ n pin nìyẹn mọ́lẹ̀. Ó dà ń pa àwọn kan. Ẹ jẹ́ n sọ nǹkan fún wa. Not everybody is going to campaign for Yoruba nation. Now, not everybody is going to accept it. But that is not going to stop the campaign. You only stop campaigning. Whether you agree with it or kódà ẹ̀yin tẹ́tí bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa gan ṣe ẹ̀ bá náà ṣe mọ́ ẹ̀ bá yẹn lẹ́ náà ṣe mọ́. You have the right to say that. Àti náwó, àti ṣe this, àti ṣe that, àti rí result, ó ti sú wa. Tó bá ti sú yín ẹ̀yin bí àṣà Yèyé Dára Kòwé. Ìtàṣe ń pè ní movement nìyẹn. It is still a movement until you take back that control through the right to self-determination. Self-determination denotes the legal right of the people to decide their own destiny. Legal rights yẹn nísìn ni government in Nigeria ò tí ì fẹ́ fún àwa àti Biafra àti àwọn ẹ̀yà tó feel pé a ní láti lọ. Because if the federal government, it doesn't matter whether it was dead or alive, Buhari and Yemi Osinbajo, the short man devil, tó pè rẹ̀ ní pastor, èmi mọ̀ tó ti rí pastor rẹ̀, because as far as I'm concerned, he's a short man devil. Àbí Buhari tó ti kú, àbí tó wà láyé tó ti ní dementia, or Tinubu, àbí Jonathan, àbí Yar'Adua, it does not matter. Ìgbà tá started kò matter. Ìgbà tá fẹ́ gbà láì tí mọ̀. Because I think the country kankan. Mo sọ gbogbo rakati àtàwọn the other side yẹn ṣe pé àwọn ti gba country. They are wasting their hell of a hell time. Because kò síbi kankan tílẹ̀ mọ́ lẹ́ni o lóru èní o tílẹ̀ fi máa mọ́ tó confirm pé Yorùbá nation ti di country. It was once a country, or a nation rather, not even a country. It was once a nation of its own during those empires, up to the point of the 1914 amalgamation. Moke Adekunle plenty. Richie Money Moke Kabo Sorieto. She ain't telling me. This Yoruba people tan start jẹ́ àti dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìlú rí before táwọn òyìnbó tó dé. After ṣe Moke èèyàn ti Koiki Media. Nígbà táwọn òyìnbó dé, àwọn ni wọ́n dá gbogbo ẹ̀rú kó tó di pé àwọn tó jẹ́ ẹni tó gbé fún wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í yọ olúkálùkù ń ṣe tó wù níbẹ̀. I'm asking again, what is the nation and why are we asking for that nation? Process wo la fẹ́ fi dé nation yẹn, òun ni a fi ń sọ pé we have the right. Tí bá jáde nísìnyí tí mo ní you have the right to be given a visa to this country. Irọ́ ni mo ń pa o. Wàá láti prove right yẹn, whether through birth or through whether you have the legal requirement to live in the country. And I'll give an example. How many people know that your visa does not guarantee you an entry into a country? How many people ló mọ̀ yẹn? Pé visa tó fún ẹ láti ilé, UK visa tó fún ẹ, American visa tó fún ẹ, Japan visa tó fún ẹ, any visa in the world tó fún ẹ kò guarantee ẹ pé ó máa gbé wọnú ìlú yẹn. Ó dìgbà tí officer, immigration officer tó bá wà satisfied pé into náà fẹ́ wá ṣe àti reason to give tó fi fún ẹ ní visa yẹn. Ìyẹn ló ṣe máa ń sọ pé kọ́lọ́n sí ẹ débẹ̀ o, kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ o land wọlé. Because an immigration officer can literally turn you down from only stop landing it. I have experienced it in my life living in this country. I don't know whether I've talked about it before. I can't remember if I've talked about it or not. But about it, sorry, please remind me. To òpùrọ́ ló máa sọ̀rọ̀ tó máa switch ẹ̀. Mo lọ sí Dublin ní year kan, mo tẹ̀lé àwọn Scientology, mo ti sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn rí. Scientology, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Yẹmí Benson sọ pé yes of course at the point of entry. Mo mọ̀ bí ẹ̀ máa tán pè ní Scientology. Forget about pé wọ́n nìkan ló ń ṣẹ̀sìn láyé, ẹ̀sìn pọ̀ bí bùà. Ẹ̀sìn tí ẹni kò dì mú, má contradict ẹ̀sìn lẹ́sìn. Wọ́n wá invite Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Bidus, gbogbo wọn. And we travel down with a private jet. Nígbà tí mo dán, wọ́n sọ fún mi pé mo ní wọlé. Mo ní mo ní wọlé báwo. Wọ́n náà yẹ kémi nídi visa tèmi máa fi wọlé. Mo ní okay. Mo ní visa. Wọ́n ní visa ṣe. Mo ní mo ní di visa. Wọ́n ní mo ní visa kí n tó wọnú lọ àwọn. Wọ́n ní báwo mo ṣe dé bíbá ìgan sẹ̀. Mo ní private jet lọ fi kó gbogbo wa. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí, I can't remember the year precisely, but tí bá lọ wo communication mi pẹ̀lú àwọn ọlọ́pàá Dublin, màá lè trace padà. Ó wà lórí email mi. Wọ́n ṣáà lọ́wọ́ bọ̀, wọ́n lọ́ bọ̀. Wọ́n ṣáà land the grant mi pé wọ́n land mi wọlé. That means pé wọ́n allow mi kí n wọlé. But wọ́n hold the document mi. Bàtà rẹ̀ ṣe ń dáfẹ́ ṣe tán lọ́hùn. Àdẹ̀jáde. Ẹ̀mọ̀ tí yàn tẹ̀ ẹ̀ka kún, èmi kọ̀ tẹ̀ ti gbàgbé pé mo tẹ̀ lọ síbẹ̀. Mo wá ń fly bọ̀ láti bí àmú lọ Nàìjíríà. Mo wá ń bọ̀. Ó wá dá mi dúró l'airport. Èmi ọ̀gá tó bá ní ìwé tó ń padà bọ̀, ọkùnrin máa balẹ̀ gan jẹun tó ní visa lọ. Immigration officer wá dá mi dúró. Only we have to stop you. You will have to come with me. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? But ìlú yìí, ní tí mo like ni pé they will always tell you the reasons why you are being stopped. Tó bá travel rí, o lè ní experience tí mò ń sọ yìí o. Ìyẹn ló ṣe ń sọ pé àwa tá à ń pariwo nísìn pé a ní right. Right yẹn lórí ilẹ̀ wa ni. Right yẹn ò sí lórí ilẹ̀ North, kò dẹ̀ sí lórí ilẹ̀ Igbo. The right to self-determination tá à ń sọ pé a fẹ́, it is the right lórí territory wa nìkan ni. They lè encroach on another person's territory. So I was pulled out of the crowd nígbà tí mo wà níwájú immigration officer. The first time tó kọ́kọ́ dá mi dúró bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹ̀wọ̀n pé kí ni ẹ̀ máa dé bẹ́ẹ̀ lójijì pé ìwọ tó ti wà nínú ilé tó dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé níwèé o kọ̀ jáde kò dẹ̀ wọlé padà lódì Mr. Koiki. We're gonna have to stop you. It's not a problem. Immigration officer wani, you traveled to Dublin? Money, yes. Money, and what happened? Only what a minute kankan sórí system mi, orí data mi. Bó ṣe sọ fún mi bá orí nǹkan ọ̀dẹ̀ fọlọ́ pé mo ní so ìyẹn lẹ́sẹ̀ fi dá mi ó ní àwọn kọ́. Ẹ mọ̀ pé this country they work all in hand. Mo ní Nàìjíríà ò ń ṣe country. I was pulled out. Mo jókòó. Ìgbà tẹ́mi dẹ́ mọ̀ pé ibi tí mo lọ, mo kúkú lọ jalè ńbẹ̀, mo dẹ̀ ṣe kankan níbẹ̀. They went for few minutes. Probably about less than 20-25 minutes. It was not up to 30 minutes. And I came back. And the officer says, everything was fine. You're now allowed to go. But they will not tell you more than that. They will not tell you more than that. And on the very first day when that happened, it was like a shock, you know. But I've been stopped at the. What I'm just trying to say is that you coming to this country or any other country with a visa, àfi tó bá ti ní British, even kan tó bá ní ẹ̀ gan ṣì lè stop ẹ̀, but ìwọ tó ń bọ̀ pẹ̀lú visa, kọ́lọ́njẹ́ ọ̀làǹdè ni o, they can literally tell you you will not be allowed to continue with your trip into the UK. Then months after that again, I traveled, I was pulled out. Then from there, I knew that, you know, it is nothing. But today, you know, those things have been cleared. I'm talking about years back now. I was able to fight it. It took a bit of time. But how did I know? Sherry, this campaign, we are learning along the line and we are adjusting the program. Lori platform anymore, so I don't know about any other platform. I can't speak for any other platform. I'm speaking on my platform because this is a different platform that speaks and that can confirm Ubuntu. Because money so ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo mọ̀ pé àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n wá lọ try láti first verify it. And that is why I have good amount of you all. Belua. There was a trip I was coming back. And as the officer said, we're going to stop you. Yeah, I'm aware of that. But it doesn't make sense. And because sometimes you meet some of them that will, you know, just like Baba Noshin, Bolongo, Yoruba Nation, found on this will make sense. Because our mock will make sense. But the due process that we figure Yoruba Nation, only come a campaign. Because on all every figure Yoruba Nation, you first have to campaign about it. You gotta have to talk about it. You gotta have to give all the reasons why, you know, Yoruba must stand on its own against this contraction we call a country called Nigeria that is never a country in the first place. So the immigration officer was not happy. But only try to, you know, fight this. Try to, you know, make inquiries. You should not be stopped. Make inquiries and find out, you know, take a legal process about this. Because you come madam dúró now. Èmi tí mo ti ń bọ̀ láti flight, mo ti dé tó ti fi wọ London padà tó sọ pé ó níwèé. Wọ́n gbé gan tẹ̀ tí ń wọ ẹ̀gbọ́n sọ pé àṣé ilé náà àṣé gbogbo àjọ wà ní same kò ní mọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn dé ní mọ́tò dáyàn dúró fún. Because, I mean, as a Nigerian, padà bọ̀ ọ́pùlẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn máa kí ló dé lè dúró fún báyìí ọlọ́mọ yẹn kọ́ dẹ̀bi dọ̀dọ̀ olúkálukú àti máa ké fatia oríṣiríṣi kúnkúṣì olúkálukú àti máa gbògèdè. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You know, because if you get pulled out at the immigration point, you know, tó bá mọ tó ń ṣe bọ́ irú èmi tí mo ti wá mọ̀ kan máa ń dá mi dúró bẹ́ẹ̀ màá fi ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ ni màá sọ fún ọ́fíìsà yẹn pé you'll be out in the next few minutes out of here because my wife and my children are waiting for me. Tó bá ti kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé where are you coming from? Where have you been traveling from? Nigeria. And I'm coming back home. I'm coming back to my base. But we have to stop you for a few minutes and all that. But anyway, eventually, God's grace, I got back home after that officer spoke to me and I took steps. And if I go on my email, because we have to start saying some of these little things. Because prepare mind because it seems that some people are just watching us and they are not too sure what they are listening to. The self-determination campaigner are preparing our people to decide their fate, their lives, whether we still want to remain under this fake entity put together by the British in 1914, or whether we want to pull out on Namijini. But ní right láti sọ fún wa pé àwọ̀ ní right kankan láti ṣe tá à ń ṣe. That is not allowed, because the self-determination says that it is the legal òfin tó wà nínú òfin àgbáyé ti United Nations Charters. The right of the people to self-determination is a cardinal principle in modern international law. Òfin tó wà láyé ni. Fẹ́sàrẹ́ wo communication èmi àtàwọn ọlọ́pàá níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Báwo mo ṣe máa search fún lórí email mi nísìnyí? Ṣé kí n kọ́kọ́ what's your data subject access request? No, showing here, Sha. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Dublin. But they like ìlú òyìnbó. Tó bá kọ́kọ́ make parí níbí kan, tó bá rí pé ibi yẹn gangan kọ́ ló need, wàá fún ẹni gbogbo information tó need. Mo kàn fi fún ẹni background of this was one bá wọn fa ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí fa lọ fa bọ̀. So data protection. I'm not going to give you all the full details, but I'm just going to give you a sneak. So an email was sent to me. I'm not going to tell you as much information, but I'll just tell you some few bits and bits. I wish to acknowledge the receipt of your email. I'm not going to give you the date. Advising the processing will continue on your application. Kind regards, clerical officer, and gather Sochan data protection, Dublin. I sent a message to them. I've never lived in Ireland. Mo bá Scientology lọ lórí private. Tí bá tẹ̀ wá mọ̀ pé bó ṣe máa rí gan nìyẹn ni. I would have said I don't want to go. Kúkú force mi lọ. Èèyàn kan ló invite me based on my job in this country. Mr. Koiki, ó yẹ kí wọn náà wà ní irú event yẹn. Big event. Ẹ lọ Google àwọn tó ń pè ní Scientology. Owó ṣẹ́pẹ̀rẹ̀ burúkú wà lọ́wọ́ wọn. Okay, mo ti rí. Mo fẹ́ wo. Ìran kébí tèmi ti kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ lélẹ̀. Mo ní, I want all the details you are holding on me from your department. Now, ǹjẹ́ àwa lè make a request bẹ́ẹ̀ nísìn tí UK máa fún wa ní that request? I have not tried it, but of course, mi nísìn ni to find out gbogbo under freedom of information. And I think I'll make we'll see if I can make a application for that. Everything they're holding on the 1914 amalgamation, I think is what putting an FOI under freedom of information. Kí mo sọ wí, èyí tí mo ṣì gbà lọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́pàá, ìkan tó lélẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ orí olókun. It is time we start asking questions from this country. Certain things. Ìmọ̀ àtọlọ́pàá lélẹ̀, UK police, Metropolitan Police. Tony, Metropolitan Police, àwọn tó bá dá lógò wọn mọ̀. Torí ẹ̀ lè sọ pé kinní kan. Mẹ́fà ni. Mo ti rí bàbá kí tó yẹ bá sọ̀rọ̀, tí bá ti bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀, màá ṣe wá ṣe àlàyé lórí eléyìí. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí sculpture tẹ̀ ń wò yìí? Kò ṣe gbogbo ilẹ̀ rí, but bá pò kámẹ́rà yẹn wá sókè díẹ̀. Ṣé ẹ rí? So bó ṣe wà nìyẹn. Sculpture tẹ̀ ń wò lókè yìí, orí olókun yìí. Mo kí bàbá wa David Adégòkè. October ni mo make a request yẹn. Wọ́n apologize títí. Wọ́n ní deadline tó yẹ kó fún mi. Àwọn náà ibi iṣẹ́ pọ̀, wọ́n ní staff nǹkan kan. But nígbà tó get back, result mo fẹ́ wọ̀ fún mi. but ẹ jẹ́ n bá bàbá Akíntóyè sọ̀rọ̀ kí n tó wá sọ gbogbo tí mo bá bọ̀ màá try láti pè wọ́n lọ́la lágbára Ọlọ́run. So kí ni mo kàn fi fàyọ ni pé the same way tí ìwọ ṣe ń rò pé Koiki intan ṣe yìí kò fi yé wa mọ́ kí lẹ́mí pé kò yé yín èwo ni kò yé yín bẹ́ẹ̀ à ń béèrè fún right wa under the legal right of international law pé bó ṣe kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ sínú Nàìjíríà yìí ó wrong bó ṣe kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ it is not the right way. So kí ni kò yé yín níbẹ̀? Now, I don't want to go too much on my own case, but I did make a request. I gave them my date of birth. I gave them my passport number. I gave them my old passport number. I gave them, my resident permit. I gave them my old resident permit. I gave them my driver license. I gave them my bank account. I gave them my full address. And I told them that under freedom of information, I am now requesting what they called rectification or erasure of their personal data. Kí lẹ́yìn di data mi fún? Ìlú tí mo gbé. Àmì ló bá tẹ̀jẹ́ pàtí agbé níbẹ̀ ní since the different thing. Mo gbé níbẹ̀. Mo gbé níbẹ̀. So why are you holding? Because immigration officer yẹn jẹ́ kó yé mi pé problem yẹn kò ń ṣe látọ̀dọ̀ tiwọn níbí báyìí. Látọ̀dọ̀ tiwọn lọ́hùn ni. What do you mean by that? Well, I didn't live there. I live here. I've only lived here for the last 25 years. Immigration officer ẹni pé kí n make sure pé mo fight ẹ̀dẹ́lẹ̀. Pé bí ṣe máa bọ̀ láti long ẹ̀mọ̀ wọ́n yìnbọn bá mi kẹ́dùn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe ń bá ẹ̀yin kẹ́dùn ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé. Torí pé ẹ̀ sí lábẹ́ freedom kankan for now. Ó ń bá mi kẹ́dùn pé, I mean, you've traveled long flight, you return back, and then you'll be pulled out. No. When I please fight it. And I was grateful I did. And that gave all clear. But what gave me all clear was another journey I was coming. The journey long. Mo kàn rí pé kò sí lọ jókòó mọ́. Ilé dé. Olúwa máa bọ̀ láti abroad. Olúwa wá dé airport. Ẹ wá máa dáyàn dúró. But imagine, tó bá yẹ kó mo fight mo kí àwa Rukayat Ọmọwùnmí. Ẹ káàbọ̀ mà. So, mo wá send under the Freedom of Information Act, F20 Act 2014, FOI is the statutory right conferred on all members of the public to access records held by the public bodies, including and gather Sisoshan, àwọn yẹn ọlọ́pàá tí wọ́n ní Dublin, while balancing the public interest and the right to privacy of individual. And Gather Shichona became subject to FOI on the 14th of October 2015 as a partially included agency insofar as it relates to administrative records relating to human resources and financial or procurement matters. This means that only requests for records relating to the following areas may be considered for release. I would now like to know the details you held on me after I visited your country. Money so year and the month necessary. I have been having problems here in England to be able to, each time I travel and I return back into the country and being pulled out, big but they're criminal enemy. My question is, if I can be detained by the immigration at the border here in England at the airport, I was told it is because of my years ago visit to your country in Dublin. My question then is, why should I be disturbed because a record is held by your office? If I have problems in UK, I will not even be here. I am told the only person who can deal with this matter is your office in Ireland. And I need to have this information before taking it up with my legal team. And I also have copied myself this email. Thank you for your time reading this, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Ǹjẹ́ o lè kọ letter through email sí ọlọ́pàá Nàìjíríà kò dé? This is the reason why we are now saying that ní country, because country yín wà bí ìgbà tá wà nínú abúlé. Quote. Gbogbo ilé tí mo ṣe inú mo ti ṣe, mo jáde nínú ilé mi tí mo fi clear ara mi pé, and they did apologize. And I sent that off, and within few days, they wrote back to me that I want to acknowledge receipt email me. Ǹjẹ́ wọ́n lè communicate pẹ̀lú any state parastatal nínú state tiẹ̀ nínú Nigeria kí wọ́n dẹ̀ lóhùn. That is even if your state have a system set up to receive email in the first place. And in Nigeria, it's a country. And don't tell us that it will take some time. This stage, it will never take that stage because Nigeria is not prepared for such. That is the reason why we got to pull it down so that we can save lives through the process of self-determination. Because nation launching but the nation was there before, or your empire, Kinikon Kingdom, Ijebu Kingdom, but it all failed because of the Western agenda surrounding it. So they pull a plug on us, gave us a fake country, managed that country in the last 63 years. It has become even more failure with so many indices that we can tell you. So you tons of people are fixed in Nigeria, or live fixed in Nigeria to mafi ku based on intimate communicate by Dublin by email alone. Mo kúrò nulé mi. Nigeria le de stage yẹn láyé. Láyé ni mo sọ kò le de stage yẹn because it is not designed. Tá bá ti gba nation tiwa, we will be able to walk towards a lot of things rapidly, just like Bashiri Dubai, United Arab Emirates, ní Qatar, níbi tí àǹtí wa kan wà, wọ́n pè wá lórí program lánàá. Lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ọba tó wọbẹ̀ nísìn, ó ti change òfin immigration rules. Ìyẹn mo ti sọ pé visa tó ń gbé bọ̀ láti abroad kò fún ẹ ní landing permit. Immigration officer can turn you down. Àwa tàtẹ̀ níwèé gan sef, wọ́n dá mi dúró ká má tí sọ ìwọ tó ń gbé visa lásán bọ̀. Èmi tí mo níwèé after tí mo ṣe wàhálà láti gbàwé yẹn, torí wàhálà nìyẹn ṣe kó tó gbàwé nílùú yìí. Wàhálà gùn ayàgbé gbogbo ẹ̀ ló máa ṣe because ó mọ́tọ́ lè bẹ́ẹ̀ fà. Mo dẹ̀ ti sọ fún yín débi pé wọ́n ti gbé mi dé airport rí. Mo ti sọ story yẹn fún yín rí. And this is why we are saying that this campaign Tagbedani, it's a process as long as Tabati sọ pé a ní jà. Because tó bá pa fẹ́ jà ní sí ni gbogbo àti dàrú. Why they padà wá sórí round table? Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá jà náà a máa padà sórí round table. Bẹ́ẹ̀ jà a máa wá sórí round table. But we must first be doing what they call the campaign surrounding it. So that's just to give you a background to. So eventually mo kọ́kọ́ ti send ẹ̀ síbì kan. Wọ́n sọ fún mi pé no ibẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ ni máa send ẹ̀ sí. But I can tell you that everything was eventually cleared. And that details was removed. So that is just on that. So I'm going to close that and come back now. Now, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ nǹkan tí alàgbà ìfiránṣẹ́ sí mi. Mo ti fún wa ní debrief díẹ̀ nísìn. So mo fẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ ìtọ́sọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wá gbọ́. Ó ṣe ṣe káwọn náà máa gbọ́ káwọn ní Koiki rẹ̀ wá play audio mi. Yes, I have to. Because tó bá yẹ pé bí gbogbo ń ṣe ronú nìyẹn, mo fẹ́ kí ẹ ronú a different ways. Àwọn èèyàn ní right láti máa ṣe business ní Nigeria. Nigeria ò tí kú náà. Nigeria is still a country that is running, on function. Àìmọye yẹn tẹ ní business tẹ́ ń run nínú Nigeria. Ṣé nígbà tí Professor Moyo ń lọ sílé, ṣé wọ́n dágbére fún mi ni? Wọ́n dágbére fún mi now. He left to Nigeria until he had a problem. He cried out, and that is why we were able to talk about it. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Peter Joseph, but Nigeria is an impediment to the growth of Yoruba land, which you're very right. That pinning yẹn mọ́lẹ̀, mo like ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, impediment. So why are we all now doing this? Can set up a business, and to bá set up a business, let's start up a business now. Nobody's holding anybody. Nigeria is still functioning. And oxygen ṣì wà lára ẹ̀ díẹ̀. But oxygen yẹn ò lè ever jẹ́ kó ṣiṣẹ́ because oxygen tó wà nínú ẹ̀ nísìn kò ká gbogbo yàn. What is squeeze everybody? And that is why, according to Reuters, few days ago, router sọ pé this is December 15 or to update it 2 days ago. Nigeria November inflation rises to 18-year high on the surging of food prices. Gbogbo wa náà la máa ń sọ pé oúnjẹ wọn. Kí ló ń fà tó oúnjẹ fi wọ́n? So bí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Peter George sọ, Nigeria is impediment to the growth of Yoruba land. Ó ń dá ìran Yorùbá dúró, kò jẹ́ ká tètè fẹ́ nílọsíwájú, and we must pull it down. But àwọn kan ní Koiki, ẹ má jẹ́ ká lọ in the direction of pé ẹnẹ́ fẹ́ jà. Èmi wá ń gbìyànjú pé báwo la ṣe wá fẹ́ pull it down? Wọ́n ní a máa ṣe diplomatically. Mo wá ní òkè yẹn náà ṣì dáa. But tẹ́ bá lọ wo 35-page manual tí bàbá Akintoye ẹlòmíì ò tí ì kà. Tí bá play audio yìí, bó bá ṣe yé ẹ̀yin sí, ẹ fi sínú comment section yẹn. Mo mọ̀ pé ọ̀gọ̀jọ́ òru la wà, ìyàwó mi lẹ́sẹ̀ lọ́sùn ni, so I don't want to make too much noise because ìyá yìí tún máa jí láìpẹ́ yìí láti fi wá dáná. Tó bá dẹ̀ ṣe jollof rice yẹn náà, èmi náà ni máa jẹ tó jù ń bẹ́ẹ̀ pọ̀ ìjà àjọgbó lè.
Mr. Koiki, Akin Ekushe o. I'm on a program, you know, but nǹkan tá a kàn fẹ́ tí mi kàn fẹ́ sọ ni pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń bètò lọ Yorùbá nation àti self-determination agitation, mo fẹ́ ká clarify because bá a ṣe ń bá lọ tí ò ní clarity ó ń confuse so many things. Now there are some people tó fẹ́ ṣe àwọn kankan tó fẹ́ pé you know wọn ò ní lè ṣe because you guys won't support them because you believe that that is Yoruba nation stuff and it should be Mr. Banji Akintoye that is leading it. You know, that's a big trouble right there. Yoruba nation is Yoruba nation. Anything regarding Yoruba people is Yoruba nation. Self-determination, agitation, actualization, that's a totally different thing. You know, there are so many aspects of Yoruba nation. You understand? So, and that's where I come in. You know, before I strongly support you guys concerning agitation, self-determination, but now I don't think that I'm into that too much anymore, you know, because I see opportunities too much. Everything wrong in Nigeria is a big opportunity to go into. And sometimes you'll notice that I send a message on YouTube live sometimes, you know, give me the contract, I have something to offer. Yes, I mean it. Because I only see Yoruba nation as as an entity. And that entity controls big sum of money. We're talking about, billions of dollars. So, I think I clarify nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ ká lè kẹ́sẹ̀ járí. Tá bá gba Yoruba nation or not, kí ni difference? Yoruba nation is still going to be Yoruba nation. But the thing is, bá ṣe ń balance, tá bá lè figure out nǹkankan. Ṣé nígbà tá bá gba Yoruba nation tó máa figure out bá ṣe máa feed ara wa. Trouble nìyẹn náà. And then if you look at things, during that agitation period, we were sending in money, supporting all you guys on YouTube and all that. And most of the money, how did they spend it? The mentality of the people is still I don't want to talk too much about people because that's not my concern. So we still have to change mindset. Most of the money went to something different. They are not truthful. And even if you put money into something different, there's a clever way to do that. But they just mess everything up. So let us, let's dialogue. and see how we can move on. There's too much opportunity there. And if we don't start doing that now, we are not helping our self-determination. We are not helping it. We are not helping it. And that's why it's been so difficult now to say we are moving towards self-determination. It's been very difficult because we haven't clarified things. There's business in everything. There is politics in everything. So our people are suffering. If we start with that, enlightenment, our people are not exposed. So we have a big thing that we hold, but we are not managing it right. And that's why I'm telling you that come and sign contract with me. I'm not playing. We have to talk about one particular thing, something in particular. And that very thing, you put money into it and see what I'm talking about. Too many things. Your Nigeria is no good. As we speak, I can still assure you that if we really know what we are doing as Yoruba Nation is real. We are not going to be among those people. Don't suffer Nigeria or don't try to, get ahead. We are struggling. We are behind everybody else. But we have what others don't have. I was talking to this guy this week, a few days ago. He has a shop, and in that shop he sells, spiritual items. Actually, he's a babalawo from Cuba. In Cuba, there was one, is it Mr. Akinyemi, something like that, the first Yoruba person that brought, Yoruba stuff, culture into Cuba. He said they worship him, a black person, and there are so many of them here. The name of his shop is actually Ashe Yalode. There are so many of them. Some of them don't even have physical shop. They are inside. They do inside their own place, apartment, house, whatever. So I got clarifying to one leg. Ọ̀pọ̀rọ̀ kágbọ̀n afẹ́fẹ́ ló máa ń kó lọ. Nǹkan ti pọ̀ jù. A gbé nǹkan ńlá dání. A dẹ̀ wá ń agitate. Àtàṣe agitate. Kò ń ṣe kọ́ tẹ́yàn agitate lórí ẹ̀. If we put things together the right way, let's forget about struggle, man. Is it because of the economy is bad? No. I learn going látara àwọn Fúlàní. I learn látara àwọn Igbo. And we keep going back daily. Bí Nàìjíríà ṣe wà ẹ́ ń sìn. Sokoto ọba Emir of Sokoto yẹn lórí Nàìjíríà. Ẹ má ká máa tọ́ra wa jẹ. Ìmọ̀lẹ̀ ṣe wà yẹn gan, wọ́n control àwọn monarchs wà ń sàlẹ̀ ni. Nígbà tí situation bá dẹ̀ rí bẹ́yẹn, ṣé bá wa mọ̀? We are free. We are not living in Nigeria now. Gbogbo ẹ̀ láwọn. So many things tí wọ́n mọ̀ gan wa mọ̀. So, I'm going to get into too much details. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wá one thing in particular. Can sign contract. Okay, this thing you claim that this is not our problem, and this is what we need to do. What do you want to do? Most of the projects say you are not going to pay me directly. You pay whoever you want. You call your own person to find you or get your own supplier. I don't have. Whatever location that put everything together. So a few months ago I called this guy AY Citizen AY. Then I was ready to put $15,000. into this stuff. So he called me. He told me, yeah, we're gonna go back to you. Okay. And then next thing, he went and make a video. Baba Akintoye is the one running Yoruba Nation. Let's not do anything, no, this and that. So I was pissed off. Like, I'm not into Yoruba Nation. I'm not into Yoruba Nation agitation. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want to do. I'm talking about business to my elevator. Without that, we can't make it. I'll let you know. But you think I'm part of self-determination, actualization. I'm not part of that. But it's something that is related to Yoruba people. So I support it 100%. But then I'm involved in it. I'm not going to be involved in that. I'll give you support. But when it comes to Yoruba stuff, that's Yoruba stuff. How we get on, how we face what's going on now. There are too many ways to defeat anything the North is bringing. Easy ways that bring us money, freedom. And then if you don't empower your people, they are not going anywhere. Right. So they can clarify and even what about break in Nigeria, we won't still have problem, and nobody will dominate us. Look at the Northerners, our non-share agriculture, and the palm project. That palm project alone is enough for them not to depend on nobody. But still, this palm nuts is South Lotiwa. Indonesia, they were money South, one lot developer, hybrid. Now we are buying the hybrid from them because some of our farmers believe that their own is the best. So jet fuel from palm kernel is the best. It's better than kerosene, and it's just too many things here that can miss. So if you see this message, please, let's talk. We have something tangible, and it doesn't take a lot of money itself. It's just that we need people who are into the same thing, I'm not here, I'm not here to play. I know what I'm doing. I want business. So, the money is there. The money is too much self in Yoruba nation. Nothing is being managed. So please reach out to me if you get this message. My name is Richard.
I don't know how you've been able to understood what this individual is talking about, because from my own understanding, he wants to set up a business. We can run a good business to elevate our people. Well, nobody's stopping anybody from running any business as Nigeria stands today. If anybody wants to run a business, you have the right to go and run that business. Do you know how many people, how about Professor Moyo Okediji that went home with so much amount of money? Now, let's come back to some of the points raised by the caller there. The audio, the voice note that was sent to me yesterday. Because I'm trying to crack my head. This is what I deal with on a daily basis with different things. Saying, okay, Yoruba nation. She at any territory tiwa, yes. Shall take a control it? We haven't. The southwest part of Yoruba land is still under the control of the federal government and our state governors. So, if you want to do certain project that relates to Yoruba nation, This is another trap as for me. Okay. I mean, that's why I played it out to the public. Because mo fẹ́ mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ní understanding it. And maybe later I will do another analysis as I play it again. But at least ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti wà lórí platform this stage yìí, ẹ ti gbọ́. Kí lẹ̀yin rò sí nǹkan tẹ́ gbọ́ yẹn? This scholar is saying self-determination. And again, he's talking about the Yoruba nation, where they only business opportunity. Is that not why we are not saying that? Is that not the reason why Tabatigba country tiwa, we can run a proper business out of it? But the present day Nigeria, you can still run business, but it's entirely up to you whether that business succeed or not. Because if you're going to run a business in the present day Nigeria, well, I don't know what you're going to do to make it to function. But I can tell you that according to, Bloomberg, which is a top, and to more Bloomberg, you will know that, the analysis there, I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. I might not be able to read it, but the headline says, Nigeria inflation rises more than the forecast to March 2005 record. Inflation today in Nigeria is 28.2% in November, according to the Statistics Office says. Food inflation rate literally rose to 32.8% from 31.5%. So alàgbà tó ń sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ ṣe business, àwọn fẹ́ elevate àwọn èèyàn, ta ló ń stop wọn? Ṣé àwa Yorùbá Nation campaigner là ń stop àwọn èèyàn pé kọ́ má lọ ṣe business ní Nàìjíríà? He talked about Sultan of Sokoto ló ń control Nigeria. I have talked about that as far as more than 3 years ago. He talked about èèyàn kan ṣe spiritual kìíní ní America or wherever. Oh, ní Peckham wa níbí báyìí tí bá dé Dustin, àìmọye àwọn ìyá wa tó ń ta spiritual stuff níbẹ̀, and they are doing very well. But I say that in Nigeria, as at 10 years ago, títí di bí ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ bá àríṣu kó wọlé láti Nigeria, gbogbo oṣù tó ń kó wá sílùú yìí, wọ́n package as Ghana yam ni, kò ń ṣe tó ń pè ní Ghana yam, kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ Ghana yam, àwa lá níṣu yẹn. But because of the bureaucracy, because of the bottleneck that is in that contraction, thank you, Nigeria, many businesses would not get to UK properly. And that is what makes the difference when we say that we should work towards the actualization of having our own independent country. There's no Yoruba country as we speak right now. It used to be a Yoruba kingdom prior before the 1914 fraudulent amalgamation. But it seems that how people are now modeling it, ṣé Baba Akintoye stop anybody pé kó má lọ ṣe business ni? I don't think he has done so. I don't think Professor Banji Akintoye has literally said that anyone that wants to run a business in Nigeria should not. Mo dẹ̀ rò pé mo ever jáde in the last 3 years kí n discourage àwọn èèyàn pé ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ṣe business ní Nigeria pé kó má ṣe. I know few people that have traveled out to go to their little engagement that they have back home. But at any tó ṣe business, this is the latest report. Let's go on the business inside Africa. And I want to pick some of your comment quickly. So let me start from Dr. Benjamin Zokwe. Wow. Then Babawa Taiwo Olarinwaju Zokwe. This man is making sense. But the bad leaders and the Fulani cabals and the cannibals will not allow his ideas to be actualized until we have our own Yoruba nation. But it keeps talking about there's opportunity in Yoruba nation, which we all agree. But you can't run certain things in Nigeria the way it is structured. In the last 10 years, more business is she totally female on a percentage by Captain John because of the bottleneck. Motivate truck me, logistic truck mi mo ti fi lọ sí Heathrow airport ta fi kó ẹ̀fọ́ pẹ̀lú alájì mo rántí orúkọ the other saying alájì yẹn ọmọ every Friday làwọn ẹ̀fọ́ yẹn máa ń dé London èmi ni máa lọ bá wọn distribute pẹ̀lú truck mi logistic truck mi I ma distributed but eventually that business could not go further as well because of the bottleneck. So ní airport yín àwọn NECO àwọn feel pé is an opportunity ibẹ̀ ni gbogbo àwọn agency jókòó sí ilé àní certificate kan ilé àní certificate kan none of them is integrated. Mo fẹ́ ṣe business pẹ̀lú mo rí ibi táwọn ọmọ mi ti lọ ṣe fídíò bí tó ti ń ṣe fùfú I'm sure pé tí bá níbẹ̀ ni mo ti ń kó fùfú wá ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀kọ́ arrest mi nílùú ìpè ibẹ̀ yẹn ni wọ́n ti ń kó fùfú wá ṣé ìwọ rí environment yẹn bó ṣe rí ẹ mọ àwọn èèyàn tó fi máa jẹ fùfú ní London ẹ mọ àwọn èèyàn tó fi máa jẹ fùfú ní Europe I would have loved to say màmá ní kọ́ bá mi kó fùfú wá o but the environment yẹn omi tó fi ń ṣe gbogbo kinní yẹn kò wà enough the environment is not up to the standard to get to UK or to get to Europe. Ẹ̀wà tẹ́ ń kó wá sí UK or Europe mo mọ̀ bí i UK nísìnyí máa accept kọ̀kọ̀ wá because nígbà táwọn ti kúrò lára EU ẹ mọ̀ how many engagement mo tẹ̀lé wọn wọnú Nigerian embassy wọ́n máa sọ̀rọ̀ títí ìyẹn mo sọ pé fraud ní gbogbo business summit kan tó ń ṣe is all fraud get out gbàgbà lọ. I've lived here for the last 25 years within the Nigerian community I have been engaged with them for more than 20 years. Fraud ló pọ̀ jù bẹ́ẹ̀. A fi ṣe business lọ Nàìjíríà, a máa ṣe this, a máa ṣe that. Wọ́n máa rojọ́. Wọ́n máa ṣe this, wọ́n máa ṣe summit, wọ́n máa ṣe exhibition. It's all lies. At the end of the day, nothing comes out of it. So ẹ jẹ́ ká kàn comment díẹ̀ tó wá after tá ti gbọ́ audio yẹn, a tún máa gbọ́ padà lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. So Dr. Benjamin sọ pé the caller is not seeing the bigger picture, and besides, poverty is not really the reason why we need Yoruba nation. Stop discouraging our people. Nigeria has no future for us. Lánàá ẹni tó send audio yẹn another one play yẹn náà nísìn àtijọ́ Tuesday ló ti send ẹ̀ mo ṣẹ̀ gbọ́ lánàá ni èní níjọ́ Sunday 17/12/2023 aago 4 ṣe fi lọ lù lọ́dọ̀ tiwa aago 5 fẹ́ lọ lù lọ́dọ̀ ti ní Nàìjíríà ẹni yẹn send ẹ̀ níjọ́ Tuesday nígbà tí mo gbọ́ báyìí mo bá wọn sunkún I mean not cry out but again he talks about the health I play audio yẹn láìpẹ́ so ẹ jẹ́ ká kà àwọn comment díẹ̀ sí Dr. Mr. Lawrence sọ pé Dr. Benjamin this man talking is missing the point presently. All what he's saying is will be possible at Yoruba nation. And a fi ṣe business lọ this, a fi ṣe business lọ that, a fi ṣe this. Wọ́n jẹ́ ká kẹ́wàá wá sí Europe because wọ́n ní pesticide tó fi ń ṣe, you know, ó affected. So Europe banned it. Wọ́n jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ wọlé. Yam business pẹ̀lú Captain John òtútù ó fẹ́ ṣe mí léṣe a lọ sí Spitalfield wọ́n ready láti kó ilé ìtẹ́nu sọ pé wọ́n fẹ́ kó bíi $15,000 àbí $50,000 ẹ mọ iye táwọn tó fẹ́ kó sówó sílẹ̀ ní Spitalfield market fíìmù àti Captain John we're talking about more than £2 million sterling tó máa kó fún wa up front but a gbọ́dọ̀ guarantee wọn pé iṣu yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ máa dé ìlú yìí ní interval tá a sọ fún wọn pé ó máa dé ìlú yìí ẹgbọ́n kan tí mo sọ. A gbọ́dọ̀ guarantee pé táwọn bá ti fún wa ní upfront payment táwa máa wá kó fún ẹ̀yin farmers nílé ẹ̀ bá wa a máa need iṣu 50 ton níbẹ̀ yẹn 100 ton níbẹ̀ yẹn 50 ton níbẹ̀ yẹn 600 ton níbẹ̀ yẹn ẹ̀yin ò ní business tẹ́ máa ṣe nílé gbogbo àjọ máa jèrè ni ìyẹn kan ṣẹ́wọ̀n sọ fún mi pé òun pé citizen ay kan wọ́n lè máa gbọ́ program mi nísìnyí àwọn máa invest àwọn ní $50,000 alẹ́ fẹ́ máa fi $50,000 èmi lè fẹ́ máa fi $50,000 fi dẹ́rùbà ẹ mọ etí mọ̀ sí tèmi fi ń travel lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ Felix lọ ṣaṣọ $50,000 wá jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí owó kíni àwọn tó ṣe rédíò transistor radio tó dé tó fẹ́ máa tà nísìn ní UK àti America $30 ní Europe €30 ní UK £30 ní Nàìjíríà 35,000 ẹni tó bá ti ní interest sí rédíò yẹn kò dẹ̀ ṣe púpọ̀ tó kó wọlé. For now, ẹ kàn sí mi àfún yín ní nọ́mbà ẹ pè wọ́n pé Koiki Media ẹ ti gbọ́ program ẹ dẹ́ mọ̀ bẹ́ ṣe máa gbà kò sí l'Amẹ́ríkà tàbí fẹ́ ta ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló wà àwọn mẹ́ta $65,000 lọ fi ṣe project yẹn so far kò tí sówó mi tó tuntun náà. So èèyàn kan ṣáà ń sọ pé yẹn àfẹ́ ṣe yẹ mo ń try láti understand nǹkan tó mean, because nobody have discouraged anybody to go and run a business in Nigeria. If you want to go and run a business, go and run a business on the shithole country that the inflation is killing everybody. Tí dọ́là ń lọ sókè pàkópàkópàkó. Àìtí mo Christmas ní owó ti di 1,500 àsàtànà. So yẹ ká túbọ̀ ka comment díẹ̀ sí. Mo kí bàbá wa Ebenezer Ibitayo káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Mr. Nuruddin, welcome to the program. Like it, share. That's the Bible and enjoy it. Dr. Benjamin says, so this scholar think we are demanding for sovereign Yoruba nation just because there's poverty in Nigeria. Oh, wow. Mr. Testimony Ogun Tonosokwe, let him go ahead to do his business to elevate our people from poverty. Benny, the last business tí mo sì mi ṣe pẹ̀lú Filtex ní Switzerland was $60,000 in 1980. Calculate owó ti sìn. Ní àkàn wá ń sọ fún wa pé ẹ tẹ̀ bá ń rò pé mo sọ fún ẹ má kó gbogbo mọ́ rógà o. Ọmọ olówó lèmi o, èmi ọ̀rọ̀ owó kankan, yes, ibi tí bá ti ń ṣe ni máa ti jẹ, ṣé kí n má jẹ níbẹ̀ ni. But kò sẹ́ni tó máa sọ pé Koiki wọ ọ̀rìṣẹ́ owó tó ń ṣe. Mo á wà lára àwọn tó máa sọ fún yín pé ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ṣe àwọn ẹṣin ṣe business ní Nàìjíríà náà, but everybody tó ń ṣe business ní Nàìjíríà gbogbo wa là ń rí impact ẹ̀ pé ó ń decline, kò grow. Ìlú tó bá dẹ̀ ti grow, yes, ẹ lè nẹ́fẹ̀ okay, ẹ fẹ́ kó spiritual item láti Nàìjíríà lọ sí America. If the process is okay for you, go and do it. 10 years àwọn ò tí ì rí ṣùkú wọ London. In 10 years ni mo sọ ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá Nation mo ṣe lọ ṣe interview pẹ̀lú Captain John somewhere around there 2017 or 18. Dr. Benjamin Jokwe, Mr. Olonrewaju, honestly, it is sad our next generation will suffer it worst if Nigeria continue the way it is going. The poverty the caller is worried about will skyrocket. Dr. Benjamin, I was surprised when someone in Yoruba Nation movement tried to discourage me and talk me out of Yoruba Nation. What is wrong with some of our people? Why are you talking people out of Yoruba Nation? Ẹ̀yin bá tó bá ti sọ yẹn ẹ lọ jókòó síbí kan náà. Kò kúkú ṣe gbogbo èèyàn náà ló kúkú agree pẹ̀lú wa. Bola Tinubu, it took him 4 years to prepare the ground láti padà sí ilé lọ ṣe election to fi win after tí Abacha kú. Bíbà bẹ́ẹ̀ dà kó padà sílé nígbà tá Abacha wà láì. Kí lóun náà ṣe dúró tó ṣe sá lọ. So bó ṣe máa rí padà rí náà nìyẹn pé Yorùbá Nation ní bọ́ọ̀sì yẹn ẹ tútù ẹ̀ dànù. Iṣẹ́ ọba Elédùmarè ni but ní wá nítorí Ọlọ́run ló máa ṣe kémi wá máa sùn sórí bẹ́ẹ̀dì nígbà tí mo láǹfààní àti dìde díẹ̀ pé ká tó wá sọ̀rọ̀. Mo jí lọ bí iṣẹ́ lọ́la, mo lọ bí kankan lọ́la, church service àjọ máa ṣe lórí online lọ́la ni mo ní sọ church tèmi náà máa ń listen. Tó bá dẹ̀ tó jọ Friday àtún lọ kí Jímọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ìyá tèmi ní mọ́ṣáláṣí Muslim Association of Nigeria ní UK, gbogbo àwọn tó wà lókè ntò, gbogbo yín pátápátá mo kíjà rẹ̀ ìyá dáadáa, gbogbo yín alásàlátù. Tó bá dẹ̀ tó de àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe èṣù dé ìyẹn náà ń bọ̀ lọ́n the 24. Ẹ má discourage anybody. Tẹ́yìn ò bá fẹ́ ṣe fine. Ẹ bá ti náwó ìgbà tẹ́ wá náwó kọ́ àwa náà nọ́ra now. Everybody is working hard. Bọ̀ká wá jókòó tatarata ká sọ pé torí àfẹ́ Yorùbá Nation ẹ̀yin kan àti náwó mọ̀bí ta náwó yẹn sí. Náà àfi jógẹ̀lẹ̀dẹ̀ ni. Gbogbo owó tẹ kó fún wa àfi ń jógẹ̀lẹ̀dẹ̀ ni. Àfi tẹ́ tó bá fẹ́ parọ́ pé in the last 3 years the difference have not materialized in terms of the engagement of the Yoruba Nation against Bola Tinubu àwa ló fi wọlé sí president. Ṣé torí pé àfẹ́ sọ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ délẹ̀ ẹ fẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ ni irú èmi kọ́ ni máa sọ̀rọ̀. Mo sọ fún yín mo ní Bola Tinubu ó fún Ìgbòho ní ọ̀wọ̀ tiẹ̀, Ìgbòho náà fún lọ́wọ́ tiẹ̀, mo dé mọ́bẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin rí kú bàbá yèyé ni, ẹ̀yin mọ̀ tó sọ fún àwa ni. Ẹ fẹ́ kí n máa spill ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa. Mo sọ fún yín pé bí babaláwo yín ṣoògùn pé sọmọ yẹn bá ti wà lórí program a máa tú kalẹ̀ pẹpẹ ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa. Bí Kùránì tẹ gbé tẹ ń sà sí wa pé tí irú èmi bá jáde màá wá sọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan jáde ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa. Ẹ bá tan àbẹ́là, ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa. Ikú bàbá yèyé mọ́mọ́ tó sọ fún wa lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Bọ́lá Tinubu. Mo ṣì ń ka kọ́mẹ́ǹtì o, mo kàn fi kún ètè mi ni, oyè ẹ ti use more now. Tó bá ti ń dry, kò dá kó máa dry. Crude oil lọ fi ṣe, Vaseline lélẹ̀, àríṣe láti jọ ní Nàìjíríà, sọ pé country work, níbo ló ti ń work sí. Àádẹ́ sì máa béèrè owó, mo ń sanwó BBC nílùú yìí, TV license, ọ̀bí mi dá kí n máa san, ó bá di next year ní sọ máa increase ẹ̀. Ẹni máa fún wa ni kò ní fún wa, ẹni máa fún wa fún wa. Ẹ̀ sọ pé wọ́n fi Yorùbá nation, opportunist ni wọ́n, kí lẹ mean by that? Yes, ibi tí everybody bá ti ń ṣe ló ti máa jẹ́. Àwọn kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ pa ni. Àwọn kan dẹ̀ ṣe, kò dẹ̀ sí bá ṣe fẹ́ avoid ẹ̀. Ṣèbí ńgbà tá à ń sọ fún yín, àwọn kan nítorí ẹ fẹ́ ní access sí Ìgbòho, ẹ kówó fún wọn. Ṣé mi mo ní kẹ́ lọ kówó fún wọn? Ṣèbẹ́ rí mi bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́ kówó fún. Nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀, gbogbo táìmù tí olóyè wà níbi tó fún wọn sí níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, ẹ tún boycott àwa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, original tẹ̀lé lé ibi ṣe máa ń lò nìyẹn. Pé ìlú yìí gbọ́dọ̀ máa jẹ́ kí tiẹ̀ kó moist. Gbogbo wọn lọ́gbọ́ ọ́ defraud yín tán. Ẹlòmíì ò lè sọ yìí tó gbà lọ́wọ́ òun. Mo rántí ìyá wa kan, mọ̀mísí mi wà lórí program. Ẹ̀wọ̀n kẹ́mi kàn dákẹ́, èmi ò ń like láti máa drag gbogbo àwọn kan kéékèèké. Ìyá yẹn gbé mọ́tò fún wa pé ká máa manage. Ẹni tó bá ń follow mi dáadáa, call yẹn wọlé nígbà tí mo wà ní Trafalgar Square. I'm talking about maybe 2 years ago now. Precisely, I think. Mo ti ń ṣe program lọ nínú Trafalgar Square lábẹ́ ibi tí Mandela wà ní call yẹn dé níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Wọ́n pè mí, mo move away from the platform. Kọ́rọ̀ tí mo sọ má bàa penetrate wọlé. Nìyá ẹ̀ bá ní ẹ, mọ́tò tọ́hún gbé fún yín, Ìgbòho làwọn gbé fún. Àgbẹ̀ kí lọ́mọ ìpè Ìgbòho làwọn gbé fún. Ta lẹ́nu gbé fún tẹ́lẹ̀? Ibi Yorùbá nation náà ni. Ìgbòho náà lẹ gbé fún. Because àwọn oníbàjẹ́ ti lọ pe àwọn ìyá yẹn lẹ́yìn pé kọ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ Koiki ibo ló gbé mọ́tò yẹn sí. Mọ́tò yẹn kan ni mò ń sọ yìí o. Níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, ìyá náà bí i London lọ wà, gbogbo àwọn ìyá yẹn nísìnyí àmọ́ bí wọ́n ti fade away dànù. Ojú ti ti gbogbo wọn nísìnyí. Ìyí tí bàá mi ó ti yé yín, ẹ ti mọ orúkọ yìí tí mò ń sọ yẹn. Mo mọ tó ti lọ kàjọ àwọn ìyá yẹn bí à ń ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa fún mi. Ìyá ṣe sùúrù náà. Mọ́tò tẹ gbé fún wa kí mo fẹ́ fi mọ́tò ṣe. Mọ́tò wà nínú ilé Ìgbòho ń bẹ̀. Because wọ́n fẹ́ gba mọ́tò yẹn káwọn máa rí lò. Ìgbà tẹ́mi dẹ̀ wà nílé, mo restrict pé no, gbogbo mọ́tò tó bá ní ká lò fún movement, a gbọ́dọ̀ lò fún movement ni. Àwọn fẹ́ máa fi ṣe big boy, fẹ́ máa fi ṣe London ìyá yẹn wà, mo gbúrò ẹ̀ mọ́ látijọ́ yìí nísìn. Ojú ti ti gbogbo wọn. Gbogbo àwọn tẹ fún lówó náà níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Màámi ti gba gbogbo yín dànù. Ẹ fi máa fi rọ́bìṣì yí gbogbo alára. Àwọn opportunist. Èmi ò ń ṣe opportunist. Yes, ibi tí mo ti ń ṣe ni màá ti jẹ. Gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ yẹn. No, tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe níbì kan, wọ́n máa jẹ níbẹ̀. Ẹ mọ̀ pé sacrifice kọ́ làwọn náà ṣe. Ṣèbẹ́ yìí lọ sí ibi iṣẹ́, ẹ̀yin náà má lọ sí ibi iṣẹ́ kẹ́ wá ṣe tèmi ṣe. Back to back. Kẹ́ wá ní kọ́ máa sanwó fún yín. Tó bá dẹ̀ wá fún yín lówó, kẹ́yìn náà máa mọ̀ bẹ́ ṣe máa tọ́jú ara yín díẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀. Ìyẹn kan wá sọ fún mi pé opportunist ni gbogbo wa. Ayé kó jágbajàgba lọ. Mo ní kẹ́ máa ṣe ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ṣe business, ẹ máa lọ ṣe business. Ẹ fẹ́ link business yín mọ́ Yorùbá nation fún. Ìgbà kan náà ó ń fi flag ṣe business ni, at least ọ̀ṣàrè ní Nàìjíríà àbí wọ̀rí flag. Látijọ́ yìí nísìn flag olè tó rí mọ́ nísìn. A ṣe poster no election. Èmi mo lọ sílé mo ní kó ṣe poster a design ẹ̀. Àwọn èèyàn padà lọ dìbò, ẹ wá fúnkún ẹlẹ́lẹ́yà nísìn. Ebi ń pa yín o, jagabanu ìníkan. Àwọn èèyàn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sẹ́ndì, wọ́n lọ sọ fún Ìgbòho níjọ́ náà pé ṣó máa jẹ́ kí Koiki sọlé ẹ̀ di bẹ́ẹ̀sì tán receive oríṣiríṣi. Èmi ní gbogbo èèyàn send ẹrù sí níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Ó wá di pé àwọn kan náà fi di pé ẹ máa send ẹ̀ sí wa. Eventually, àwọn kan wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ pé dá bí I send mẹ́wàá sí Koiki, I send díẹ̀ sẹ́yìn náà. At the end of the day, what has been the outcome? àwọn tó lè manage ara wọn gbogbo wọn ni mo rí tán, they can't manage themselves. But mo dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run, mo ní èmi ni last man standing. ẹ rò pé ẹnu mo fi ń dán ni, èmi ni last man standing. Àwọn kan ṣe máa bọ́lẹ̀ nínú ìrìnàjò yìí. So tí wọn náà tó ń wò mí máa pé àti náwó àti ṣe ọmọ tètè ya bọ́lẹ̀ nísìn, ẹ sì fà wá sílẹ̀, àwa ṣì ń tẹ̀síwájú. Ìyá mi grandma comfort me, please let him stop discouraging our people. Let's take heed, another deception is coming. Ẹ fi wá fowó tó máa fi distract wa, ẹ ti rí àwọn mugun, òun máa kó $50,000 sílẹ̀, àbí ilẹ̀ ìfẹ́ kó sílẹ̀. Ẹ kó 50,000 yẹn fáwọn family yín nílé kan, ẹjọ́ máa fi ṣe business, ẹ má kó yẹn wá sọ́dọ̀ tiwa. Tẹ bá fi dáwó Yorùbá nation, ẹ lọ dá, ìtẹ bá fi dá sọ́dọ̀ wọn ní ọ̀dọ̀ WHATS ẹ dá, ìtẹ bá fi fún Koiki kẹ́ fún mi, ìtẹ bá ní ká fi ṣiṣẹ́, àfi ṣiṣẹ́. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Now, ẹ lọ sórí website mi www.koikimedia.com/Yoruba-documents-files. There is something I kept there tó ti wà níbẹ̀, self-determination in the case law of African Commission, because movement will continue to need funding just as it will continue to need a lot. Mr. Koiki, I still have the 2 Yoruba Nation t-shirt and 10 flags. Ọ̀rẹ́ mọ̀ sí mi kan bí àbúrò àbẹ̀gbọ́n kan wá sí London. Ọ̀rẹ́ lọ nífẹ̀ẹ́ Ìgbòho, ọ̀dẹ̀ bẹ̀ mí pé ká rí wọn títí kọ́ fún mọ̀mọ́, ọ̀dẹ̀ ti padà lọ Nàìjíríà nísìn, bọ̀ ẹ̀wọ̀n kí wọ́n mọ̀ ráyè rí wọn. So grandma yẹn wá ní nígbà tí máa yẹn tán dé tán ní àwọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ Ìgbòho nǹkan kan. Wọ́n ní bí à ń ṣe wọnú ilé ní àwọn kó flag kó aṣọ já. Ẹni kan tó tó ìlọ́wọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà, because àwọn kan dúró pé anytime, any day. Yes, many of us want us to be back on the street campaigning, which is our right, is our right. Èmi mo kẹ́ ẹ̀ tí jẹ bàbá káàbọ̀ sórí ètò kò ṣẹ́ ni. Mo dẹ̀ ti sọ pé tá a bá jáde láti continue the campaign tá à ń ṣe lọ, kò lè help, because àmọ́ reaction Bọ́lá Tinubu, ó máa kọ́lọ́pàá síta ni, wọ́n máa nà wá lẹ́gba ni, ká bá ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀, okay. Tó bá jẹ́ pé Lagos là ní lọ for now, a ṣe máa ṣe gbèríko. Ààrẹ náà ní irú rédíò tó gbé jáde again, transistor radio. Pé tó bá ti ń dijọ́ Saturday sí Sunday, àwọn èèyàn wọn tẹ bá kàn ti fi sínú shortwave, automatic ló máa tún between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Àwọn kan ní Koiki kí ló dé tẹ̀ ṣe ní FM. Oh yes, at least tó bá dọjọ́ iwájú tá bá rí pé ọ̀nà wà tá lè fi ṣe FM, ẹni tó ṣàtìra transistor radio á gbọ́ lórí FM because ó ní FM nínú. But for now, tá bá ṣe pé a fi ṣe ní FM, tá máa gbé transmitter síta, tó bá detected, tó pull it down. Kódà ìbá gbé lọ sí Benin Republic, technology náà ti wà tó lè fi rí, tó lè fi wà, but wọ́n lè mọ ibi tí satellite wà, kọ́ máa wá satellite káàkiri. But satellite is quite expensive. Satellite yàtọ̀ sí normal phone tá fi ń pera wa yìí. It is very, very expensive. So mo fẹ́ dìde díẹ̀ fún few minutes, nǹkan fi stretch ẹsẹ̀ mi. But while I'm going to do that, ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí nǹkan pè so mo máa yọ wifi mi kúrò. So ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ lọ́dọ̀ brother mi tí mo ní ọmọ wọn ní kí wọ́n béèrè wọn ní ìwọ mo kàn fẹ́ ká fi kọ́gbọ́n pé ní Nàìjíríà lénìí ọmọ gbàdúrà pé kó má sick. Ẹja gbọ́ lè mú padà bọ̀. Èmi ti gbọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀, ẹ̀yin máa gbọ́ kí n fi lọ sókè kí n fi padà wá.
Ẹ kọ́ lẹ́sàn. Ẹ kú ṣẹ́yìn. This is 10:23 p.m. alẹ́. Mo ṣe ń wọlé láti be around 4 o'clock. I want to share my experience with you, sir. Lenny, I'm a baby me. That's 1 and 8 months old. 1 year and 8 months old. ọ́fíìsì mo wà nígbà tí mo ṣàrí pé ara ń fún mi. Mo kàn rí pé mo wá wo lọ sí ṣọ́ọ̀bù ìyàwó mi wá rí pé kò sí ńbẹ̀. Mo wá wò sàlẹ̀, mo ṣàrí pé wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ ẹ̀ sí sàlẹ̀ sọ́sọ́kò. Wọ́n ò gba ọmọ mi lélẹ́yìn. But bàtà tó máa fi débẹ̀ ṣá, ó sì lajú, ó dákú. Àwọn Yorùbá sọ pé gìrì, wọ́n sọ pé gìrì ni kíní yẹn. So mo ṣàní pé kàn gbé lọ sí health center. Èmi fúnra mi lọ health center yẹn, mo ní kí wọ́n ṣe test fún pé mo fẹ́ mọ nǹkan tó ṣe. I ṣe test ní health center yẹn, that is the local government, Olúyọ̀lé local government, ibẹ̀ gangan local government wà ó. Wọ́n ṣe test. Kì í ṣe proper test o, just àwọn test tó máa gba ẹ̀jẹ̀ láti fíńgà ẹ̀ kékeré sí nǹkan. Wọ́n ní kò sí malaria lára ẹ̀. So mo ní kó má fún lábẹ́rẹ́ torí gìrì pé oògùn ni wọ́n kọ oògùn yẹn wọ́n á lọ rà. So wọ́n á pe moxim láti Èkìtì pé ọmọ yẹn ti dákú tó lé ní o pé ara ẹ̀ gbóná gan. Wọ́n á ní kí lọ wá nǹkan kan. Nǹkan yẹn mo ṣe wá tí mo wá ní búkàkiri bíi ti ẹ̀ rí. Ẹ̀ẹ̀kan péré mo rí ewé aparun. Àwọn nǹkan méjì tó kù wọ́n wá mi rí. Ibẹ̀ mo wà tó tó pè pé oye tún ṣe bí oye tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ oye tún ṣe o. Táìmù yẹn ó ti lọ sí bíi 5. Máa ní kó máa gbé lọ sí ìgboro. That place mi kò lè mọye kìlómítà ẹni bùsọ̀ at least èèyàn ṣàrìnrìn bíi 1 hour 30 minutes or 2 hours torí ó dọ̀pọ̀ wà lọ́nà everything. So ó jìnnà gan sí Mọ̀lété, ìyẹn Mọ̀lété ń Ìbàdàn ni o. Mo ń gbọ́ ní kó gbéyà sí health center ti state government. Mo padà pé ó ní health center yẹn pé wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́, wọ́n ti close. Ok, mo ní kó máa gbé lọ private yẹn. Ibẹ̀ náà ló bímọ sí ìgbà kan, but by the time máa fi débẹ̀ wọ́n lọ ṣe test. Test yẹn ni I expect kó jáde ní ọmọ yẹn tún ṣe kíní yẹn. Wọ́n ní wọ́n máa lọ sí di tó jẹ́ major build wọn pé mo lọ bá wọn pé where is doctor. Wọ́n ní pé doctor wọ́n kò sí lára doctor kó tó kó bíìsì pé kíní kan. Mo ní mo fẹ́ rí doctor, I want to talk to doctor. Wọ́n ní pé àwọn tó wà mẹ́rin náà ló máa tẹ̀lé sí. Mo ní no pé mo fẹ́ rí doctor gangan. So títí mi ṣáà rí doctor. Mo ṣáà ní doctor ti prescribe pé wọ́n ló máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tó máa ṣe before kí tó dé. Nígbà tó kọ́ gbọ́ mi wá, mo ní kó máa gbé lọ pé mò ń bọ̀ wá bá. So mo wá ní òkè. Nígbà tí wọ́n ṣe kíni wọ́n ti jẹ́ kí ìsọ̀tì ẹ̀ kú dẹ́kun jáde. Wọ́n ṣáà abẹ́rẹ́ wọn fún lábẹ́rẹ́ direct. Wọ́n bí drip. Wọ́n fún ní àwọn injection kan through drip. So láti stop kíní yẹn. A ṣáà fi kíní sẹ́nu ẹ̀ torí kó má bàa tutù àbí kó má bàa sán ìwọ̀n kó mo ṣáà di ọwọ́ ẹ̀ mú. So mo jẹ́sẹ̀ ẹ̀ mú. So ìgbà tára ẹ̀ wá balẹ̀ díẹ̀. Wọ́n á ní pé yes owó wa o, owó test tó ń ṣe fún ìyàwó mi dẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ mú yẹn lẹ̀. So wọ́n á ní èlò wà ní wọ́n ní wọ́n máa refer ẹ̀ wọ́n máa àbíṣà wọ́n yẹn máa sọ́jà rẹ̀ àsìkò ó máa stay hospital. Pé because wọ́n fún drip, wọ́n fún ní kíní pé doctor ní pé kò lè lọlé. Pé because wọ́n máa treat ẹ̀ wọ́n jú ni. Pé so pé wọ́n máa admit ẹ̀. So máa ní òkè pé owó mi máa san is 34,000. Mo ní 34,000. Kí ló ń ṣe fún pé nítorí ibi tó fẹ́ sùn àbí bẹ́ẹ̀dì tẹ máa fún ní 34,000 wọ́n ní òye ẹ̀nìyẹn pé ókè mo níwẹ̀ẹ́ a lè gbé lọ lé ọ̀dọ̀ wá jìnnà torí mo kọ́ pé àwọn bí mo pé there is another place tó mọ̀ tí mo lè gbọ́ mọ́ ẹ lọ wọ́n á ní ilẹ̀ ti ṣú wọn ní òkè tí dọ́tọ̀ bá tẹ̀ dé àwọn dọ́tọ̀ tó ń yẹ ẹ̀ ń sà àwọn dọ́tọ̀ láti usage ni o torí ìgbà tí mo tọ́ tó bí mo fi ní gbogbo àṣírí yẹn àwọn usage something ló ní hospital wọn yẹn so wọ́n á mú mi dé rúùmù tí ọmọ yẹn máa sùn mo bá ọmọ òbíkókò tó yẹ bí ń bẹ̀ sí point kan mo fẹ́ dùn bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ nìyẹn tẹ́gí máa náà kí ni mo bá ọmọ òkókó kan bẹ̀ ọmọ tí mo bá ń bẹ̀ wọ́n ṣẹ̀ bí ọmọ yẹn wọ́n fi net bọ́ so wọn á wo ibi tí mo ní òkè bẹ́ẹ̀dì tí ọmọ yìí dà mo á rí bẹ́ẹ̀dì ọmọ kékeré náà ló wà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n á wò pa ibo ni ìyá ẹ̀ fẹ́ sùn aláboyún ìgbọ̀nbọ̀ ló fẹ́ sùn kọ́ gbogbo ara ògiri kún fẹ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àṣẹ bá mosquito báyẹ̀ dùn ní gbogbo ẹ̀rẹ́wẹ̀ wọn níbẹ̀ náà àṣà ìyàwó ọmọ mi kò lè sùn sí ìbàyí rárá pé kí nǹkan tó máa sọ 34,000 naira sí lélẹ̀ ṣé bí tó mọ fẹ́ sùn lélẹ̀ so mo pa àṣìṣà lọ bá àwọn nọ́ọ̀sì yẹn pé you ask me to pay 34,000 naira pé ṣé kò pọ́sibú kan treat ọmọ yẹn I want to see doctor pé wọ́n treat ọmọ yẹn so that kí n gbọ́mọ yẹn lọ́lé kó lọ sùn wọ́n á ní pé wọ́n ò lè gbé lọ́lé o pé wọ́n ò lè gbé lọ́lé because of that condition pé because kékeré yẹn bá ti wọ orí ẹ̀ pé kò dáa so màá ní òkè wọn ò ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì ni wọ́n ní wọn ò ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì báwo ni hospital ṣe ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ wo gbogbo everything mo ní báwo ni hospital ṣe ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ bá rọ́pò sí ìwé ṣe wá rí building yẹn ibi níwọ̀n tó yẹ kọ́ yẹn á tó bí 3 floor 4 floor second floor ní lọ́nìkà stage wọn ní òkè wọn ní private room wà sáà ó kọ̀ dùn pé mistake tí mo ṣe gbogbo àwọn mo ṣe ń gbà jẹ́ kí n lè kámẹ́rà àwọn private room yẹn private room yẹn wọn ní òkè bed sheet everything kan ìyẹn náà mo rí àwọn ẹ̀jẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan mo ní pé private room tẹ́ tún mú wa lọ léèsì báyìí mo ṣẹ̀ wá sí léèsì ni mo ṣẹ̀ dé léèsì ni tí mo ń pè pé alpha àwọn ní dọ́tọ̀ tó wọ bọ́tọ̀ tó pé tọ́lẹ̀tì bẹ̀rẹ̀ rùn pé dọ́tọ̀ yẹn jáde pé wọ́n gbọ́ àlọ́sán kan rí fire is not that place so ibi tí wọ́n rí fire sí náà débẹ̀ ni ó náà ṣàfọ gbogbo tọ́lẹ̀tì yẹn for everything òun wá tì pa so wọ́n ní pé ní special àwọn private kid mo máa tó yẹ normal state yẹn pé màá sọ àǹdá 10,000 mọ́wọ́ yẹn á jẹ́ 44,000 naira orí yẹn láṣà wàtá ṣàfà títí wẹ́ wọ́n á jókòó wọn ní pé wọ́n lọ́hùn tó tẹ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ mi mo kọ́ wò pé tó yẹ tó ń bá ṣe pé wọ́n ní àtẹ́nìsí o pé kí n san half payment kí n ṣàsan kí n deposit ok lẹ́tà sọ àbí lẹ́tà sọ àlọ́ mi mo wọkọ̀ débẹ̀ ó kù 8,000 mo kó 8,000 yẹn lẹ̀ mo tún àwọn àkáǹtì mi 90,000 kọ́ mo tún kó lẹ̀ ó jẹ́ 27,000 mo máa ń tó àti di ọ̀la kọ́ yàrá mi treat ọmọ yẹn kàrẹ̀ balẹ̀ mo wá pé wọ́n mi wọ́n náà ti bá mi wá gbogbo àwọn agbo ilẹ̀ tútù agbo gírí everything wọ́n ló bá mi ṣe wọ́n á fi rán láti ṣe látẹ̀kìtì kí wọ́n á gbà lọ́la ṣe rí mo dẹ̀ jáde mo dẹ̀ wo àyíká mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ máa sọkún kò sí nǹkan tó pa mí lẹ́kùn o ju pé ṣé ni a wá ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí pé ṣé ayé la wá ẹ̀ pé this is not life pé this is not life ibi tí mo ti wá kìlómítà yẹn á tó bí 200 more than 200 kilometre síbi tí mo wá pé ibi tí ló gọọmenti wà pé kò sí standard hospital mbẹ tí èèyàn lè gbọmọ lọ nǹkan tó jáde tèmi lọ ìgbóhùn yẹn pé tí wọ́n á ṣẹlẹ̀ lóru nǹkan gbọ́dọ̀ fẹ́ gbé yà sí. so wọ́n á ní pé irú ayé wo la wá ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pé ìyà ń jẹ wá o mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wọ́n á ronú sí so many things mo tún wá ronú sí pé nígbà tí a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé ká gbòmìnira people don't know let's say I didn't have anything bóyá láti àárọ̀ náà iṣẹ́ mo ṣe ń ṣiṣẹ́ kan náà mo ṣiṣẹ́ mo fi rí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn gádà tí n bá rí kankan drop ṣé they will not wọn ní attend sọmọ yẹn káwọn many people tó yẹ pé they cannot avoid 1,000 naira ẹ̀wọ̀n ìyàwó tó ń kú pa ní èdè nítorí pé they can't avoid money láti take ara wọn. mo dẹ̀ ń sọkún lálẹ́ pé àwọn ọmọ tá a bí mo dẹ̀ ń in fact mo dẹ̀ ń torí mo lọ fẹ́ ra tíì tó máa mu gbogbo mọ̀lẹ́tẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ tíì yẹn mo ní mo lọ fẹ́ rán gbógbóná ọ̀dọ̀ wa jìnnà hospital kìí hospital tó yẹ pé èèyàn lè rán gbógbóná báyà kọ́ wọ̀ mọ́ gbógbóná kàn ṣe anything nothing like that wọ́n á bẹ̀ sí rìn káàkiri ìgbà tí mi rẹ̀ anything wọ́n á lọ ra Hollandia yogurt coke àti biscuit gbogbo ẹ̀rẹ̀ kú sí bíi ṣé ẹlòmúra gbogbo kẹwé ẹ̀ ọ̀dà bọ́ lọ sí bíi 1,000 something ṣẹ́yìn tó wà kù sí mi lọ́wọ́ mo á sọ fún ìyá ẹ̀ pé àti délé because nǹkan tá a fi ṣiṣẹ́ kò sẹ́ni kí nílé o gbọ́dọ̀ lọlé torí àníná kí lè tọ ìbátà láti charge gbogbo nǹkan tí mo fi ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń fún mi lówó. So mo ṣe ìwọlé látàárọ̀ ní ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ torí ọ̀dọ̀ wa kan àti ilẹ̀ bá ti ṣú àárín mọ́tò àárín kiri mọ́ bàbá kan mo á rí tí mo ní ọdún yìí báyìí mo ní owó tó kù sí lọ́wọ́ is 500 naira kó gbé mi yàrá gbé mi tí junction máa fẹsẹ̀ délé ṣe rí tí àgbà tí Yorùbá ní ṣọgbà àwọn Yorùbá ọkọ̀ dàbí pé a wá sí èèyàn kọ̀ kéwàá kéèyàn wá sáyé asánṣá téèyàn kọ̀ wá sáyé pé jẹ́ kó lọ bá wọn wo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láì nípa bí ejò tó kọjá lórí àpáta tó nípa ìyàwó jẹ àwọn èèyàn gan-an tí a bá yẹ ti gba Yorùbá nation ìyàwó jẹ wá gan sà ìyàwó jẹ wá gan sà. So if you don't have money o ní lè jẹun if you don't have money if you sick gbà pé máa retí ikú ni for what is happening life now in Nigeria ó ní èmi ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sílé ni òfin sọ everything fún yín. Wọ́n á wò pé kí ló mú gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì tí ò sí dá standards ní ìṣiṣẹ́ ló gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ní ìṣiṣẹ́ gbogbo ìgbèríko everything kó wà ká gbọ́mọ lọ adé state hospital ní health center wọn tọwọ́kọ́ dé wọ́n ní kò wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ pé wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ tàbí wọ́n ti close ẹ bọ̀ sí bá tiẹ̀ lọ. So that is my experience today o àdúrà mo ṣáà gbà fọmọ yẹn kí tó kúrò mẹ kọlọ́ bá mi dọ́wọ́ lé because mo gbọ́ Ọlọ́run nìkan ló lè bá mi wòsàn kọlọ́ bá mi dọ́wọ́ lé títí dàárọ̀ la kárẹ̀ wálẹ̀ kí n lọ gba àgbo àwọn ẹ̀rọ kọ́lá títì kí bẹ̀ sí fún. So nǹkan tí mo rí mo ní kí n sọ fún ènìyàn o ìyà gidi là ń jẹ lé irú ìgbà Yorùbá ní ìṣọ̀lẹ̀ ọjọ́ láti kọ́ yìí gan kí ó ti pẹ́ tí Yorùbá tí ìgbà tí ọ̀rọ̀ Ìgbòho gan ti ṣẹlẹ̀ tí mo ti ń rò pé kí lè kó pé ìgbà tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ mo tẹ̀lé Yorùbá inú òdìbò family mi kan mo dẹ̀ wọ́n wẹ̀ nobody should go out to go and vote kọ ìyá mi kọ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi gbogbo pátá mo sọ fún nobody should go and vote ní ẹ̀rẹ́ ti tọkọjá ìkọsẹ́ mọ̀ tó jáde lọ dìbò nínú wa àwọn àbúrò gbọ́ pátá gbogbo àwọn àlẹ́ nobody lọ dìbò because gbogbo a mọ̀ pé agbòmìnira ibi tí ayé wa ti lè dára nìyẹn kì í ṣe òmìnira kan gbà tí ìyà ń já àwọn èèyàn lálẹ́ ẹ̀sà oríṣiríṣi èmi kan tí mo tún wá tí mo wó kiri tí mo wá kiri kan kiri ẹ̀rọ mi wà kọ́nà tó wà ní kiri pé please can I see something for my child to eat tonight mo kọ̀ pé ìwọ náà báwo ni fẹ́ ṣe mi ìdẹ́ni kankan lọ́wọ́ mọ́ ilé gan mọ̀ owó tó wà mọ́ kankan lọ́wọ́ owó yẹn gbé mi délé ni lálẹ́ so many things is happening in Yoruba land we are suffering but àwọn leaders wa àwọn ọba kó sẹ́yìn tó kàn wọ́n kò sí ètò kan wọn o kò sí ètò kan wọn o àdúrà tá à ń gbà everybody ń gbà kéèyàn máa síkì ní bó ṣe wà yẹn má tẹ̀ síkì ní má síkì ní o ìwọ́n téèyàn síkì báyìí ó pa ènìyàn o tó wà ní backup owó tó máa lọ dálẹ̀ ní hospital olówó ló lọ hospital sí o.
That was sent on Tuesday. I didn't listen to that until yesterday because of the nature of my job and many voice notes on your man sent. I spoke to the father yesterday. The daughter is back, healthy, and we're grateful. How many people wants to continue to live in this denial? That is just one out of so many that is happening across the Yoruba world or Yoruba land today. Eje Kasare Kaile from African Confidential on the X space, formerly Twitter. He just posted it 8 minutes ago. It is one thing to respond decisively to unwarranted attacks and propaganda, which will make sense as a duty of every true nationalist. But it is another thing to channel one's entire energy into observe rants about perceived threat with obvious internal weakness. He's doing very well, but he doesn't get a lot of people that help him to retweet his post. And then the Twitter, Abi X, about Wanibe. Simon Ekpa, before I go into the inflation, has become a big obstacle to the government. And whether they like it or not, they refuse to allow a proper dialogue between the Biafra and Tinubu government. Tinubu wants to prove himself as well that who the hell are these Biafrans? And we will deal with them decisively. Oh my God. The 2024, as we go into it, will be very, very interesting time. Baba Meoluafemi Sokwe, and as a matter of fact, I'm not sure we are ready for actualization of Yoruba nation to be candid. Let me go on to the page of Simon, and let me just give you some of the things that he has posted within the last probably 24 hours. In the Nigerian military, they are now saying that it seems that Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafra government in exile, is being sponsored by some nation. Wow, interesting time ahead. One hour we look on loan sponsor Simon Ekpa. Five hours ago, he posted and it goes like this. This coming week is the week of Ghost Angel, the angel that will go around enemy bases. He went further. This one, because I'm on Twitter, phone, so I'm trying to see how do I get this video. So what I should do is copy the link, because about play, not platforms by your Nigbo. And I think what I should do, let me post it in my Facebook and then pick it up from this phone through the browser. Interesting time ahead. Interesting time ahead. So you can play in the Nigerian military. So, Tosonikwa Simon Ekpa within the last, internet here. Let me refresh again. We are now 4:22 a.m. I'll see how far I can go, but okay, let's click on this and see if it takes me through just the browser. accept cookies. Unload lọ́wọ́. Ẹja gbọ́n ti Nàìjíríà àmì sọ nípa Simon Ekpa.
Expose all those ones doing those things, especially people like Simon Ekpa. He's sitting down there in comfort. Some countries are encouraging him to do what he's doing to Nigeria, and we're here supporting him. So people must desist. We must call what is wrong, wrong.
So tí Amin sọ fún mi pé kémi desist from encouraging Simon Ekpa, but we should encourage the military as they continue to bomb innocent people in Kaduna and committing genocide in the southeast, allowing Fulani terrorists to continue to invade our land, killing our economy. As I speak to us today, Nigeria inflation ó ti lọ sókè from 27.33 in October, ó lọ sókè by 28.20. One, that is the highest in the last 20 years. Ilé wa ní káwa máa encourage Simon Ekpa, káyé sọ̀rọ̀ Simon Ekpa, ìyẹn military yìí. Mọ̀ tí Simon Ekpa fi dá ló máa play video tó délé. Simon Ekpa ní everything they accuse you is what they are doing. He said we are not human beings. Ẹja gbọ́lẹ̀ nǹkan sí. Ẹja gbọ́n sókè.
Expose all those ones doing those things, especially people like Simon Ekpa. He's sitting down there in comfort. Some countries are encouraging him to do what he's doing to Nigeria, and we're here supporting him. So people must desist. We must call what is wrong, wrong. But I know that we're taking efforts to ensure that we secure the whole of Southeast, and we'll continue to do that. We regret the souls have been lost. If you see the way they have killed, these guys are not human beings. They are eating flesh.
Ẹmọ tó ń sọ fún yín mẹ́rin pé rẹ́rẹ́ ti ń rún ní òkè ọya lọ́dọ̀ tàwọn ti Simon. All these people they are not human beings. They are eating flesh. That means pé nǹkan tí ń kanra lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ara wọn.
We have seen them doing cannibalization. We have seen them doing cultism and all these things. So it is.
Gbogbo ẹ̀rọ náà Simon Ekpa ń ṣe. If we do not want things to go much more worse, it is time that Bola Tinubu engage with the Biafra. If you don't engage with them, whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen. So let's read more from Simon again. They continue to raise money all the time. They're doing fundraising. Almost every weekend, long raise owó. Again, I'm sure some of you have seen another headline from Sahara Reporter. Enoti Jega, the former INEC chairman. Atairu Jega, I'm sure a lot of you remember that guy. Nigeria is a failing state, and if we don't act, the worst will happen. Shari Yoruba people, and fake bow titomora, especially to read Ben Yami Comfort Grandma Adele Oni Oma Sheo, She Iluta Fe Duro Si Lele. I'm sure in response to VN, brother Mitzi Omawani, a bit of health issue. Things are getting worse in that contraction. Atairu Jega Oni, Nigeria is a failing state. Simon Ekpa Washe laugh emoji 11 hours ago. No, Nigeria is a failing state. I'm still wondering, those are the Yoruba people are waiting for. Who are you waiting for to tell you that Nigeria is a failed state? We have told you that in some of our previous broadcasts. Google it. There's a particular man that we use that Nigeria is a failed nation or country, whatever. I'm sure, yeah. Okay, I picked up something 2021. We've talked about this so many times. But let's go back to this is coming from the foreign policy. Okay, I've did a full program. Tebak or our platforms were. I know we've done a lot of videos, and like I always say, all my videos, because they come on YouTube, they come on Facebook. I download my videos out and I do a backup because I don't trust all these platforms. Mo lè wá ṣe wàhálà tí mò ń ṣe yìí kí n má rí nǹkankan. Gbogbo ohun tó wà níbí báyìí ó sì máa lọ into a proper TV series. Lájọwájú lágbára Ọlọ́run nígbà tá a bá ti settle down àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń gé a series àyàn á wà lórí platform tiwa. Èmi kàn mọ̀ ní YouTube. Tí YouTube bá gbé channel mi wálẹ̀, I lose every of my content. So it's just an advice for some of you out there that are thinking maybe you're going to be doing what we are doing or you're doing something else. Don't keep all your videos on. You are calling Mokia Mr. Perry. Make sure you pull Mokia Kunle Bakers, Moitiri, and K Money and the rest of you on Instagram and TikTok and wherever you've joined us. So I make sure that I save and I back up all my videos because I want the next generation to see every one of us. They will watch it, they will read your comment, and they'll be excited that we did it. It might not be straight away as we want it now, but Nigeria is going to break. Because báwa ṣe ń sọ làwọn náà sọ indirectly. Let me see if I can bring the full article. Jega Atairu, so the news from Sahara Reporter. Okay, if you trust the Sahara Reporter, she channels. I think we love Channels Television. All right, Channels Television. Mr. Luafemi Agbola, Mr. Koiki, there is no devil anywhere. Bola Tinubu is the real image of devil on our case in Yoruba Nation. Low advantage one. I don't think many people know. It used the advantage of Yoruba Nation to get to where it is. But I will not go further because, like I said, at least immediately then momenti Kuba Baye Yesofunwa privately, our meta no lawambe Belu CSI. Nigeria is a failing state. Inti Jegan sọ fún yín. Koiki Media máa ti sọ as far back as 3 years ago lábẹ́ àṣẹ tí olóyè Ìgbòho àti bàbá Akíntóyè tó ní ká máa fi lọ bá ọmọ Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ pé a ti wà nínú oko grandma mi kan mọ́ ní a ti wọ 1 chance grandma yẹn nínú a ti wà ní half chance kò pé wọ́n mọ̀ grandma yẹn wá ilé làwọn wà wọ́n ní access láti padà wá sí UK wọ́n ní level 14 lọ́kàn àwọn ti retire nínú water tó ti ṣiṣẹ́. If you wanted to be corrupt, àwọn àti lówó rẹpẹtẹ 21,000 lọ́nà kan àwọn ń gbà fún pension. Wọ́n náà wọ́n ṣe full retirement 8,000 naira lọ́n fáwọn. Wọ́n ní but àwọn wà comfortable bí àwọn ọláwọn ọmọ tó dúró dáadáa. Wọ́n ní wọ́n sọ wọ́n ní Koiki loneliness ló fi ṣàwọn léṣe sínú ilé gbàtẹ́ àwọn grandchildren ò ní wálé. Tọ́bàtẹ̀ máa wá náà kọ́ free Christmas kọ́ tó sá padà. So we have people that are living, and around the world like that. Ìyàwó wà níbì kan, ọkọ wà nílé. We are not living a proper life. Ẹ̀kan rò pàwọ́ táwa lábroad náà, we are comfortable. Àwa náà áyún lè ń ṣe wá, but tá a bá wo gbogbo tó ń lọ nílé. Okay, tí bá wà nílé nísìn tí yẹn bá sick, ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀ka sick. Tí mo dẹ̀ wà popular bí ṣe wà popular yìí. Tí mo kọ̀ jẹ́ lé màá bí irú brother wa yẹn, à gbé mi lọ sí hospital kan. So there's so much pressure. But àwọn kan ní Tinubu ti débẹ̀ ó máa stabilize the economy in Nigeria. Ẹja àgbọn tí Jega sọ. This is Channels Television and I'm going to share the link because ẹ̀yin lè má láǹfààní àti fi lọ wò link yẹn ni mo fẹ́ jù wá. ẹ tó bá follow backup channel wa à ń bẹ̀ wá ní gbogbo gbà, but it seems that àwọn èèyàn wa wọ bí i get message yẹn. So líǹkì backup channel wa máa fi sórí YouTube Koiki Media nísìn, ẹ bá wa gbọ́wọ́lé nísìn, ẹ gbọ́wọ́lé. Mo fẹ́ make sure pa increase yẹn ó increase. Tó bá jẹ́ pé máa draw another 1 hour, a gbọ́dọ̀ kúrò lórí 650 lálẹ́ yìí, ó gbọ́dọ̀ dé 1000 kóṣù yìí tó parí lágbára Ọlọ́run. So link yẹn ni mo ti fi sórí orí ti Koiki Media. Èmi náà ni mo wò báyìí nísìnyí náà wà nù ẹ gbọ́wọ́lé ẹ̀yẹn click lé lórí. Ntí àìwò náà lẹ máa wò, mo wà báyìí live, ẹ bá wa gbọ́wọ́lé. Fẹ́yìn tẹ́ wà on live ni o, ẹni tó bá sí live mo mọ̀ bí àwọn máa lè rí, but tẹ́ ẹ bá ti rí ẹ lọ sórí WD76 ẹ click lé lórí. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Facebook náà ẹ click lé lórí kẹ́ padà sórí Facebook, because sometimes àwọn kan ní Facebook wà cheaper fún àwọn láti fi gbọ́. Ẹ bá wa click lé lórí, ẹ lọ subscribe, because that is the only way you can help the platform. Mo kí ìyá mi Tóyìn dáadáa, wọ́n ní brother Koiki, things are bad on Nigeria. I just came back, we are in soup. May God bring us out so that they won't eat also. Hey, àwọn ìyá mi tó ṣẹ̀ lọ sílé tó ṣẹ̀ dé ló ń sọ fún wa yẹn pé Mr. Koiki, bí wọ́n ṣe ń sọ yìí, àwọn ṣẹ̀ dé ní o, nǹkan ti báàdì gan rẹpẹtẹ o. So kọ́lọ́n bẹ̀ Elédùmarè kó wá pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn wa o. Ẹ jẹ́ agbọ́n kan tí Àìtáírù Jẹ̀gá sọ, Simon Ekpa wá fi ń rẹ́rìn pé ṣèbí nǹkan tá à ń sọ fáwọn Biafra nìyẹn, àwọn tá à ń sọ fáwọn Odùduwà nìyẹn, àwọn máa láìka pé wà ní Odùduwà Republic. And it doesn't matter what name we're using right now. Tàbá decide pé a fẹ́ lo Yorùbá nation, we can use Odùduwà Republic, we can use Yorùbá Kingdom. Ìyẹn after tí a bá ti fẹ́ dé final destination. But ẹ má kí ẹ̀kan rẹ̀ pé ẹ̀kan waste time ara yín, Nàìjíríà ò ní pín. Ẹ̀jà gbọ́n ti Àìtáírù Jẹ̀gá, the former INEC chairman, ẹ̀jà gbọ́n tó sọ. This is Channels Television, posted yesterday, and it goes like this. Nigeria is a failing state. Jega calls for restructuring before 2027. Mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo tá à ń sọ yìí náà, wàláì tàláì súnmọ́bìláì làzíláhùwà ní ti Jésù àti tàwọn onílẹ̀ wa. Tẹ́lẹ̀kṣọ̀n bá tó dé nísìn, àwọn Yorùbá tó máa lọ náà fi vote. Tẹ́lẹ̀kṣọ̀n bá dé lọ́la nísìn, lọ́la yìí, which is just 3 years from now, because 1 year ti tán nínú ìjọba Tinubu báyìí, ó kọ ọdún mẹ́ta. Tẹ́lẹ̀kṣọ̀n bá tó dé ní 2027, because wọ́n ní òṣèlú la máa ń ṣe nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, but òṣèlú gbẹ̀gìrì àtẹ̀bà tí clinic ṣé Ṣèyí Mákindé máa ní wọ́n ní owó láti fi ṣe gbogbo hospital ní Ọ̀yọ́ state. Akérédolú nísìn wọ́n ti sá lọ Germany nísìn, wọ́n tẹ̀ send image kan sí mi, but mo lè verify ẹ̀, wọ́n ní kò lè sọ̀rọ̀ dáadáa. I can't verify it. Èèyàn kan send image kan sí mi, ẹ̀mọ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ lè ṣe cropping, wọ́n lè ṣe photoshoot, kọ́lọ̀ fún lálàáfíà. But tábà ní kọ́lọ̀ fún lálàáfíà, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílùú Oǹdó ńkọ́, ṣẹ́yìn ò ní lálàáfíà. Mo kí àwa Comfort Ológunjà àti sister mi Gbémilékè àti gbogbo èèyàn Oǹdó state. So why are we living in denial? Tẹ́lẹ̀kṣọ̀n bá dé nísìn, lára àwọn tó ń gbọ́ wa mi nísìn kan sẹ́, àwọn náà tún ní ọmọ ìdíṣẹ́ ìdíbẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ dìbò fún Tinubu again, á ṣe èyí tí gbogbo máa ní no more election. Àwọ̀ ìtí lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ campaign no more election nísìn, campaign Yorùbá nation tá gbé dání nísìn làwa ṣì máa stick lé lórí, because nígbà tí mo jáde tí mo ní ẹ má jẹ́ ká ṣe election 2023, gbogbo ilẹ̀ fẹ́ bú mi pa. Ẹni election la máa ṣe, election ni the right thing, àti ṣe election tán nísìn, gbogbo àtijọ́ ṣe election tán nísìn. What has been the outcome? It is all lies. Yes, in the government, àwọn kan máa jẹ, àwọn kan ò ní jẹ ní. So lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn, àwọn kan ń jẹ lọ́wọ́ Tinubu, bí ìjọba ṣe rí nìyẹn. But the majority are not having great time. Ṣé jẹ́ ká ká tí kù yẹn díẹ̀. Àìtáírù Jẹ̀gá, gbogbo ilẹ̀ ṣàmọ̀. Ó wá ní tá a bá restructure Nigeria by 2027, ó ṣeé ṣe kí wàhálà wà o. Àwọn Biafra tẹ̀lé dúró dè yẹn because they keep pushing. So ṣé n tó ń sọ nísìn ni pé ẹ máa ṣe kéèsì Nnamdi Kanu up to 2027? What is the offense of Nnamdi Kanu? Thank you so much, Mrs. Florence, for liking the video. Share it, help to bring more people in. He insisted that Nigeria will be considered a failed state. Oh, Nigeria is a failed state. Nigeria is already a Titanic that has sunk. Thank you so much, Mrs. Florence. Thank you for liking the video. So Jega is just telling you and me that he insisted that Nigeria will be considered. Look, as far back as 2021, the next article I'm going to read, according to the foreignpolicy.com, Nigeria is a failed state. The first step to restoring stability and security is recognizing that the government has lost control. This is by Robert I. Rothberg, the founding director of Harvard Kennedy School Program on Intrastate Conflict and President Emeritus of the World Peace Foundation, John Campbell, a senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations and a former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria. So if anybody is telling you that Nigeria is a failed state, it has been failed for a very long time. This was an article on the 27th of May, 2021. Nigeria has long teetered on the precipice of failure. Meaning precipice. So let's go and find out the meaning of
Precipice.
What is the meaning of
Precipice.
Precipice. A very steep rock face or cliff, especially at the tail one. What does they mean? What does
precipice?
What does it mean? If you say that someone is on the edge of precipice, Nigeria has been at the edge, is a ticking time bomb that is about to go off. Iyawa Oluremi Kilanko Gabi said, so Altairu Jega is now confirming that Nigeria is a joke. The same thing that we have been talking about, all the medias have been talking about, even Nigerians have been talking about it, but they are saying it's a leadership problem. It is not a leadership problem. Oh, Jega is just looking for a ministerial position, Mr. Dekunle Oguns. So what is the meaning of
precipice?
Nigeria is currently on
precipice.
You mean that they are in a dangerous situation in which they are extremely close to disaster or failure. So Nigeria is close to disaster. Eshego Mr. David Adegoke. Ebenezer Bitoye, Yoruba people ready for Yoruba nation. Seriously, Yoruba nation must stand by the grace of God. Nigeria, according to the meaning of
precipice,
is currently a dangerous situation in which it is extremely close to disaster or failure. The king now stands at the brink of a political precipice. So Nigeria is standing on a very dangerous disaster. And that is why Altairu Jega, China's television, says Nigeria is a failing state. Failing, F-A-I-L-I-N-G, state. Jega is now calling for the restructuring of Nigeria before 2027. But I'm now taking us back to another article that came out on the May 27, 2021, that says Nigeria is long tethered for a precipice, which we just give you the meaning of failure, but now unable to keep its citizens safe and secure. The question again is, can Bola Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, keep you safe in today's Nigeria? If he can keep us safe, he's been there for 6 months. Bola Tinubu should be giving orders. And if they're not listening to that order, he should not just remove people, he should put them in prison. Professor Moyo Okediji traveled from Ghana, no problem. Togo, no problem. Benin Republic, no problem. Getting into his father's land, called Nigeria, there was problem. And by the time he left the borderline, getting into Lagos, and Lagos State, he was saved by the Igbos. We might hate them, we might like them, we might dislike them. We could have been talking about a dead man right now if the Igbos did not intervene within a country called Nigeria that could not secure Professor Moyo Okedeji in Lagos State. This was December 12th. This is not last year. This happened this year in Festac. So in 2021, the same thing that I have talked about, Professor Moyo Okedeji have now faced the consequence of unsecure country that is going into precipice. Because what in talk in Nigeria, what in he saw what Nigeria is all about. I'm not being strict like it seems like you are not really seeing my face, innit? I must have put in it, but I'm not in it. So I can move it there because it seems like you're struggling to see me. So okay, go. Okay, I think I need a bit of movement a little bit. So I can move a little bit. So when we sit here, spending hours and hours, we are not joking here. We are reminding you that Atemi, we are all in danger in the shit hole country. Thank you, Nigeria. Stop talking down Nigeria. Lórí TikTok àbí sínú orí Twitter. Ó ní èmi ò rí news tó dá mú wá láti Nigeria wèrè. Ọmọ àlè. Mo mọ news tó dá tí mo fẹ́ mú wá láti Nigeria tí mo rí. Tí bá rí good news mo ṣe ní mú wá. Ní Ìbàdàn níjẹta, àwọn ọmọ mi tó wà ní Ìbàdàn, coverage tó ṣe. Ẹ wo trailer tó ti yapa. Tó bá jẹ́ pé trailer yẹn go through rigorous MOT, tó jẹ́ kó wà lójú títì kó máa pààyàn. Àdẹ̀dúpẹ́ kókò mẹ́mi lọ. You this platform, you never bring good news. More good news in Nigeria for me. Let's go back again and read. I'm still feeling very strong with this one there. So even if I have to do over 3 hours, more 3 times to listen. Ìwọ máa wò mí kó máa sọ pé Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó kémi rákọ̀bá àdàbà èmi náà ń gbàdúrà bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá ti wọlé dé àjọ máa fi ṣe program ni. Èmi náà ní family nílé, mò ń advice wọn, mò ń warn wọn. Tó bá listen, tó bá listen. Nigeria cannot protect its citizen. This was 2021. Kí ni Ìgbòho ń pariwo fún? Kò sí ètò ààbò. Kí ni bàbá wa General Trustina bàbá wa sọ níjọ́ Jímọ̀? Wọ́n ní kò sí ètò tó pé mọ́. Wọ́n ní 24 years ago làwọn ti notice ẹ̀. Ìtawà tẹ̀sẹ̀ wọn rí nísinsìnyí. We all love to live in denial. Mo kí gbogbo ẹni tẹ̀sẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa títí di wákàtí. Nothing comes easy. Ìyẹn á máa ṣe gbogbo eléyìí kan á sọ pé wọ́n opportunist wọn nínú Yorùbá nation. Àìsàn là ń ṣe ìnà. Táwọn church yìí bá ń ṣàìsàn ẹ̀ ń dáwó síbẹ̀ ni. Tí mọ́ṣáláṣí bá ń ṣàìsàn ẹ̀ ń dáwó síbẹ̀. Ìyẹn kan wá ń ṣàìsàn nísìn. Àwa ní ẹ fún wa lówó, ẹ bá wa dá sí. Ìyẹn kan wá ní wọ́n fi ń ṣe opportunist. Ṣé eléyìí tí mò ń ṣe àti tí church ń ṣe kí ni ìyàtọ̀ méjèèjì? Nonsense people. Bá ti sọ yẹn kẹ́ lọ jókòó kẹ́ lọ máa ṣiṣẹ́ yín kẹ́ ra kúrò nínú Yorùbá nation kẹ́ fà wá tá a ṣiṣẹ́ lọ. Ẹ bá fẹ́ ṣe business ẹ lọ ṣòwò yín. Ẹ wá máa bí wá ẹ̀kọ́ ìkìkí ni mí nínú Yorùbá nation kí ni self determination kí ni gbogbo jágbàjàgbà yẹn. Ẹ bá wá mí ní self determination ẹ lọ sórí website wa ẹ bá níbẹ̀. Ẹ má bínú pé mò ń ṣọ́ọ̀tì gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ mo kàn move because mo ti bá ṣe wá sí mind mo ṣe rántí gbogbo kan ló wà lórí website wa. The United Nations Declaration on the Right of the Indigenous People. Ó wà níbẹ̀. A full 32-page article. The Indigenous Peoples and the United Nations Human Rights. ó wà níbẹ̀ 50 page ní ẹ lọ kà. Intersend sí ICC tàfi gbé Buhari lọ confirmation of the receipt ní 2021 July ó wà níbẹ̀. Dear Sir or Madam, the Office of the Prosecutor of International Criminal Court acknowledge the receipt of your document and letter. This communication has been duly entered in another 10 years. Wọ́n lè má gbé kéèsì yẹn jáde. Another 10 years. Mo kí bàbá testimony Ògúntọ́nà. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀ tẹ́ ń bá wa dá sí ní gbogbo àtàbá pè yín. Ọlọ́run á máa bùkún fún yín. Kí yẹn kan máa discourage pé Yorùbá nation opportunist ló wà ń bẹ̀. Ṣé bí wàá jẹ́gẹ́ bí ṣé country làwa ti wá ní country? Yes, definitely àwọn kan máa take as an advantage. But àwa tá a wá ń ṣiṣẹ́ back to back. Ẹ ṣe ìyàlá lùbáríkà ti fún wa ní super chat. Òkè fẹ́ pè wọlé. Phone line yẹn wà on. Gbà tá a tẹ̀ fi tá mo ti ní pẹ̀lọpẹ̀ ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. Òun ló tún mú fóònù kan fún mi pé bí ṣe ń pariwo pé mo nídìí fóònù yẹn kò tẹ́wọ̀n lọ́rùn. Mo wà happy. Ìyá mi ti fún mi ní fóònù kan. Ti gba fóònù kan lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. So ẹni tó bá fẹ́ pè wọlé line yẹn wà open. Ẹ lè pè wọlé. Gbogbo náà ni mọ nọ́mbà yẹn. Tẹ́ bá wá mọ nọ́mbà yẹn. Nọ́mbà yẹn náà ni ọkọ ẹ pé +44 74 04 405 917. Code UK nìyẹn +44 74 04 405 917. Ẹlòmíràn ní Koiki ò ṣe fi sórí screen. Yes, a máa ń post ẹ̀ sórí screen but a lè pin ẹ̀. Mo tẹ̀ lè pin ẹ̀ but I'm sure everybody knows the number. So tẹ́ni tó bá fẹ́ dá sí, the line is still well open. So ẹni tó bá rò pé a ṣe paperwork náà ni pé kíyàn gbé èbí mo ti sọ fún yín láti beginning náà èmi náà múná dá mi dúró nílùú yìí ní some point tí bá travel tí bá ń padà bọ̀. Mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa Aziz ní Houston kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ pè wọlé line yẹn ni mo sọ yẹn. So tẹ́ bá ti kọ nọ́mbà yẹn síta +44 74 04 405 917. Yorùbá Nation Mọ́kí Movement. So mo ní èmi náà mo wá make inquiry pé kí ló dé tẹ̀ ń dá mi dúró fún wọ́dẹ̀ ti yọ. Now a ní a submit a lọ report Buhari àti gbogbo àwọn tó fẹ́ ṣe jàǹbá fún wa a gbé wọn lọ sí ICC. Ẹ rò pé nǹkan tó ń yá ni? ICC ń ṣe nǹkan tó ń yá. Ọdún mẹ́wàá nísìnyí wọ́n lè má ti gbé kéèsì yẹn jáde because wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ wá ṣe investigation ẹ̀. Wọ́n kọ̀ sọ pé yes àwọn ti gbà wọlé o and that is all. So àwa la máa ṣe continuity ìyẹn la ṣe ń link gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tá à ń sọ ìlà ń link ẹ̀ mọ́ra wọn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ka article yẹn díẹ̀ sí tó jáde ní 2021. Nigeria is a failed state. Àìtáírù Jẹ̀gáṣẹ́ wọn sọ fún mi ní 2023 pé tá ò bá restructure Nigeria by 2027. Ìgbà tó fẹ́ kanlẹ̀ tí gbogbo ẹ̀ máa kanlẹ̀ ní gbogbo ọ̀ tí mọ̀ but the more táwa bá ń fi tá à ń fi ná mọ́ tá à jẹ́ kó sú wa tá à jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ wá tá à ń jáde ní gbogbo gbà tá à dẹ̀ wà distracted. Ọ̀rọ̀ Mohbad kí ni káwọn ìpẹ́ lọ́rọ̀ Mohbad mo sorry kí ni káwọn ìpẹ́ lọ́rọ̀ Mohbad because èmi gan need the justice fúnra mi ẹni kí n máa wá justice fún Mohbad ìwọ tí wà justice fún family ẹ ní Nàìjíríà because Nàìjíríà ti affect the family mi tí mo ń try láti wá justice fún wọn. Àwa tá a ṣì wà láyé ká kọ́kọ́ wá justice fúnra wa náà ẹni ẹ̀ wá justice fún Mohbad justice tẹ́ ẹ̀ lè rí. So ìjà tí gbogbo wọn ń jà yẹn ìjà tó yẹ kí gbogbo àjọ jà lélẹ̀ pé kí gbogbo àjọ wá justice fúnra wa ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Because the system is just so corrupt and it's a system that is not designed to work in the first place. So let's go further and read. Kilo today, violation for Kini. Your life is flagged for personal information. Ó ti gbọ́ Mohbad, ṣẹ̀rí náà. So Mohbad mo dárúkọ ní sìn ló ṣe ń flag mi TikTok orí ọ̀pẹ. Ṣé personal information ni Mohbad? Kò ṣe public conversation. Jẹ́ ká continue jàre. So Nigeria has become a fully failed state of a critical geopolitical concern. mo dúpẹ́ fún ìyá wa fún super chat ẹ fún wa. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ fún wa super chat ẹ máa lọ sórí backup channel wa, ibẹ̀ lẹ ti lè fún wa, àbí kẹ́ send owó sínú àwọn platforms wa tẹ́ mọ̀, and it's voluntary. It is failure. At least ẹ bá tẹ̀ fún wa náà ẹ fi ń ṣe encouragement náà ni, àdẹ̀ndúpẹ́ fún yín náà bẹ́ ṣe ń fún wa, àdẹ̀mọ́ lórí. It is a failure matters because the peace and prosperity of Africa and preventing the spread of disorder and militancy around the globe depend on a stronger Nigeria. Its economic is usually estimated to be the Africa's largest or second largest after South Africa. Long West Africa hegemon. Nigeria played a positive role in promoting African peace and security. With the state failure, it can no longer sustain that vocation. In terms of Nigeria ò sí lábẹ́ àwùjọ kankan tó respect mọ́. So ìwọ ṣì wà níbẹ̀ tó ń sọ pé Nigeria, the most populous black nation. Lọ sí South Africa kó lọ sọ pé you're in Nigeria. Wá gba etí ẹ̀. Kenya is going to start giving visa free. We need more investors, need more people. Nigeria ò lè kóyàn kankan wá because the economy is going down. Let's go further. At almost 5 or 6 minutes before 5. We see how far more we can go. Mama Pati Shea close to 3 hours already. At 2 hours 51 minutes. Lórí program tá à ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí. Mo kíyà mi Tóyìn Dàda lẹ́ǹkan sí Ajayi. Wọ́n ní gradually we are moving there. People are so tired. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, may God help them to sọ̀rọ̀ sókè kíákíá. Ìjáyà mo rẹ́ gbọ́n mi látẹ̀kọ́ ẹ má bínú. Mo ṣe ń rí kọ́mẹ́ǹtì 36 bí ẹ ṣe darapọ̀ mọ́ mi ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ń pin ọ̀rọ̀ yín mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Nigeria is gone for real and nobody can fix it. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ìtẹ̀sẹ̀ ń jí. Ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń kírun àsùbá nísìn. Ọlọ́run àgbà. Àwa tá a lè lọ sí church náà láàárọ̀ yìí. Ọlọ́run àgbàdúrà wa. Kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀sìn. Ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń fà yìí. So let's go further again. Its security challenges are already destabilizing the West African region, and no placement is in sight. Its security challenges are already destabilizing the West African region in the face of the resurgent jihadism, making the battles of the Sahel that much more difficult to contain. Ìyẹn ni Àwùjalẹ̀ wá lọ fi Boko Haram fi jẹ oyè Gbọ̀bániyì of Yorùbá land. Oyè tán ní wọ̀ oyè yẹn wọ́n ti jẹ́rí o because ó dà pé bí ṣe program yẹn láàárọ̀ àwọn kan mix it up. Mo kí bàbá wa Kúnlé Ṣítà. Èyí tí mò ń sọ ni pé El-Rufai ló máa kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ ní outside tí Kúnlé ti dé òun máa fún mi lówó ètò kan tẹ̀ Ọlọ́run máa bọ̀ àṣírí ẹ̀ kò ní tán níbẹ̀ láéláé. Thank you so much, my brother. Èyí tí mo sọ ni pé oyè yẹn wọ́n ti fi ń jẹ́ fáwọn aráàlú àtàwọn Yorùbá, but it's going to be the first time tó máa fi jẹ́ fún outsider ẹni tó ń ṣọmọ Yorùbá in the 64 years tí Àwùjalẹ̀ ti wà lórí oyè, and Àwùjalẹ̀ became Àwùjalẹ̀ I think in the 60s bá ṣe gbọ́ láàárọ̀ tá à ṣe program ìyẹn lánàá rather. Thanks so much Kunle Bakers for the super chat. I will appreciate it so much. At least bá àwọn kan tó ń jẹ́ káwa náà máa ní encouragement ní àníyàn bá tẹ̀ sùn tó bá mọ̀ pé bá tẹ̀ wá ṣe program wà rí díẹ̀ náà jà kó tó máa lọ sùn. Yẹn bá ṣàlọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ wá sanwó fún yàn. Àdè tí wà lórí program láti 3 hours so £30 nìyẹn tí bá yẹ pé mo wà níbi iṣẹ́. Àwọn kan wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ nísìn tẹ́yìn náà ti lọ ṣiṣẹ́ kọ́ náà fún àrùn lálàáfíà. So what I'm just trying to say is that there are 4 kinds of nations: the strong, the weak, the failed, and the collapse. Gbogbo ẹni Nàìjíríà ní lọ́wọ́. Nàìjíríà ò strong mọ́ bí ti tẹ́lẹ̀. Tó bá ṣe ń tàn ẹ́ pé Nàìjíríà is strong, kò sí nǹkan kan tó strong mọ́. Bí a nígbà kan rí o, yes, Nàìjíríà náà strong tó tó bá wá London wọ́n máa lo visa fún ẹlẹ́nu ọ̀nà ni nígbà tí nǹkan ṣì ń lọ. But as we speak today, there are 4 kinds of nations. Èwo ni wọ́n fẹ́ ń bẹ̀? Do you want to be in the strong nation? Do you want to be in the weak nation? Or do you want to be in the collapsed nation? Presently, right now, Babawa Kambimosho ni already Nigeria has been collapsed. Could they say any remedy for? So, Bola Tinubu wan try pé òun fẹ́ wá remedy fún àwa hate àgbàdúrà kọ́dọ̀ máa fún ní ẹ̀mí gúngùn, but remedy tó fẹ́ wá yẹn àfẹ́rí. Kọ́dọ̀ fi ṣe ẹ̀ṣọ́ gbogbo wa. Bola Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ ó ti ń prepare Rufai fún yín tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ by 2031. Ìyẹn ló ṣe lọ sọ fún ọba Awùjalẹ̀ pé kó fi Rufai jẹ Gbọ́ba Níyì so that it will look like pé a ní good relationship or not. Ṣé ẹ ká ní relationship pẹ̀lú Boko Haram? According to the previously published research, estimated of the 193 members of the United Nations, 60 or 70 of them are strong. Adewale Olowu, one Chief Tinubu is a criminal. Àwọn lọ́kọ́ and any right láti kásítà. Ìbá yóò ṣe military platform. Ìtí àbá kọ ìtọ́fì lọ́kàn wọn nìyẹn. No institution is working in Nigeria. Ìbúdó ti fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ institution o. 60 to 70 countries are strong. The nations that rank highest in the listing of Freedom House, the Human Rights Report of the U.S. State Department, the Anti-Corruption Perception Indices of Transparency International, and so on. There are 3 places that should be considered collapse. That is Somalia, South Sudan, and Yemen. Nigeria will be listed in that in the next few years to come, even though it's collapsed already. 80 or 90 United Nations members are weak. Weakness consists of providing many, but not all of the essential public goods, the most important of which are security and safety. Nigeria cannot provide safety and security for any one of us. We all just wake up and we just pray that nothing happened to us. If citizens are not secure from harm within national borders, government cannot deliver good governance. The essential services that the citizens expect to their constituency. This is very, very important. I'm going to read that again. Màdé wo bí ṣe lè ṣàyàn gbé fún ẹ ní Yorùbá. Tí aráàlú tí wọ́n bá lè fún yín ní ààbò látara àwọn darandaran àtàwọn tó jẹ́ economic sabotage, because a kò máa ń sọ pé Fúlàní nìkan, they are also economic sabotage, because when tẹ́ bá dúró sí border line tí border yín ò ṣiṣẹ́, economic sabotage máa wọlé within the national borders. Bí ó ṣe affect bàbá wa Professor Moyo Okedeji, that is the border yẹn láti secure. Kò ń ṣe pé kó máa extort owó lọ́wọ́ aráàlú tó jọmọ ìlú. Now imagine tó bá jẹ́ pé Professor Moyo Okedeji tó bá jẹ́ pé ọ̀daràn tó fẹ́ wọlé náà ni tó ń gbé nǹkan bọ̀, bó ṣe máa jẹ́ kó wọlé náà nìyẹn after tó bá ti gbowó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Mo kí ẹ easy, kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, mo ti kí ẹ dáadáa síwájú. Kò sí bí ìjọba náà ṣe fẹ́ deliver ètò ààbò fún wa. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. This is 2021. Jẹ̀gáṣẹ́ wa ń sọ fẹ́mi àti yín pé Nàìjíríà wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ restructure by 2023. Òun náà tún dúró pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá Ayọ̀ Adébánjọ, àwọn bàbá tó ti jẹ́ tọ̀ìtọ̀ì. Ìmídélé bàbá yẹn náà. Lóòótọ́ wọ́n lè lówó tiwọn náà, bọ̀ kò sọ́gbọ́n ẹ̀. Ìjọba kan á máa fún wọn ní kankan lẹ́yìn. Ṣèbí Yorùbá ni gbogbo wa náà. Ṣẹ́yìn náà fẹ́mi náà ní kankan lẹ́yìn. Pé Kóìkì ìwọ náà má jẹ́ kó gbọ́, ìwọ náà gbà kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Aṣáàríṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe ní Yorùbá nation. So àwọn tíyàn bá jẹ́ forefront ara àgbádùn tí èèyàn máa gbádùn but iṣẹ́ là ń ṣe. Àwọn bàbá yẹn wá jókòó lórí restructure. So ẹ fẹ́ kémi náà jókòó títí lórí Yorùbá nation ká má ráyè lọ kí lè má ní ẹ fún mi lówó kí n má lọ set up proper business. Torí irú man tó sọ pé ẹ ṣe self determination là ń ṣe Yorùbá nation tó rojọ́ lẹ́yìn parapapa ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ṣe business ẹ lọ ṣe business nínú Nàìjíríà. Easy nìyẹn nísìn ilé iṣẹ́ ìlànà Amẹ́ríkà ó náà fẹ́ gbé lọ Jẹ̀bú-Òde. Mo ní ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ẹ má gbé lọ Jẹ̀bú-Òde kò sí security níbẹ̀ o. Wọ́n ní ṣe mo sure tẹ bá rí store tó ń control ó show video ẹ̀ fún mi ni pé a lè gbé business yẹn lọ sí Nàìjíríà but kò sí security kò sí ìdáàbòbò kankan even in Lagos State. Ìyàn kan ṣe wọn sọ Koiki ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ò yé yín mọ́ kò yé òun mọ́ ṣe self determination lẹ́ ń ṣe ni àbí Yorùbá nation ṣáàtì gba country náà àti gba country náà à ń propagate pa fẹ́ gba country òun ni àníyàn tá à ń gbé síwájú. Èmi ò wá bá yín nísìnyí bí àwọn bàbá Ayọ̀ Adébánjọ tó ti fi restructure tó ti fi múbẹ̀ wọ́n ti fi jẹ gbẹ̀gìrì wọ́n ti fi jẹ wédú ọwọ́ àjókòó lórí restructure èyí tí ẹ kí gbogbo wa nísìn ká wá púlì gbogbo string wa together ká púṣẹ̀ ká fà wálẹ̀ ká sọ pé a ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ̀. Mo sọ fún bàbá yẹn mo ní ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe press conference kẹ́ ẹ sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé Yorùbá country la fẹ́. Wọ́n ní náà àwọn àti bàbá Buhari làwọn jọ ṣe ìyẹn lèmi máa gbé dání sọ́wọ́. Mo délé bàbá yẹn níjẹ̀bú Igbó pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho Òòṣà ó dàbí olówó kan láàrin olóṣì. Ìyẹn lè fẹ́ ká máa ṣe. Ẹ lọ sí White House tí Glo kọ́ olówó kan láàrin olóṣì ni kò tẹ̀ fún wọn ní free wifi ládùúgbò ẹ̀ àfi tó bá ti update ẹ̀ nísìn. Glo tẹ́ ń rí yẹn Mike Adenuga àwọn olówó jàǹgàrà olówó tó ṣàánú ọmọ Yorùbá ṣé olówó làwọn yẹn ṣé olówó ni àwọn yẹn táwọn yẹn bá ń ṣe bí Ìgbòho ṣe ni a máa rí difference. Not even a free 30-minute internet kó fún wọn ládùúgbò ẹ̀ very beautiful house olówó kan láàrin olóṣì. Àmọ́ ni Mike Adenuga ló bàbá Mike Adenuga ló rẹ̀ irú Christmas ní sáà ní kó pẹran fún wọn lónìí kó pẹran kó sì rẹsì kò sí títì kò sọ́nà kò sí security. So how are you going to get essential services? Kí ló ń pè ní essential services? Òun lára audio tá gbọ́ láti brother wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣé ká tún play kẹ́tù gbọ́ ara yín bù máa ṣọ ìbóhùn tẹ̀ lówó láti fi tọ́jú ọmọ ẹ̀ ni. And we come out and we are telling our people that ṣé ẹ tún máa lọ dìbò tó bá di 2027 ṣé tún fẹ́ lọ dìbò. Ẹ ń jẹ́ kí àwọn Amẹ́ríkà máa sọ fún yín pé PVC ló máa fún yín ní hope PVC òṣì ẹ wá sọ di Amẹ́ríkà gan sẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ń dọ́gbọ́n sí gbogbo election tó ṣe ní year kan wọ́n náà rí gìbì kan láwọn state kan ní California easily confam ẹ̀. Ìwọ́ṣẹ́ wa ń sọ pé election tó jẹ́ pé ti Nàìjíríà UK ti kọ́kọ́ bá wọn rí ìgẹ̀ ní 1959 wọ́n jẹ́ kó ní stability. Mr. Pan kò ní gbàjẹ́ fún ẹ̀jàre òun náà ní Koiki kò ní sú ẹ kò ní rẹ̀ kó iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Èyí tẹ̀ ń kọrí jọ náà ni ìgbà tí mádébí náà bá sún ẹ pa Kúnlé Bèkà ó dẹ̀ máa fún mi lówó tí bá máa ṣe program máa yàtà jíǹtèmi kí o ti bá lọ ṣiṣẹ́ ni wọ́n á ṣàsanwó fún mi. Adẹ̀dúpọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ dẹ̀ fún wa bọ̀ kíyàn kan wá nìyẹn wọ́n fi Yorùbá nation opportunist ni wọ́n àti play ọdún yẹn kọjá yẹn tẹ́ bá ṣẹ̀ dé bí ẹ máa rí wọ́n ìsẹ́yìn ni. Gbogbo yẹn ẹ̀gọ́ yẹn ṣọ́ra yín o tẹ́ bá mọ tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ ẹ fi wá sílẹ̀. Bàbá kí tó yóò complain pé tó bá fẹ́ ṣe business ní Nàìjíríà tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ṣe business Yorùbá nation ẹ lọ́ máa ṣe business yìí náà ta ló dín in lọ́wọ́ mú. Àwa ń campaign ni campaigner làwa. Nígbà tá a kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ibẹ̀ náà là ń jókòó sí a máa ra wọ́kítọ́kì ara a kò fáwọn èèyàn ṣé mo kó lọ sí alábàlọ́ta ni. Nínú ẹ̀ ó dá kí la tún máa ṣe o ẹja tún ṣe léyìí a ṣe. So what are we talking about? We are still making effort. Olóyè Ìgbòho ládùúgbò ẹ̀ street mẹ́wàá ló tanná fún láti inú ilé tiẹ̀ gangan òun dẹ̀ ló fa gbogbo wáyà lọ síbẹ̀ kò rẹ̀ ń ṣe àwọn bọ́ọ̀bù kéékèèké ńláńlá dé pé wàá máa rí lẹ́ẹ̀lẹ́ street mẹ́wàá ló wà connected sínú ilé chief. Kọ́lọ́n kan pẹ̀lú wa ṣé ká gbé wálẹ̀ tó ṣe 3 hours. gbẹ́jẹ́ ká ka the last part ká gbé wálẹ̀ kí àwa àtàwọn lọ́nà ká lè lọ sùn padà. Mr. Jimoni, very scary my brother. Nigeria is no man's land, anything can happen. Mo kí bàbá Gani Oguns sọ yẹ ká gbé wálẹ̀ ká já wálẹ̀ kò sí bá ṣe fẹ́ parí program kan níjọ́ kan ìyẹn làwa ò ṣe ní máa sọ program mi jù pé self-determination campaigning towards the right to a country kò ń ṣe pé àti gba country àwa ń ṣe sẹ́ because ẹni yẹn kò àti mọ́dù gbogbo ẹ̀ up kí ni meaning self-determination kí ni meaning Yorùbá nation ní tá à ń fẹ́ àìrètí débẹ̀ we are still campaigning to get there through the right to self-determination which is a cardinal principle in the modern international law. Òfin àgbáyé allow tí mò ń ṣe. Wọ́n lè má like ní Nàìjíríà problem ti yín nìyẹn òfin àgbáyé allow ẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ wà under the United Nations resolution. A ti ní kọ́ pè wọlé ààrẹ ní tó pè wọlé so àti ṣí call láti almost half an hour ago. So we opened the phone line but nobody called in so we have to start winding down. We have opened the phone line. Why is self-determination important? Question táwọn èèyàn kàn ń béèrè lílé nísìnyàn lórí because the reason why we talked about it tonight is based on an audio. Aziz ti ń béèrè nǹkankan ọmọkàn wọn jẹ̀wọ́n àdéhùn ń sọ pé òun fẹ́ fún yàn lówó ìyẹn gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó tètè mú yẹn lọ. Àpò Amẹ́ríkà dẹ̀ lòún wà má máa lọ sí ibi tó ti máa lọ ra bọ́gà àbí nǹkankan so tí ní ju kankan wá. So kí ni important self-determination? Ẹ̀yà kankan send coffee mi sí Aziz kó bá mi ṣe tó kàn tiẹ̀. Mo jẹ́ bóde ara rẹ̀ kò ní tán bẹ́ẹ̀. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Wọ́n ní Simon Ekpa ló fẹ́ da Nàìjíríà rú. Some countries encouraging Simon Ekpa to destabilize Nigeria. Punch newspaper. Tí mọ̀ kankan. Ẹkún lẹ̀ ń sùn. Peter Pan kí lè sọ ẹni only we can free ourselves not the prayer not politics but share for the generation to make the ultimate sacrifice. Gbogbo wa lájọ máa make sacrifice. Bọ̀kọ́ ìkìwọ́ wà lábroad wo ló fẹ́ push mo sọ fún yín pé 72 hours àwa náà máa wà nísàlẹ̀ mú kí ẹ àlùkà kárọ̀ mọ̀pá yẹn ti fẹ́ kí àṣùbà àti wà lórí ètò láti 3 hours ago so ẹ̀ǹtẹ̀báṣẹ́ ń fẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa àkìyí. So mo fẹ́ ka bẹ̀rẹ̀ padà níbo ni self-determination tí mo ń kà lọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Ó ní why is self-determination important? Kí ni important nǹkan tá à ń ṣe yìí? Mo kí bàbá mi ṣeun. What is the important? Self-determination empowers us to control our own lives because it allows us to appropriate decisions or choices offered through life. This support increasing enable persons with different disability to go to school. We can change the phrase here. Live independently. We are not living independently in that shit of country, Nigeria today. So, function of self-determination. Self-determination is an idea that includes people choosing and setting their own goals. More reading my 1, 2, 3. Atiba type síbẹ̀. The noble goal, the noble path. Bàbá Kito yìí ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ lọ ka 35 manu àwọn ìdí tá a ṣe fẹ́ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà. It's all about the noble goal and the noble path. Ṣé noble path la wà nínú Nàìjíríà àbí noble goals la wà nínú ẹ̀? Ní Jẹ̀gáṣẹ́ wọn sọ feminist pé ẹ jẹ́ ká ka tiẹ̀ náà. Nigeria is a failing state. Atairu Jega calls for restructuring before 2027. He insisted that Nigeria will be considered a failed state. No, it's not considered. Ó ti wà considered ti pẹ́. Ṣèbí lára iná lòun náà ti ń jẹ. Bàbá òun náà ṣáà lówó tó gbà nígbà tó ń ṣe INEC chairman. Kò lè tóun náà gbà ni. Ta ló fẹ́ máa parọ́ fún? If it does not provide security, welfare, and the basic needs of a citizen. A former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has joined calls for the restructuring of the country before 2027, saying Nigeria is a failing state. He insisted that Nigeria will be considered a failed state if it does not provide for security, welfare, and the basic needs of a citizen. Mélòó ni wọ́n provide for anything? So, lọ́kàn yín, ẹ ń rò pé Tinubu máa fún yín ní security, ó máa fún yín ní welfare and the basic needs of life. Maybe I should tell you where the inflation stands today in Nigeria. Ní October this year, inflation was 27.33%. Ní November, ó ti wọ 28.20%. Tó bá máa fi di January tó bá máa sọ di December, á ti máa lọ sí 29. The inflation rate has actually increased by 0.87% point in November 2023. Kí ni yẹn mean fún èmi àti ìwọ, because gbogbo percentage Koiki kò yé mi, bá mi break it down sí layman. Owó rẹ̀ sì wá ṣeré jàre, mo ti rí signal easy dollar kò ní tán bẹ́ẹ̀, ó kó tọ́jú àbúrò ẹ̀. Mo ní kó bá mi lọ bèrè paint rice ní Ìbàdàn, it was 5,000 naira. Wọ́n bèrè the same paint of rice, one paint, ó ti yé yín, àwọn tó wà ní ó ti yé wọn, kò ń ṣe bag, 6,500. Tó bá máa fi di week tá a tún fẹ́ mú yìí nísìn, tí bá tún ní kó lọ bèrè price yẹn, á tún tún change. In tán pè ní inflation nìyẹn, just the basic. Èyí tán sugar, ẹlòmíì ò tẹ̀ra, èèyàn mélòó ló ń fi sugar mu gàrí mọ́ nísìn. Food inflation, ìyẹn ló wá burú jù. Bí ṣe wà báyìí nísìn, wọn pé lẹ̀ ti mọ́, so ikùn mi gan, àwọn aràn ikùn mi ti ń sọ fún mi pé ọmọ o máa fi nǹkan kan síkùn kó tó lọ sùn. That means màá wá wọnú kitchen mi, kí ni mo lè jẹ kó tẹ̀ tó dípò máa ṣe jollof rice yẹn tán, àbí puff puff tá a máa dín láàárọ̀, àbọ̀rọ̀ mi yé nísìn. Kí ló dé tí oúnjẹ ń wọ́n nílẹ̀ Yorùbá? Àlùkà, mo mọ̀ bí ó ṣe wà lórí program bó ti sá lọ, tó bá wà bá nǹkan fáàmì, oko tó ní Ìlọrin ní Kwara, nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ movement ló lose gbogbo ẹ̀ látara one thing or the other. Èkó ń gbé, but ó ní farm tó tóbi ní Òkè Ọya lọ́hùn. Inú movement ló ti ṣàdánù ẹ̀, kọ́lọ́ má jà ṣe pàdánù kan. Because nígbà tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ irú wọn, nígbà tá join wa, tí wọ́n dẹ̀ pé àwọn iṣẹ́ kan wà tó ń ṣe tí wọ́n síbi tí wọ́n sọ̀hún, kò mójútó kó yẹn. Àwọn tó ní kó bá àwọn mójútó, ọmọ ọ̀pá gbogbo ẹ̀rẹ́ ni, gbogbo nǹkan tó gbìn síbẹ̀ pátá. Àwọn ọ̀tẹ̀ Fúlàní ò tẹ̀ wá disturb wọn, but gbogbo oko tó ṣe pátá, ẹ mọ̀ pé ó yẹn kẹ̀lẹ́lẹ́ la máa fi ń raise owó, because wọ́n ti pump owó sínú ẹ̀, kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe mechanized farming. Wọ́n máa kọ ebè, wọ́n máa ṣe this, àwọn náà máa gba àwọn èèyàn. So tó bá ti gbá gbogbo èrè oko yẹn, wàá lọ ta, ibẹ̀ làwọn náà máa ti rí owó wọn padà, wàá san gbèsè lóònù tó gbà. Àwọn tó ní kọ́ bá wọn manage ó jẹ gbogbo ẹ̀tàn. Èèyàn kan ṣẹ̀wọ̀n ń sọ pé ká ṣe Yorùbá nation, tó bá yẹ pé business la fi máa ṣe lọ sí Amẹ́ríkà. Ká ló ní kẹ́ má ṣe, ní tó bá wọn ní kẹ́ ṣe business lọ. Ìlú tó gbádùn, ìlú tó ní system. Kí ló dé tí food inflation as at November wọ́n ní accelerate? Kí ló mean by that? Nígbà míì wọ́n máa wọnú mọ́tò ní ọmọ driver sáré díẹ̀díẹ̀ náà, má lọ jáàmù wa o. Food inflation ní Nàìjíríà ó ti accelerate to 32.84%. Bàbá mi Táíwò sọ pé one bag of short grain rice is 49,000 naira, while the long grain rice is 59,000 naira as at yesterday. Kò tẹ́ ká máa, ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ báàgì, àní mo ní kọ́ lọ bá mi ná paint lásán, paint ọ̀dà. Èèyàn mélòó ló ń ra báàgì rice? Olówó ló ra báàgì rice nìyẹn. Nígbà tí ẹ bá ní kọ́ ra báàgì rice 59,000, ṣé ẹ̀ tún ní fún olówó ọbẹ̀? Oko Tálùkà lose nínú movement ní 3 years ago. Kò ń ṣe kékeré, because òun ò ráyè lọ mójútó mọ́ níbi pé a ti ń ṣe movement lọ. So ẹ má máa sọ̀rọ̀ pé àwọn tó wà nílé wọ́n níṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe náà, wọ́n níṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe. Èkó ló ń gbé lóòótọ́, but ó ń lọ lé gbogbo ìgbà ló ń lọ Ìlọrin. Ẹ̀dà nǹkan tó bá ti kọ́ ibẹ̀ yẹn tó kó ti ń lọ, àwọn máa padà, àwọn kan ló máa bá wọn monitor ẹ̀. But within pé movement yẹn ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí busy ní 3 years ago, kò ráyè lọ́lé frequently. Nígbà tó máa fi lọ́lé báyìí, gbogbo èrè oko yẹn pátá kò rẹ́ ẹyọ kan mú jáde ńbẹ̀, ó dẹ̀ níyàwó lọ́mọ. So sometimes when taba fi pa wa ta wà ní diaspora, àwọn tó wà nílé wọn lazy, they are not lazy. It's just that things have become very uncomfortable because of intijegan sọ pé Nigeria ò lè provide the security, kò lè provide the welfare, kò dẹ̀ lè provide the basic needs of the people. Mo tún fẹ́ dìde, mo fẹ́ nà sẹ́ni, mo á tún fẹ́ play fẹ́yìn tẹ̀sẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa cause ẹja gbọ́n tí brother mi ti bá dé mo lè ibi tí bá gbọ́ dé náà la máa stop ẹ̀ máa ṣe program lọ again. Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí arákùnrin send sí mi. That's one of the paints is for àní ní Kìtì lánàá 6,500 lọ́ra fún mi. Paint rice paint bucket mo mi kékeré nígbà tó bá ní kó ra báàgì rice ò ní sún wọn lówó ata ò ní fún wọn lówó epo nígbà tó dẹ̀ ń ṣe rice nìkan nìyẹn máa jẹ. Mo ń padà bọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i.
ẹ kọ́ lẹ́sà ẹ kú ṣẹ́yìn. This is 10:23 p.m. alẹ́ mo ṣe ń wọlé láti bí around 4 o'clock. I want to share my experience with you, sir. Lẹ́yìn wọ́n á pè baby mi that's 1 and 8 months old ni 1 year and 8 months old. Ọ́fíìsì mo wà nígbà tí wọ́n ṣàrí pé ara ń fún mi. Mo kàn rí pé mo wá wo ṣọ́ọ̀bù ìyàwó mi wá rí pé kò sí ńbẹ̀. Mo wá wò sàlẹ̀ mo ṣàrí pé wọ́n ń sọrí ọmọ ẹ̀ sí sàlẹ̀ sọ́sọ́kò. Wọ́n ò gba ọmọ mi lélẹ́yìí. But bàtà tó máa fi débẹ̀ bàtà máa fi débẹ̀ ṣá ó sì lajú ó dákú. Àwọn Yorùbá sọ pé gìrì wọ́n sọ pé gìrì ní kíní yẹn. So mo ṣàní pé kàn gbé lọ sí health center àjọ èmi fúnra mi lọ health center yẹn mo ní kí wọ́n ṣe test fún pé mo fẹ́ mọ nǹkan tó ṣe. I ṣe test ní health center yẹn that is the local government Olúyọ̀lé local government ibẹ̀ gangan local government wà ó. Wọ́n ṣe test kì í ṣe proper test o just àwọn test tó máa gba ẹ̀jẹ̀ láti fíńgà ẹ̀ kékeré sí nǹkan. Wọ́n ní kò sí malaria lára ẹ̀. So mo ní kó má fún lábẹ́rẹ́ torí gírì pé oògùn ló ń kọ oògùn yẹn wọ́n lọ rà. So mo á pe moxim láti Èkìtì pé ọmọ ẹ̀ ti dákú tó lé ní o pé ara ẹ̀ gbóná gan. Wọ́n á ní kí lọ wá nǹkan kan nǹkan yẹn mo ṣe wá tí mo wá ní búkàkiri bí i jẹ́ rí ẹ̀yọ̀kan péré mo rí ewé aparun àwọn nǹkan méjì tó kù mo ń wá mi rí. Ibẹ̀ mo wà tó pè ń pé oye tún ṣe bí oye tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ oye tún ṣe o táìmù yẹn ó ti lọ sí bíi 5 máa ní kó máa gbé lọ sí ìgboro. That place mi kàn lè mọ iye kìlómítà ẹni bùsọ̀ at least èèyàn ṣàrìnrìn bíi 1 hour 30 minutes or 2 hours torí ó dọ̀kú wà lọ́nà everything. So ó jìnnà gan sí Mọ̀lété ìyẹn Mọ̀lété Ìbàdàn ni ọ. Mo gbọ́ ní kó gbéyà sí health center ti state government. Mo padà pé ó ní health center yìí pé wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ wọ́n ti close. Ok mo ní kó máa gbé lọ private yẹn ibẹ̀ náà ló bímọ sí nígbà kan but by the time máa fi débẹ̀ wọ́n lọ ṣe test yẹn ni I expect kó jáde ní ọmọ yẹn tún ṣe kíní yẹn wọn ni wọ́n máa lọ sí di tó jẹ́ major field wọn pé mo lọ bá wọn pé where is doctor wọn ni pé doctor wọ́n kò sí lára doctor kó tó kó bíìsì pé kíní kan mo fẹ́ rí doctor I want to talk to doctor. Wọ́n ní pé àwọn tó wà mẹ́rin náà ló máa attend sí mo ní no pé mo fẹ́ rí doctor gangan. So títí mi yára rí doctor mo yára ní doctor ti prescribe pé wọ́n ló máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tó máa ṣe before kí tó dé nígbà tó kọ́ gbọ́mọ ìwà mo ní kó máa gbé lọ pé mò ń bọ̀ wá bá. So mo á ní òkè nígbà tí wọ́n ṣe kí ni wọ́n ti jẹ́ kí ìsọ̀tì ẹ̀ kú dẹ́kun jáde wọ́n ṣáà abẹ́rẹ́ wọn fún lábẹ́rẹ́ direct wọ́n bí drip wọ́n fún ní àwọn injection kan through drip so láti stop kìíní yẹn aṣáà fi kíní sẹ́nu ẹ̀ kó wọ́n torí wọ́n má bàa tutù àbí kó má bàa sọ́yìn kó wọ́n ṣáà di ọwọ́ ẹ̀ mú so mo díẹ̀ tẹ̀ mú so ìgbà tára ẹ̀ wá balẹ̀ díẹ̀ wọ́n á ní pé yes owó wa o owó test tó ń ṣe fún ìyàwó mi jẹ kọ́kọ́ mú yẹn lẹ̀ so wọ́n á ní èlò wà ní wọ́n ní wọ́n máa rìfà ẹ̀ wọ́n máa àbí ṣáà wọ́n yẹn máa ń sọ́jàre àsìkò ó máa stay hospital pé because wọ́n á fún drip wọ́n á fún ní kínní pé dọ́tọ̀ ní pé kò lè lọlé pé because wọ́n máa treat ẹ̀ mọ́jú ni pé so pé wọ́n máa admit ẹ̀ so máa ní òkè pé owó mi tí mo máa san is 34,000 wọ́n ní 34,000 kí ló ń ṣe fún pé nítorí ibi tó fẹ́ sùn àbí bẹ́ẹ̀dì tẹ́ máa fún ní 34,000 wọ́n ní òye ẹ̀ nìyẹn pé ókè mo níwẹ̀ẹ́ a lè gbé lọlé ọ̀dọ̀ wá jìnnà nítorí mo gbọ́ pé àwọn àbúrò pé there is another place tó mọ̀ tí mo lè gbọ́mọ ẹ lọ wọ́n á ní ilẹ̀ ti ṣú wọ́n ní òkè tí dọ́tọ̀ bá tẹ̀ dé àwọn dọ́tọ̀ tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ mẹ́rin sà àwọn dọ́tọ̀ láti usage ni o torí ìgbà tí mo tán tó bí mo síbẹ̀ mo fi ní gbogbo àṣírí yẹn àwọn usage something ló ní hospital wọn yẹn so wọ́n á mú mi dé rúùmù tí ọmọ yẹn máa sùn mo bá ọmọ òbíkókò tó yẹ bí ń bẹ̀ sí point kan mo fẹ́ dùn bẹ́ẹ̀ ọkọ̀ nìyẹn tẹ́kí máa náyé kí ni mo bá ọmọ òkókó kan bẹ̀ ọmọ tí mo bá ń bẹ̀ wọ́n ṣẹ̀ bí ọmọ yẹn wọ́n fi net bọ́ so wọ́n á wo ibi tí mo ní òkè bẹ́ẹ̀dì tí ọmọ yìí dà wọ́n á rí bẹ́ẹ̀dì ọmọ kékeré náà lọ́wọ́ abẹ́ wọ́n á wò pa ibo ni ìyá ẹ̀ fẹ́ sùn aláboyún ìgbọ̀nbọ̀ ló fẹ́ sùn kọ́ gbogbo ògiri kún fẹ́ jẹ àṣẹ báyà mosquito báyà dùn ní gbogbo ẹbí wọn níbẹ̀ náà màṣá ìyàwó ọmọ mi kò lè sùn sí ìbàyí rárá pé ṣé nǹkan tó máa sọ 34,000 naira sí lélẹ̀ ṣé bí tó máa fẹ́ sùn lélẹ̀ so mo pa àtìsà lọ bá àwọn nọ́ọ̀sì yẹn pé you ask me to pay 34,000 naira pé ṣé kò possible kan treat ọmọ yẹn I want to see doctor pé kan treat ọmọ yẹn so that kí n gbọ́mọ yẹn lọ lé kó lọ sùn wọ́n á ní pé wọ́n ò lè gbé lọlé o pé wọ́n ò lè gbé lọlé because of that condition pé because kékeré yẹn bá ti wo orí ẹ̀ pé kò dáa so màá ní òkè wọn ò ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì ni wọ́n ní wọn ò ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì báwo ni hospital ṣe ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ wo gbogbo everything mo ní báwo ni hospital ṣe ní nẹ́ẹ̀tì tí wọ́n á lọ sí ìwé ṣe wá rí building yẹn ibi níwọ̀n tó yẹ kọ́ yẹn á tó bí 3 floor 4 floor second floor ní lọ́nìkà stage wọn ní òkè wọn ní private room wà sáà ọkọ̀ dùn gbé mistake tí mo ṣe gbogbo àwọn mo ṣe nígbà yóò jẹ́ kí n lè kámẹ́rà àwọn private room yẹn táyé private room yẹn wọn ní òkè bed sheet everything kọ́ ìyẹn náà àwọn mo ní àwọn ẹ̀jẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan mo ní pé private room tẹ́tún mú wa lọ léèsì báyìí mo ṣẹ̀ wá sí léèsì ni mo ṣẹ̀ dé léèsì ni tí mo ń pè pé alpha àwọn onídọ́tò tó wọ bọ́sọ̀ pé tọ́lẹ̀tì bẹ̀rẹ̀ rùn pé dọ́tọ̀ yẹn jáde pé kàn go àlọ́sàn kan refer ẹ̀ sí another place so ibi tí wọ́n refer ẹ̀ sí náà débẹ̀ ni oníṣà fọ gbogbo tọ́lẹ̀tì yẹn for everything òun wá tì pa so wọ́n ní pé ní special another private kid mo máa tó yẹ tó máa stay sí yẹn pé màá sọ another 10,000 mọ́wọ́ yẹn á jẹ́ 44,000 naira orí yẹn láṣà wà tájà fà títí wẹ́ wọ́n á jókòó wọn ní pé wọ́n lọ́hùn tó tẹ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ mi mo kọ́ wò pé tó yẹ tó ń bá ṣe pé wọ́n ní àtẹ́nìsí pé wọ́n ní àtẹ́nìsí o pé kí n san half payment kí n ṣàṣàn kí n deposit ok 10,000 àbí 9,000 wà lọ́wọ́ mi mo wọkọ̀ débẹ̀ ọkọ̀ 8,000 mo kó 8,000 yẹn lẹ̀ mo tún wá wọnú àkáǹtì mi 19,000 kan mo tún kó lẹ̀ ó jẹ́ 27,000 mo máa ń tó wá di ọ̀la kan yàrá mi treat ọmọ yẹn kárí abalẹ̀ mo wá pé mọ́ mi wọn náà ti bá mi wá gbogbo àwọn agbo ilẹ̀ tútù agbo gírí everything wọn ló bá mi ṣe wọn á fi rán láti ṣe látẹ̀kìtì kí wọ́n á gbà lọ́la ṣe rí mo dẹ̀ jáde mo dẹ̀ wo àyíká mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ máa sọkún kò sí nǹkan tó pa mí lẹ́kùn o ju pé ṣé ayé ni a wá ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí pé ṣé ayé la wá ẹ̀ pé this is not life kìlómítà yẹn á tó bí 200 and more than 200 kilometre síbi tí mo wà pé ibi tí local government wà pé kò sí standard hospital mbẹ tí èèyàn lè gbọmọ lọ nǹkan tó jáde tèmi lọ gbọmọ jẹ pé tí wọ́n á ṣẹlẹ̀ lóru nǹkan bọ́lá fẹ́ gbéyà sí. so wọ́n á ní pé irú ayé wo la wá ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pé ìyà ń jẹ wá o mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wá ronú sí so many things mo tún wá ronú sí pé nígbà tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé ká gbòmìnira people don't know let's say I didn't have anything bóyá láti àárọ̀ náà iṣẹ́ mo ṣe ń ṣiṣẹ́ kan náà mo ṣiṣẹ́ mo fi rí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn gádà tí màá rí kankan drop ṣé they will not wọn ní attend sọmọ yẹn káwọn many people tó yẹ pé they cannot avoid 1,000 naira ẹ̀wọ̀n ìyàwó tó ń kú pa ní èdè nítorí pé they can't avoid money láti take care wọn. mo dẹ̀ ń sọkún lálẹ́ pé àwọn ọmọ tá a bí mo dẹ̀ ń in fact mo dẹ̀ torí mo lọ fẹ́ ra tíì tó máa mu gbogbo mọ̀lẹ́tẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ etí yẹn mo ní mo fẹ́ rún gbogbo náà ọ̀dọ̀ wá jìnnà hospital kìí hospital tó yẹ pé èèyàn lè rún gbogbo náà báyà kọ́ wọ̀ mú gbogbo náà kàn ṣe anything nothing like that wọ́n á bẹ̀ sí rìn káàkiri ìgbà tí mi rí anything wọ́n á lọ ra Hollandia yogurt coke àti biscuit.
àti gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan mo kàn fẹ́ ká tọ̀ tún gbọ́ nígbà tí mo fi dìde ni ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá ṣẹ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tẹ bá rí wáìnì just few more minutes náà lókù tó máa fi tán anyway but I wanna move swiftly because àti náà máa parí program yẹn ní 5 but àtúntò wọ 5:30 báyìí but àní ṣe more than 30 minutes if anything anyhow this program ends at 6 so that kémi náà lè padà sí bed ká lè tún lọ fi ara sílẹ̀ díẹ̀ torí àtúntò máa tún fẹ́ wá ní Sunday broadcast later lágbára lọ mo kí àmì lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tí ẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Ṣẹ́gun Ọ̀nà ẹ ṣé gan ni mo rí ọwọ́ yín ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà ẹ kú tọ́jú platform wa. Some countries encouraging Simon Ekpa to destabilize Nigeria. Ṣé ìlú kan ló máa encourage Simon Ekpa àti pé Àtàrí Jẹ̀gá sọ pé Nigeria fúnra rẹ̀ tẹ́ bá restructure ẹ̀ ó ti ń di failed state o. He insisted that Nigeria will be considered a failed state if it does not provide for security, welfare, and the basic needs of a citizen. Àtàrí Jẹ̀gá affirmed his position on the state of the country's political economy while delivering a lecture safeguarding Nigeria's future. Safeguarding Nigeria's future. Can we safeguard the Nigerian future? About in the comment section. Is it possible for us to safeguard a nation that does not speak the same language, have different ideology, have different reasons why we are saying that we cannot be linked with that nation anymore because that nation stole our real identity? But Jega is saying that we need to safeguard Nigeria's future. How many people wants to safeguard the future of Nigeria? I put in the comment section and let us read from you. How many of you still want to believe that 2027 election is the solution to our current state of things in the country? Many say that election was the right way. They went for that election. You allow these corrupt politicians to deceive you, the ones that have taken away power from the military and they become so powerful in wealth. They've stolen the wealth of every one of us to become powerful that Even if you speak against them, they will run hire killer and they will kill you. And I'm talking about every single one of these politicians. They will intimidate you. Babami Adeyemi, Olayemi, there is no one that can safeguard Nigeria. But Atairo Jega say it is our all collective effort that we safeguard the future of Nigeria, prioritizing the citizens' welfare, the security amidst challenges at the maiden convocation of the Bauchi State University. I don't believe Nigeria is a failed state, but we must realize that Nigeria is failing state. And if we put it in jeopardy and don't safeguard it, then the worst can happen. Everybody knows Jega is an intelligent man, but he's still speaking in parables. He's not speaking like Koiki Media. He's not Mukiyawa Taiwo Kike Eshegoni. And it was good speaking with you again yesterday. So most of them, they speak in parables. Just like your church and your mosque. They're not speaking the kind of language to say, this country is dead. Everybody is still speaking in parables. But what will make you and me to continue to voice out is, I'm just mixing, the platform from one side to the other. So I'm going to take us back to food inflation in 2023. Osarisi 32.84%. Let's read this. I am not the one making this up. This is coming from the National Bureau of Statistics in that contraction you call Nigeria. Clement, say back to back. God bless you, sir. Now, so we they do amo. Now back to back. When people they sleep, me I stay there awake. When they are awake, me I they sleep. Thank you so much, Mr. Clement. Oh, hey, Biafra. Military say some countries encouraging Simon Ekpa to destabilize Nigeria. We're coming there in a minute. According to the Bureau of the National Statistics, says that the November 2023 headline inflation rate showed that there was an increase of 0.87 percentage point in the November 2023 headline inflation compared to October. On a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 6.73% point higher compared to the rate recorded in November, which is now 21.46%. On a month-to-month basis, the headline inflation rate in November 2023 was 2.09%, which was 0.35% higher than the rate recorded in October 2023, which is 1.73. This means that in November 2023, this year, the rate of increase in the average price level is more than the rate of increase average price level in October. Babawade Yemini, every one of them knew Nigeria is a failed country, but they're afraid of speaking the truth to the power to be. According to the report, the food inflation rate in October 2023 accelerated to about 32.84%. Babawa Israel, Yoruba nation is absolutely the only answer. People, Yoruba people are still trying to play politics instead of us to come out and say the way it is that this country is completely gone. But because Bola Tinubu is there, they have friends there now. They have somebody that looks like them. Everybody wants to go to Abuja and be wearing, agbada, El-Rufai is preparing for 2031, if you don't know. And that is if there's going to be 2031. Because Jega is now saying that there's likely that 2027 is not even sure based on the current state of things right now. Now, food inflation. The rise in food inflation on a year-to-year basis was caused by the increase in the price of bread and the cereals, oil and fat, potatoes, yam, and other tubers, fish, fruit, meat, vegetables, coffee, tea, cocoa. On a month basis, the food inflation rate in November 2023 was 2.42%. of these was 0.51% higher compared to the rate recorded in October 2023. Food prices have been steadily increasing in Nigeria in the recent years, and the situation worsened due to the impact of the government policy, including the removal of fuel subsidy. We are all now in one chance. So that is on that one. Now let's come back one more time before we start winding down. We talk about self-determination. Why is it self-determination, and what does it mean? So we've been looking at different points of self-determination. So somebody asks again, what does self-determination mean? Kilo mean gongon. Koiki, every day they talk about self-determination. What does it mean? I just want to turn off the heater again because it's been on and it's getting a little bit too hot for my head. I'm coming back on my seat in a few minutes.
Elomora book away is other bonus be 1,000 something. Shen to Akus low Master for Yaki at daily because in Gota Fish, sending Kinde, would or lolly. To where you know, kill it to a butter, not charge, but movie jet off to follow. So, push a word out around you, Okolope, to the door, I feel about the shoe. And remote or my back on Wari tomorrow money.
So we leave that, my brother, for now. What does self-determination mean? Because there was another audio that we played. If you're joining us, you will have to go back about an hour away into the program. Tima Arakunie, Latin America, Koiki, Yoruba Nation, Lenshi, self-determination. You know, it looks like you've modeled everything. No, we haven't modeled anything together. We are fighting for Yoruba Nation that we don't have yet. There's no word that says that there's a Yoruba Nation as a country. It used to be before, until the fraudulent amalgamation, which we are now trying to de-amalgamate. And it's going to happen. Koiki, you are all joking. It's going to happen. Election will not solve the problem. Military will not solve the problem. All this one way that they cry, they are aired out now. Simon Ekpa is encouraged by some country to destabilize Nigeria. You are wasting your time. According to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, another Fulani bastard, said on Friday that the military was gaining nothing from the fight against insecurity in many parts of the country. Let them deal with the Boko Haram like El Rufai that brought those Boko Haram into Nigeria and so many of them like that. Dele Alake said, and I quote, the illegal mining and the banditry happening in Nigeria is not by Simon Ekpa, it's by people known as powerful Nigerians. And it's again there, December 12, powerful Nigerians involved in illegal mining and terrorism. So why is this bastard, Chief of Defense Staff talking about Simon Ekpa? It should be talking about, it should be asking Dele Alake, who are these businessmen? Who are these powerful people? The Minister of Solid and Mineral Resources, Mr. Dele Alake, on Tuesday said some powerful Nigerians involved in illegal mining, they are the ones sponsoring banditry and terrorism in the country. So why is he talking about Simon Ekpa? According to him, the military daily loses troops in the ongoing fight against insecurity across the country, across the federation, adding that he has nightmares. Why are the troops losing? Mukia Wabulatife, good morning. And you say, good morning, lecturer Koiki and everyone in the class. Because this is a lecture room. You take the one that you want, and you disburse the one that you don't want, you put it in the bin. But one thing we can all agree is that just like Tairu Jaga is saying that the country is failed, I have been saying the same thing because Babakitoye told us that that is the only option. Exit Nigeria. So if Dele Alake has given us the hint. Why is the military saying that they are losing military men every day? I don't want any military guy to die. But again, when somebody like Buratai stole the money that is meant to use to fix the problem that will dissolve the insecurity, they killed Tolulopa Rotile. Why was she killed? The first helicopter combat pilot in the history of Nigeria. Yes, she was killed in the base, military base, because she knew how to kill the terrorist. So some businessmen did not like that. And as long as there is banditry, there's terrorism, there will be instability in the country. And when there's instability, you cannot do anything. There will be cost of food that will be rising. There will be cost of things that will be rising, cost of logistics that will be rising, and we are all in a big mess. We are 15 minutes away to the end of the program. So Musa spoke about how he's having nightmare. Oshimani nightmare tokpo, because he needs to go and ask Dele Alake, who are these individuals, the powerful people that you talked about? Because Dele Alake says powerful Nigerians are the one involved in illegal mining. They are also the ones sponsoring banditry and terrorism in the country. TJ Babasokwe, my Yoruba people, all we need now is action in this bad element leadership. And we have talked about action, but I'm not going to be promoting that for now because everybody knows that I have said it 3 years ago, and I'm not repeating my words anymore. We go through the M1, it will make things better. And talk about meaning M1, Emma below in the comment section. That's all I'm going to say. That is going to be what will pull down the system. So the military is concerned about Simon Ekpa, but they are not concerned about what Dele Alake is saying, that and what don't fund the terrorism and banditry are powerful Nigerians. Who are these powerful Nigerians? I don't have their name as well. We can talk from now to thy kingdom come. It will just enlighten us. But if we do not add action to it, like TJ Baba says, we will be here talking just as Baba Adebanjo talk under Afenifere, and they fought each other there. There's two leadership, Fashion Roti. All these are old men that have done their time. And when Lashindrode kawa fún wa ní direction, bá ṣe fẹ́ lọ. Oh yes, Baba Akintoye must say that we are not going to go through certain drills. But Baba Akintoye himself knows very well that those are the drills that will end up this movement. But I don't expect him to come and tell you. But at least he has been bold enough to say that we should not remain Nigerians. Why these other ones that are 95, that Koto Gbese, Kibaba Adebanjo, Koto G, Koto Norma prepare won't lọ see any event. It has to be like 3 hours ahead because they are now in their old age. They are still in their old age. And at the end of the day, àwọn yẹn làwọn wá ń dúró dè. Oh, ẹ ń dúró dè Tinubu tó lè tó bó ṣe wà nísìnyí ọmọ olódò ọdẹ kò lè ṣe 4 hours interview non-stop bí Putin. Kò ń ṣe pé a fi ń yọ̀, kò ní strength ẹ̀, kò ní capacity ẹ̀. Ẹ lọ wo interview tí Putin grant 4 hours, and questions were asked, they were all unscripted. Ṣé Tinubu lè ṣe? More than 12 million people wanted to call into the program. Only few ample of them got through to Putin. Questions were asked up to anything you can ask him. So when some of you are hoping that one day Tinubu will give you autonomy, it will restructure, it will give us regional government, you're all joking. If he's going to do that, he needs to act now. Not saying, calculate. Call on for let me Google. So Musa spoke during the maiden parley with journalists in Abuja on Friday. According to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa cautioned the citizens against demoralizing the troops from effectively discharging their constitutional duty with their action. Which constitutional duty? Mukiawa Grace Olushoto. Which constitutional duty? Because we know that the 1999 Constitution is a military diktat. So which one is it talking about? The one that they created to favor themselves. All these criminal bastard, calling themselves military men, like Buratai and the rest of them, that destroy the real military men that are ready to defend, the territorial border of Nigeria. Tony Atimu, but we don't have weapons, we don't have this. Military vehicle is dying along the road. They are pushing. I mean, how can they be pushing armor tank? They turn that one to like downfall. Money that have been kept, to fund the military guys, they could not use it judiciary for them, and it's not telling me and you that we should encourage the military. Shouldn't me go encourage military where you not give well? Especially, with the same military guys that put together, the fraudulent 1999 Constitution that we are all using today. We are just calm down. He also went further. He alleged that some individuals and countries were sponsoring Simon Ekpa to destabilize the country. Sheikh Ori Christopher Musa, whatever. I hope he knows what he's talking about. That some people and countries are the ones sponsoring Simon Ekpa to destabilize the country. Which country? We don't have a country. Which country is he talking about? The fake country that the British put together in 1914 amalgamation. The country that they gave us, and at the end of the day, they still control 50% of it from outside. The country that doesn't respect me as a Yoruba man. The country that has no value, even within African countries. So which country is he talking about? Simon Ekpa, the PM of the Biafra, is doing exactly what needs to be done, which is called self-determination. And not just that alone. Let me remind you, as I go on my website, there are a couple of things that allow Simon Ekpa to do exactly what he's doing. And one of that is what they called Declaration on the Granting of Independent People or Colonial Countries, according to the General Resolution 1514, 14th of December 1960. The Biafra have the right for the campaign that they are doing. Also, under the human right of the, according to the, 1 minute. According to the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, the Biafra have every right. United Nations Declaration on the right of the indigenous people. And it goes like this quickly. We won't be able to read everything tonight, but we'll come back again. Resolution was adopted by the General Assembly on the 13th of September 2007. United Nations Declaration on the right of the indigenous people. Biafrans are indigenous people. Eunice Uchechi Otojometa, I know your hands are so full as the Christmas is getting closer. And we are almost ending the program, but we appreciate you for joining us tonight. And I'm talking about our PM, Simon Ekpa, where that stupid Chief of Defense Staff, they talk say there are some countries that are sponsoring. Simon Ekpa and the Biafra, under the United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People, the General Assembly, taking note of the recommendation of the Human Rights Council contained in its Resolution 1 to 2 of the 29th June 2006, by which the Council adopted the text of the United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People. So whatever Simon Ekpa is doing today, hate him or like him, it is under the United Nations Declaration on the Right of the Biafra, and they will use whatever means they can to pull out of Nigeria, and that is the civil disobedience. And if you want peace, you negotiate with the Biafrans. And it's just for those of you, Yorubas, that think that Simon Ekpa is not doing the needful. He's trying to destabilize Tinubu's government. They will pull down that government. If Yoruba people are not ready, they will pull down that government and they will force Tinubu into a conflict, and eventually they will go to Vienna or whatever. It's not going to happen in African country. They will still have negotiation. Qatar will be ready to negotiate on behalf of Biafra and the federal government. Write this down. You think it's a joke. It was recalling its resolution 61178 of 20th of December 2006, by which it decided to defer consideration of an action on the declaration to allow time for further consultation thereon, and also decide to conclude its consideration before the end of the 61st section of the General Assembly. Many Nigerians do not even know that there's something called United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People. You just wake up every day and listen to your biased news in that shit old country you call Nigeria. And you come and think that some of us are stupid as some of your crazy politicians that have made your life unbearable, that have put your life is what we are trying to stop, and we need to stop it as quickly as possible. If not, death is just very close to many of you. Also, there's what I call the indigenous people and the United Nations human rights. So Simon Hepper has a right to fight on behalf of those that cannot be fought. He has a right. And that right is what he's using from Finland. So if some of you think that they will take him and kidnap him from Finland, you are wasting your bloody hell time. Just a snip of this as well. The right of indigenous people have, over the past 3 decades, 30 years, become an important component of international law. Crazy people. Mad people all over the place. You think that we are joking? So you want the federal government to continue to stample on our rights, when international law in the last 30 years have said that the right of the indigenous people have, over the past 30 years, become as important component of international law. Weary people. International law. You think some of us are joking? We will pull down the last empire of the British government set up to destabilize our rights. As a result of the movement, it's called movement, and the movement will continue until you take it back. Like Showore says, Showore understands the game. He knows that revolution will be the last thing that will pull down the whole structure. Continue to allow all your bloody fool uncles that lives abroad to tell you that, oh, Nigeria will be built by Jesus Christ's name. Mad people all over the place. They live in a society where they're enjoying, and they'll tell you, oh, just be patient. It doesn't happen. Government go, government come. We're just 4 minutes before the end of the program. My name is Olami Koiki. This is Koiki Media, the Right to Self-Determination campaigner. I'll take that again without, mixing words. The right of indigenous people have, over the past 3 decades, if you don't know 3 decades, it's called 30 years, become an important component of international law. That is what Simon Ekpa is fighting for. That is what Babakito is asking for. That is what Igbo is asking for. That is what the campaigners of the Yoruba Nation and the Biafra are talking about, and policy. As a result of a movement driven by indigenous people, we are the one driving the movement with the people. You think that we are like your corrupt politician. Where is Ajimobi today? Where is Buruji Kashamu? They left you all in danger. Mad people all over the place. Let's go further. By the indigenous people, civil society, international mechanism, and the state at this domestic and regional international level. The United Nations human rights system, its mechanism, laws, policy have been at the heart, Igbaya, of this development, with the bodies such as the United Nations Working Group on Indigenous Population playing a groundbreaking role, which is a continue by the Human Rights Council and its mechanism. You've actually infringed the right of Nnamdi Kanu, and you think that the Biafra is going to do nothing. You will see what they will do. It will be very hot in the next few years. continue to hold him there and think that you can throw the key into the ocean, and you think that the military say, oh, you know, they are like barbarism. They are sponsoring Simon Ekpa from outside. He thinks that it's before when they will be cooking lies to every one of us. No freedom, there will be no peace in Nigeria. And that is how we're going to end the program this morning. My name is Olami Koiki. Thank you all for joining. And if you're new to the platform, share the program. Good night to every one of you. My brother Olanipekun, our Lama pulled the last oxygen, not the Afenifere, they failed. Good night. Igbo, we are confused. The love is too much. The love is too much. And that is about it. Udaro.